Welcome back, everybody, to Dreamhack Dallas 2024. Here on the Dreamhack Fighters stream, it is time for the final event of this stream. Don't be sad. There is plenty of action ahead of you because it is time for Smash Ultimate Top 8. Some big names, some heavy hitters in the bracket, and also some of those local heroes that you just don't get to see that often. That is a recipe for a heck of a good time, and that is why we are both excited. I am Kimona, that is Rod. As usual, we are here to bring you the action with a 2 out of 10 handshake.
That's right. No worries. We still going to work on that, though. But all jokes aside, like you mentioned before, super excited to be here. A bit of a different top 8. Of course, the beautiful thing about Dreamhack is that it brings, like, the best of the best in the world. Some of the most innovative matches that we've got to see in the last so many months here in Smash. And also players that might not always get that chance to make it this far into day number 3. You get to do that here at Dreamhack 2024. And I'm so excited. A big Jahzz0 fan, of course. Had a heck of a performance last weekend at MomoCon, looking to keep up that narrative here, of course, for top 8. Also has Wrath as well, too, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be a third-time run back. They played at Level Up, played at MomoCon. They're about to throw down again here. So let's see if they learned anything over that 3-week span. Yeah,
that's definitely going to be one of the things to keep in mind. I mean, we've had so many tournaments down in Texas lately, right?
Yes.
That, again, a lot of the local talent, a lot of the people from Texas have been able to get down and, get a lot of that top-level experience that sometimes you don't get when, you've got the people having to come to you. And sometimes you got to travel out. Sometimes it's not possible, but we've definitely had a lot of a level up here lately in Texas, and that has definitely been apparent with some of the names that are in this top 8. We're getting to see some of them. Of course, we've got Lima, we've got MuteAce, we've got Shadic. What else is new? I believe Beastly also made it in loser's side. Multi-time #1 on the Dallas PR. Great to see him moving and grooving.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I'm so glad you brought up the importance of having Shadic in his bracket. Shadic's birthday just the other day. Of course, we were starting to see the renaissance, like these young players turning into old players. I've seen a little facial hair stuff. I'm like, is it really happening? We're all the little homies, big homies now. Then what does that mean for us again? We must be the old, not old homies. We are the seasoned homies, okay? That's right. We've been around seasoned. That's right. We're seasoned vets.
Delicious.
But that's right. But we are definitely here to see these wonderful players throw down here in this top 8. And I believe for this first match, it is a MuteAce. Yes, that's right. That is MuteAce in that Stride Esports jersey. Big Stride booth that was here this weekend as well, too. If you're still in the vicinity, be sure to go check them out, go buy some merch. And, of course, you already know who the opponent is, man. Rocking that down B tag. It's one of the nastiest Diddy cons I've ever had the pleasure of seeing. It's Beastly. Let's do this.
It is time for Beastly MuteAce. These two have played quite a few times, but definitely I'm very curious to see how this is going to go this weekend with Beastly. I mean, having looked some of the best I've ever seen him, especially that match against MVD to qualify for the top 8 yesterday, was definitely, like I said, moving and grooving. MuteAce doing the same, and we're pulling out the tweak tactics, tweak talks and tweak tactics. Beastly just immediately going onto the other side of the stage and saying, hey, forget your ledge trap. You got to go reset it over here.
Yeah, let's reset this neutral. Things got a little out of control as the match set go, as it usually does happen when you have 2 players this caliber throwing down. But as it stands right now, it's starting to kind of chisel away here at that gap. And as I say that, MuteAce pulling away. There's the down throw. Got to watch the float. Sometimes those strings that you typically get on other players, got to work them a little differently on P.
Beastly definitely, I mean, the other thing is that Beastly has to do differently is be comfortable playing a much slower game. Did maintain the double jump, and MuteAce burned that float a little bit too early, so he is able to make that back. But yeah, you see Beastly just not able to build up that damage. You really have to come at this with sort of that tweak sort of play style where you're down to play that Diddy a little bit slower rather than just hopping around all over the place like Beastly loves doing.
And a slow Diddy, in my personal opinion, is one of the most dangerous Diddies that we ever got to see. I mean, we've seen it back in Brawl. We've certainly seen it in the Smash 4. And here we are in Ultimate. Diddy Kong that's just playing the bait and punish game. The I'm playing out of shield game. I mean, Diddy Kong out of shield not to be taken lightly. As you can see right now, letting the damage come to them. Has closed out this gap. Oh, but wait a minute. Extending it just a little bit more is MuteAce in the corner. And yes, I got to go ahead and use these rockets a little differently. I know Peach's prowess off stage. I don't want no parts of it.
And able to hang on with that up throw. Not the most powerful kill throw, but yes, again, Beastly making some in-the-moment adaptations, but getting caught backing up, trying to play that slow game a little bit too aggressively, funny as it is to say, but MuteAce definitely calling him out for that commitment. But sitting at 132% himself, Peach, of course, being a mid-weight character, she will get to live very long on stray hits, but sometimes being a floaty means that those combos, especially for somebody like Diddy, can last a little longer, but with great DI, MuteAce still hanging on.
That's right. Thank be set for MuteAce right here. Excuse me, not MuteAce. Thank be set for Beastly. I'm sorry. Not wanting that combo to extend any longer in the corner. Of course, MuteAce, all they need is just that one opening, a float cancel, something as simplistic as a nair or a down tilt to get the party started. And Beastly having none of it. Reversing the situation, position, and of course closing out with forward air. It's looking good right now. But I wonder who's going to pull ahead here. Only 30% on board. All it takes is one opening here for BC to even this thing up.
Yeah, and then once you get there, I mean, you just remember that, hey, even though MuteAce got that early stock and even though it took a little bit of chipping away to get it done, Beastly still gets to keep the game close, and that's the important part. Sometimes these matches against Peach, you got to play them like an endurance race, right? You got to think about your tire management, your fuel management, and saying, you know what, even if I'm sacrificing making up another 5-10 seconds on the car in front of me, I'm still going to make sure that I'm in position to strike when the time is right. But Beastly right now has definitely been striked quite a few times. If I can quote a little Letterkenny, he would like to be striked a little less.
That's right. I mean, getting struck all over the place right here. I mean, the lightning is MuteAce right now, bringing down the Thor's hammer, a.k.a. that crown, in a wonderful way. There's Nair that time. And unfortunately enough, just not able to get back onto solid ground with relative ease. I get it. You know, Diddy Kong on stage, an absolute problem. We've seen the beauty of that down tilt, up smash, forward out of shield, back air, you name it. The offstage gameplay struggling a little bit. Now, of course, to play Diddy Kong at this level, you have to have those routes off stage. You talked about the Tweak-esque gameplay that we've seen earlier, but you have even less time when Peach is coming to get you. It's a little different when she's floating out there.
And floating all up in Beastly's grill as well. And not only doing a great job of pressuring up close, but even at that mid-range where Diddy loves to just dash in and do something right, jumping off that ledge and getting on that platform. Mute's doing a good job of covering that. I think you can really see that both of these players have really been doing their homework against each other, kind of countering their play styles to each other, and I want to highlight that in a second here, but I do want to make sure that we don't miss any of the crazy action when Mute has got that banana in hand, because banana turnip, it doesn't matter what kind of fruits, veggies, or healthy items that he's got, it's going to make you hurt.
There's a couple characters in this game where no matter what item they have in their hand, they can definitely make the most of it. Peach is definitely one of them. R.O.B, obviously another one. Same can be said for Diddy Kong. No banana peel needed. The raw up smash right there, and the fastest one in the game being applied thoroughly right there. One stock apiece. Kimona, I'm so afraid to see what's going to go down here, but I hope that this one goes all 5 games.
It just might. I mean, these two have been very back and forth. Amazing mash there by Mute to not let Beastly get any extra damage. A nice counter to all that dashing in. Again, Mute playing at this mid-range, it's making it so tough for Beastly to take advantage of that burst range that Diddy really has. That speed can be such a nuisance, but look at him leveraging some patience himself. Barely missed. Tossing up that banana to kind of get that shield poke through the platform. But Mute with the big read, bringing out the ribbons and twirling the send. Beastly hurtling into that top blast zone for game number 1.
The twirling, I love the moves right there. Dancing into a W in a way that only MuteAce can. Beautiful stuff right here in this game number 1 bout. Wow, we need to see some adjustments for game number 2. Now, you talked about the importance, of course, playing the slow game. Diddy Kong can do that kind of like no other. Characters like Diddy Kong, definitely like Sonic, like Fox, you know, characters that are very, very quick by nature but decide to slow down and play the out-of-shield game, become some of the most potent characters in Smash, period. The fact of the matter is you're almost being outpatient by Peach. And then when you decide to get that one opening, she's beating you to the swing every time. Flow cancel, Nair out of shield, scary business. Down tilt, forward air, you name it. She's beating you to the swing.
Yeah, you have to be really choosy with how you're, getting those engagements against Peach. And I think that so far Beastly's been really trying to just wait for Mute to make a mistake and then capitalize on that. Or really not even a mistake, but just kind of get a good read on those approaches. Man, that lingering Peach Bomber still able to connect somehow, and it puts Beastly in quite the compromising position on this ledge trap. And Mute already with some adaptations. We've seen Beastly just sitting there at ledge with that neutral getup, putting up that shield quite a few times, and Mute is already covering that here in this game too.
That's right. Mute trying to stay multiple steps ahead, and you kind of have to versus Diddy Kong, knowing that they were going to leave their feet, and of course they lost their seat on that first stock. 3 stocks right now. MuteAce not showing any signs of slowing down at all. Down there. Of course, keeping this damage moving back and forth. The falling up is having a thorn in Beastly's side. You know, we talk about the importance of you play a character like Diddy Kong smothering your opponent with your good button. We're starting to see it on the other foot right now. That up air is getting work.
I think Mute's really recognizing, hey, getting right up close next to that Diddy Kong. I think Mute thinks he doesn't really even need to play that slow game. If he's going to be able to kind of take advantage of Beastly slowing things down and getting up front, and this is what makes Mute such a great player, is that he's been doing that. He's been able to play the slow game and the quick game, and how quickly he's been able to dart between those and recognize when he needs to apply those. That's one of the things that makes Mute so good. That's what we mean when we say good fundies. He can play whatever style you need, and Beastly says, I've had enough of this left ledge.
Beastly said, I hear you loud and clear. All the styles are being played, and then some, and I got to get the heck out of here. And MuteAce said, I got you covered. If you want to get gone, I'll help you get gone. Great stuff right here on MuteAce, going up another stock at 126%. I can't help but to feel like this match might be a loss here in the moment. Of course, Peach, a little bit of rage applied thoroughly. She still keeps her combo strings throughout the majority of the match. plus she's hitting a little harder now.
And the barrel's gone. Beastly does hold on to that double jump, but like you're saying, Rod, it seems like this game number 2 might as well be over. Mute continuing to just pour on the pressure at the ledge. Beastly's not giving up quite yet, but how much fight does he have left in him to keep anything relevant here in this game number 2? The answer is none. He knows when his goose is cooked. He will go to game number 3 on a bit of a deflating note for the Diddy.
Yeah, it feels like he just played reactive the whole match. And sometimes when you're going up against a character like Peach, it's very easy to kind of get caught in that narrative. She does something, I react to it. However, I'd like to see Beastly be a little bit more proactive and maybe lean into some of that gameplay that we've seen in like the middle part of yesterday and definitely in doubles, day number 1. Was very proactive, was setting the scene, and everybody had to play to Beastly saying. So maybe we might see an adjustment here. I mean, we ain't really got no choice at this point. Back is definitely against the wall, and as the age-old saying goes, you'd be surprised what you can do. You're left with no choice but to actually do it.
It's like the Super Saiyan, right? When you're pushed to the edge, you can finally reach that next level, right? You kind of need that impetus. But yeah, for Beastly, it's definitely going to be, unlocking a play style that he's not normally comfortable with. Sometimes you do have to stay in your element, but when somebody's preventing you from doing that so efficiently the way that Mute has been, yeah, it can be really tough to kind of find your bearings. And again, I think this really speaks to, not necessarily that there are gaps in Beastly's play, but just how good Mute's gameplay is and being able to say, I like to talk about people being prevention-based players or initiation-based players. Beastly definitely an initiator, but what's beautiful is that even if he's trying to do either way, Mute can do both sides, and that is really what defines him.
Yeah, 100%. And there's also some very telegraphed things, I think, in Diddy Kong's repertoire. I think the innovation behind his character, of course, is how they can put on damage. There's some cut and dry things like down tilt into stuff, but we've also seen Tweak and other Diddy Kongs of this caliber really mix it up on the fly and really show you the improv that is Diddy Kong. However, the cut and dry aspect to Diddy Kong that kind of comes back to hurt him is the off-stage prowess. And I think MuteAce has certainly had his way with Beastly. And we got to see some adjustments here and quick, because 150% is not good.
Yeah, definitely showing off that he is very experienced and very comfortable in this matchup, especially with applying a lot of empty pressure, right? It's not even necessarily that MuteAce is getting right up in front of Beastly and pressing buttons and forcing him to make a choice. He's just getting up close and bringing up that illusion. And then when Beastly does go ahead and pull the trigger, MuteAce is right there to parry the bullet that comes out of the gun. And again, taking this lead up 3 stocks to 2. Mute's just looking so solid, and might I say, pun maybe not intended, but I'm recognizing it in the moment.
No,
immutable.
We'll take them. And now that's just the sign that your commentary is A1, okay? I'll take the puns whenever we can get them. There's the nair on the way down, of course. MuteAce not to be taken lightly in this corner at all. And the upper, again, sharking up underneath these platforms, making them taste the rainbow right here. This ain't good. There's the down tilt. Doesn't get much off of it. And Beastly's starting to answer back with a couple down tilts of their own. Again, I know Peach, when it comes to comboing her with any character, I don't want anybody to think that it's just a Diddy Kong thing. Any character trying to combo Peach, you have to rework those routes and those percent windows a little differently. And of course, Beastly staying as hungry as possible towards that in the corner.
Again, trying to apply that empty pressure, but Mute's even calling that out, seeing where Beastly's trying to get those baits going. But again, Peach, kind of that middleweight character, a lot heavier than some people realize. Even if Beastly had the combo there, no way to close it out. And good mix-up off the ledge, too. Just everything's getting shut down for this monkey.
That's right. All the access points, all the innovation that we...
Okay.
Interesting.
That's got to be deflating for Beastly, too, because you really want to be able to say, hey, I took a stock at 165. I finally earned it. I feel like I got a breakthrough, and now it's just gone.
Oh!
And speaking of
being gone. Right.
Suddenly.
That's right. Suddenly, they're gone. Beastly right now still in it, and of course, as long as you have a stock on the screen, you can certainly make the most of it. But again, you're going to have to play the most perfect Diddy Kong gameplay we have ever seen. Looking for some of these Z-drop banana peel combos here. Of course, MuteAce is narrowly escaping those here. I'm talking about pixels.
70%. This is definitely not quite to, kill percents for Beastly to be able to take advantage of. And you kind of think about it sometimes that one of the problems that Diddy has, especially against these very survivable characters in this game, is that he doesn't really have those explosive kill moments. He really only has that against characters that don't tend to survive long. Against characters like Fox and Roy, your fast fallers, where he can get those crazy combos. But a character like Peach, Mute is recognizing he can kind of do whatever he wants. There's nothing Beastly can do to close it out.
That's right. And, of course, no combos needed. I mean, just the simplicity of a perfectly read up smash or nair in the corner. That's going to be it right there. MuteAce moving on to the next portion of bracket. Beastly, unfortunately, going to drop there. Hard-fought battle. Again, Diddy Kong, very innovatively done character. The combos are beautiful when they're working. When they're not working, I can't help but to feel like Diddy Kong is just kind of grasping for straws. I'm just trying to get something. And once you've let your opponent know that, it's a bad time for you.
Yeah, Mute's definitely just denied it all. But y'all out there in the crowd, I know you're out there. Make a little noise for Beastly, making top 8 today. Good stuff from him out there. Always got to give it up to the people who fought to make it this far, and Beastly showing off all the stuff that he can. But if you look back at the set history between these two, it's not much of a surprise to see what happens. I believe that with that, Mute is up 10-1 in sets in their set history. But not only that, 31-6 in game count as well. So it has definitely been a problem matchup for Beastly, and he's mostly been doing the Diddy Peach. I think he really believes in that, despite the fact that he's got a ton of other characters. We've seen the Nest before. I know that he's still got a Fox and a Zero Suit cooking wherever he kind of feels like it's applicable, but sticking it out with the Diddy so far, Mute's just been able to shut it down.
I do like Diddy Kong between the three of those characters. I think, Ness, of course, great buttons on shield. Aerial drift, obviously, is very awesome. Offstage prowess versus other characters, sure. MuteAce is not a haphazard player when it comes to getting off stage. We're going to go off stage every time at the right moment to come and get you. Then, of course, GSS, we certainly know her peaks, and we definitely know her valleys. Don't know if I kind of like her in that matchup. I think Diddy Kong is the right pick, and so I love the fact that Beastly decided to lean into what he knows best, but unfortunately enough, it was not enough to mount the MuteAce victory. So we're going to see what this next one is going to bring us here. We got Skitz, and we got Lima. Second match right here on the loser side. Wonder how this one's going to go. We've seen Skitz play well yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Skitz is one of those players where I feel like you can tell when he is on top of his game, when he is going Super Saiyan Skitz, the Super Skitz that has been so championed in this region, right? But definitely a tough one going up against Lima again, one of those guys that just, against all the local people, against all the DFW players, everybody kind of knows the score against Lima and what kind of to look out for, but that doesn't make him any less terrifying to go up against.
No, 100%. I mean, you can do your homework all day, but everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face, like Mike Tyson said. So, of course, a little bit of trial by fire right here for both sides. And Lima right now just kind of having his way in this matchup. Not surprised there. Bayonetta kind of an anti-airing machine. You have to worry about witch switch. You have to worry about that frame 7 up tilt, and just everything else that really happens with her kind of bringing you off your feet. But she's a light gal, and once Wario gets his hands on her, it's not going to be good.
But the problem there is, how does Wario get his hands on her? Because you are an aerial-based character as Wario. His best defining feature is that aerial drift and that air acceleration, and also being able to go high with those recoveries. These are all things that Bayonetta shuts down, and on top of that,
damn!
I was going to say having a hitbox out there doesn't help, but Lima with the characteristic SD to start off that game. What else is new?
That's right. I mean, we talked about punches, on your punch card. What you get one in the bracket. You get one Sopo, W, and then you get one SD, of course, if you're playing ZSS or Bayonetta. It's just a historical thing. We can't change it, all right?
This has gone all the way back to Smash 4, and again, with people who are willing to take those big risks like Lima is, right? Sometimes that down air out there does work. Sometimes expending all your resources off stage opens up opportunities that many people would be too scared to go for, and then sometimes you remember why people have a respect for that fear.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. And, of course, here is the fear once more of the witch twist and every other aerial under the sun. It got the afterburner kick right into that back air. Nice. And the parry doesn't get anything off of it, but now the air drift starting to become a bit of a thorn, I think, in Lima's side, having a hard time dictating which way Skitz is going to go. Despite having the lead, you already know the narrative's starting to kind of speak more into Skitz's favor. You got that waft. You don't got the bite.
Using it to get back.
Yes.
And honestly, that's a pretty good idea because Skitz might be able to have a half waft ready later. Means that the second stock is going to be a heck of a lot harder to get, but at least you're still able to fight on it. And honestly, for Wario, you need to be able to live as long as possible. You need to grab at all those moments because you're going to be playing a game where every now and then you're going to trade, you're going to lose an interaction on stage because that Bayonetta burst range is something that, especially because she can burst at you in the air, where Wario loves to try to just kind of shut down burst ranges, it's really, really tough because Wario just can't contest that.
No, he unfortunately cannot. I mean, he has some quick options, but like you're saying, they're just stubby. You got down tilt, you got dash tech. Those are great options, but it only matters if you get close. I love the lingering hitboxes that are that frame 8 up tilt. Those hands are disjointed. They're going to last a while. Can't say the same for Skitz second stock, though. Lima looking good. Let's see if they can bring this one home right here, because Skitz, we have seen them in positions like this in the past. One big play, you can even it up.
You cannot count Skitz out of literally any game. This guy, I mean, when he locks in, he can live forever. That is the kind of player that he is. Unless Lima starts getting these crazy combos going. I love using the bullet arts to try to extend that combo off the side, but Skitz DIing out. Again, he's very familiar with this matchup, playing 20-plus sets against Lima in the past, but does need to find a way to get this second stock off the board so that that half waft can be available. Perhaps if this goes on long enough, maybe even a full waft for that last stock.
Yeah, we'll have to just wait and see. Of course, it's always a game of timing and patience when it comes to two players of this caliber.
Woo!
And two characters. Whoa, there's the up tilt again. Anti-air options kind of on the other foot. Recovered a little bit of damage. Command grab on lock. Got you in the corner, and I see you up there lurking. I'm a bat within that.
That was so smart by Skitz, though. He knew that Lima was going to take advantage of that bike, reacted accordingly to that forward smash. And hold on a second, there's that full waft. Forget about those smart moments. Now we just got to get in and get that one hit, and Skitz could walk away against all odds with the lead in this game one.
That's right. Walking all over Skitz right there. There's the footstool. Doesn't get anything off of it, though. And yes, that back here. Meaty option, of course, in Bayonetta's toolkit. No up tilt needed this time. I'm just tossing it out.
Whoa! No way!
And off the backboard, Skitz makes a big play. Lima with the frame one. Run it back. Run that back.
Skitz is trying to hold back the smile, but you know that's got to feel good. He's shaking his head. He says it doesn't feel good, but it feels good, doesn't it? Using that waft for a recovery twice, and the second one, it was a 2-for-1 deal. Buy one, get one free. I get a recovery, and I get a kill. You get nothing. Get out of my game.
You get nothing, man. You get the BOGO. Man, wow. That was awesome. Skitz right there, waiting until the 11th hour to make that big play, kind of like we talked about. That is Wario in a nutshell. If you don't kill him early, you're going to be in some trouble by the time that last stock rolls around, if you make it to that last stock, because Wario still with some good buttons all wafts aside. So next game's here. Frame for Nair already drawn blood. 4.2% on the board, and yes, less is more in this corner.
We do have to remember going into this game number 2 that game 1 did start with Lima dealing a ton of damage to Skitz and then SDing at virtually 0%. And that game still went down to the wire. It still came down to, honestly, a little bit of a lucky play with Lima getting hit by a waft that was being used as a recovery for the second time. And that really speaks to the fact that even if that says 1-0 Skitz on the board, and that will last into the bracket, obviously, you still have to keep in mind the fact that Lima has been neutralizing the ability to combo into that waft from Skitz and also being able to get him off stage with relative frequency.
That's right. Off stage, I think, is such a huge component here in this match, and I'm so glad you brought that up. And really on both sides, too. But I think when it comes to Wario's off-stage prowess, what we get to see a lot of in the corner is the bike game. The bike constantly rinsing and repeating you. You can't quite get back on stage comfortably. Then by the time you overextend or you expend that option, Bayonetta has a lot of them in the air. But as you know, the more she does, the more landing lag she has. That's where Skitz has you. And unfortunately enough, that's where he's going to make that big play. But here's the up throw. Waft online.
I can't help but giggle what Skitz was doing earlier. Had the bike set up at the ledge, knew that Lima would go for that ABK to extend the hitbox on the bike right there. And he was just crouching under it. He knew that that was coming out, just mistimed the up smash to punish, which is a little unfortunate for him. An unfortunate placement on that bike as well, being on that platform. Not that it matters as it goes away, so that will be back in his repertoire in just a moment and may need it if Lima's able to send him off stage. That he does, and there is the usage of the bike to make it back, and Skitz does get a ledge trap of his own with the ABK, bailing Lima out of that scary situation. Almost 2 minutes into this second game, still yet to have a stock be taken.
Right. We're playing a long game here this time, and for good reason, of course. I mean, we've seen the importance of just staying patient. I think that's something that people sometimes forget about that Lima's so good at because of how explosive Bayonetta is. But this is a very patient character. She doesn't have very quick buttons. Frame 9 jab, up tilt pretty okay in terms of speed. Back here very slow, but very safe on shield. And of course, Skitz very well aware, just held shield, walk right up, and let the damage come to him.
Oh my God.
Eat this.
And yet did not. So close yet so far, but now Lima dropping that first stock at such high percents. Wario is one of those characters that just has the I can kill you eventually, whereas Bayo still kind of needs those setups, and Lima really struggling to find them now, even with no rage. And Skitz, I mean, definitely playing on top of his game today right now. Has that second hit neutral air to set up, and Lima just bailing out of the situation. I love that, saying, all right, I'll get ledge trap, that's fine, but I don't want to risk getting wafted here.
That's right. We take our situations as we can. There's the up tilt, and I love the patience, expecting the air dodge in at Lima, not expending it. Frame 5 dash attack can't quite catch him in time, and rolling in because Skitz is a deranged man and wants that waft setup. Lima said, if you overextend, if you reach, we know how the rest of that saying goes. I'm unfortunately going to have to teach. Up tilt frame 7, get a second one if you want.
And up we go, 2 witch twists into the forward airs. Lima getting right back to that ledge. We are going to see if Skitz can close something out here. I mean, on these juggles, I think almost every single time Skitz has just been like, okay, Lima above me, now I wait to see if there is an air dodge or maybe an ABK or something to punish, and Lima just kind of doesn't really do any of that. Just waits to see, okay, yeah, Skitz is doing nothing again, I'm out.
Yep, I mean, I think that's like a very dangerous Skitz when he's just like, I'm chilling right now. I know I'm still losing in the match, but I have the walk online, and for that, I'm still winning in my heart. There's the up tilt, no back air that time, mix it up a little bit. KO off the top, nice, but gets all 3 hits of forwarder. Oh, come here, get in my belly.
You thought it was time for you to play the game, but actually I'm taking a snack right now. Back air just barely out of range to connect. A great recovery there by Lima, but I love Skitz staying aggressive right now, saying, hey, I'm feeling good, I'm playing good, I'm going to stay in your grill. But Lima says, it's my barbecue, get out of my house.
That's right, you stay in my grill if you want, but it comes with a price. Okay, of course, afterburner kick back into the corner, down. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh,
I didn't know the All-Star game is in Dallas, I suppose. Loving the trick shots here. Is looking good on Skitz' behalf. If he can figure out a way to get this stock taken, he'll be in a good spot.
More Globetrotters than anything else to me. That was just the
That's right.
and the Washington Generals out of here.
Right.
Ooh, love that up air right there. Skitz constantly looking for those 2 frames with the forward tilts, but Lima not letting it happen. But there's the up smash, 1 stock apiece, and gotta see it. Wario's glowing yellow. All that garlic, that waft is looming.
That's right, man. It's about to get real funky real fast. Gets the Nair final hit, not wanting to expend another witch twist into a forward air exchange. He's looking for that confirm, that simple stuff here at this point. You know the importance of not overstanding, versus Skitz. Just looking for the safest damage as possible. But we're back onto the ledge. No up tilt. Definitely not overstanding with forward air in the corner. I'm letting you roll into me.
Lima's got to be looking out for it. Just, I mean, it's a pure mix-up right now of saying, hey, do I want to look out for the up tilts on the ground, or do I want to look for Skitz trying to start something with the Nair or the up air to lead into that waft combo? Because that Warriors want one thing, and it's disgusting. It's completely disgusting, and Lima is washing his hands clean of it with that back air, giving him the boot, going into game 3 all tied up.
I love how back air is so potent in Bayonetta's toolkit, and I just forget that she has it. Because I get so caught up in the strings and the aerial mobility and just everything that Lima can bring to the table. But there are moments in the match where Lima's like, you know what? Let me just dial it back a little bit. It's back air time. Frame 11. No, not the quickest move in the world, but certainly very safe on shield. So safe that it's going to allow Skitz, to have to really dig deep on what the answered back is going to be after that hit shield. And Lima, of course, with the right option, as always, 1 game apiece, Kimona. I'm excited.
Yeah, I love to see this. I mean, this is a set history that is very Lima favored historically. I don't remember the exact number, but it's like definitely 8 or 9 more sets that Lima's won over the course of the history. And again, they played a lot of sets, so it's not that Skitz has never really won anything, but definitely, you know, something Bayo favored, as we talked about in the beginning of this set, right? Wario loves being in the air, and Bayonetta loves hitting people that are in the air. So it's really been down to the fact that Skitz has been playing a very patient, very grounded game generally, and when he's going into the air, that is him choosing to engage something.
That's right. He's not being forced to do it. You know, the narrative is still very much in his control, but wait a minute, I see your up tilt, and I raise you one of mine. And nice, Madama Butterfly coming through from another dimension with that F smash. Loving it. Explosive opening right here from Lima, kind of flipping the script a little bit. You know, we talked about the importance of that slow-paced gameplay. So Lima said, fortune favors the board. I got to reach out and grab these opportunities, and doing just that.
Whew. Good DI out there by Skitz. By the way, I don't know what song's playing. I didn't catch it, but this thing's a banger.
Yes.
This is a good song. I love the fact that they added that music player onto Battlefield. And Skitz right now, love what Battlefield is offering as well. I think that having these platforms here, right, you obviously get those combo extensions like that, but I think being able to take advantage of just sharking under the platforms where Lima will kind of have to land eventually. Getting hit, and that's going to be Lima going down. Another unfortunate moment where the resources just weren't there to make it back. Too aggressive off stage, and this is looking quite a bit like that game 1, aside from the fact that Lima fires back very quickly this time.
That's right, and I mean, I love, you know, just the position that he was in. That's what you're supposed to do with Wario. You know, Wario has a good recovery system in terms of covering a lot of distance, but in terms of the safety and his utility, you know, a little lackluster depending on the character. And Bayonetta is that character we were talking about. So she has Nair, she has all 3 hits of fair, she has back. Really, all her aerials will do away with Wario, but Skitz, of course, is staying 1 step ahead of the competition out there, keeping this thing dead even. No whiffs a grab, no pummels, nothing at all.
Big moment there for Lima. Skitz bailing out of the situation. Falling out of that witch twist was huge because otherwise getting knocked off the stage there. don't know if he would have had an avenue back except for maybe burning the waft, which is now perhaps a factor. May need to burn it. I don't know if the bike is available. And yeah, gonna have to burn the waft to get it back. We've seen this so many times in this set, but Bayo can just force that situation with that whip twist.
That's right, and almost got the down smash at the ledge too. I mean, the corner just really belongs to Lima here, it feels like, this match. Wait a minute, but we've seen the potency of the bike. Wait a second. What we doing with it? You say, oh, we're resetting neutral. That's what we're doing with it, Rod.
I like Lima calling that out too, saying, okay, you want to use this bike for the ledge trap? You're not going to have time to carry it all the way over here by the time that I have flown to the other ledge. You can ride it over there, but then you also got to know how to get off of it without just sending it hurtling off stage. But Skitz right now doing just that to Lima, sending that Bayo out of there and waiting for that down air, knowing that Lima does not like to land by just incurring all that ending lag, because then what are you going to do? Great call-outs from him there.
That's right, and forcing Lima off stage again with down tilt, right into dash attack, double frame 5 option. Caught in his corner. We've seen again how good F tilt has been in the corner no matter which way Wario wants to angle it. It works predominantly in their favor. Has not quite get. Oh, wait a minute. The hand too big. You got a hand, but I got a fist right here. Lima looking good.
Such a great mix-up from Lima. We haven't seen that yet. Just jumping up and then doing that witch time, anticipating the 2-frame option, because a lot of times Bayonettas will drop off the stage, go down back, and then either do a witch twist or an ABK to cover themselves or get back on stage. And Skitz was trying to call that out with that forward tilt, but Lima was just one step ahead. And now just needs one more stock to take the advantage of the game count in the set.
Of course, has to kind of dial it back a little bit, maybe switch things up. You know, we've seen such an explosive opening from Lima at the start of this match, but right now, that's kind of cooled their jets. They're like, look, I got the lead. I'm trying to hold on to it as much as possible, but not only hold on to the lead, but also still putting on percent is the difficult part here, because anything Wario is going to do at this percent is probably going to get the stock taken. Courtesy of that F tilt, nothing off the grab. Afterburner kicking around, and just again trying to keep these landing options as ambiguous as possible. Where am I going?
This evasiveness is crazy, and the game is starting to slip away from Skitz here. But there is that up air, and you know what's already cooking for Wario. Waft is available and ready. I gotta wonder if Lima's gonna try to just force that situation to get the Wario off stage, maybe to burn that Waft, or if we're just going to hyper slow it down and not even try to have one of these interactions that leads into the kill move.
That's right. Now, I've seen this type of Bayonetta play before a long time ago back in Smash 4. When you got that lead, you hit that ledge, and you make your opponent come to you. Play the offstage game with me if you want. Whoa, out into the magnifying glass we go. Lima said, look, this game belongs to me, my friend. Going up 2 games to Skitz 1. Wow, look at Lima.
Cool as a cucumber.
It don't get no cooler than that. The cool hoodie with the shades, and I just went up a game. You can't tell Lima nothing.
He looks like he's lounging in the VIP room right now. You can't tell him anything.
That's right.
It's nice.
It's a superstar.
It's nice right now.
It's a superstar, but Skitz said there's room for 2 superstars on this big stage here at Dreamhack. Let me go ahead and show you what's up. Next game is here.
A superstar and a super Skitz, perhaps. He's gone Super Saiyan with the outfit.
There you go.
The SSJ jacket as we go into game number 4 in Skitz. You know, on Battlefield, I think, again, really looking for those combo extensions, but I think what it's come down to is the fact that Lima is doing a much better job of using those platforms to leapfrog than Skitz is using them to combo so far. And that has really led to the fact that Skitz hasn't been able to do stuff like this. This is what Battlefield is here for. Skitz needs to take advantage of that damage now, needs to be able to turn that into a stock, and that has also been a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, maybe a little late to the party, but I'm glad we're starting to see it now. Does it get anything off of that up tilt? I will give Skitz this. You know, even though being much stubbier than Bayonetta is and not, you know, nowhere near as long, Bayonetta, of course, much slower character, you know, does not mind getting up close into Lima's bubble. I don't mind looking for up tilt or short hop fair or dash attack. I know like I'm risking a lot. I'm rolling the dice, but it's worth it at this point because I'm not going to put on percent any other way but this. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And what is percent in the game of stocks? There's back here. Lima goes up.
Lima really setting up for a lot of these like tech traps on the ground, right? And saying, okay, yeah, I want to see how Skitz is going to react, if that's going to be a bit of the stage given up that allows for a follow-up. And now here's Lima trying to take advantage of these Battlefield platforms himself to get some of these big combos going. Not going to take Wario off the top, even if that forward air 3 connected. But Skitz, it says it's not even a factor. I'm going to DI out of that every single time. Got to see if he can close it out on the ledge trap here. And again, having the courage to continue to throw out those forward tilts, even though we've already seen that get witch time before. Knew it wasn't going to happen there. Has a half waft ready, and perhaps even more ensuing if he's able to continue to pile on this pressure with Lima already at 46.
Lima, of course, just still firm control here of this match, but I can't help but to feel like something is brewing here, but not on that stock. Up tilt into the back air. You know how it goes. Oh, and I knew that up tilt was coming. Stop playing with me, man. Them hands are disjointed, and they last a while. Up tilt again. Frame 7. We in the air. Double witch twist. Can I get it? Whoa! Hey now! Hey!
Yo!
Lima with the big win. 3-1 in that set over Skitz. That is how you close it out like the superstar Lima knows that he is.
That was such an incredible call out on the DI from Skitz right there, who's been going down and away so many times on those corner combos, especially when Lima had rage like that. But that lingering up air, that back hit of it can lead into those forward airs. And that is exactly what Lima found in the 11th hour right there to just say, hey, I see you've got waft. I'm shutting it down. This game is over. I don't want to see any more.
That's right. I cannot let this match go long. I mean, again, Wario, scary at the start, has wonderful buttons, has great frame data, has that aerial drift, but as the match starts to trail on, has that built-in mechanic that we have all grown to love since 2008, and it's called that waft. And when it's there in a big way. And, of course, Skitz was able to find a little bit of success with it, but predominantly use it as a recovery tactic because you know when you get caught off stage, Bayonetta has the options to be out there a lot longer than you. So we never really got to see the threat of its utilization actually played out. And I think once Lima realized that waft's not even a factor, that was it.
And by the way, before we forget, guys out there in the crowd, give it up one more time for Skitz out there putting on a great performance today with that Wario. Again, we've seen two of the sort of mainstays of the DFW locals go down in Beastly and Skitz, but again, representing the region, making it into the top 8, having some really big wins along the way, and putting on some great performances here in the top 8, particularly Skitz getting that clutch in that game 1, and then being able to execute a really good game plan, but Lima just kind of overpowered him there near the end. So, I mean, again, great stuff from all of our players so far. We have seen some great action in the losers bracket, but now taking a trip up there. We're going up to the winner's side of things to see what happens over there.
That's right. I'm so excited for this one. A whole lot of melanin is about to go down here in this match. We have Jahzz0, and of course we have Raph. Now, I don't know how many times they've played, but since I've been back on the road again, this is the 3rd time I've had the pleasure of watching them throw down. Of course, Level Up Expo being the first time where I believe Raph actually lost to Jahzz0. Jahzz was able to kind of figure out the matchup on the fly, which historically Sonic has always kind of had the upper hand on. And then, of course, they played at MomoCon, and we've seen how that went down, too. Raph being the MomoCon 2024 champion. And now here we are, Dreamhack. How is this one all going to play out here? I mean, we know what Ken can bring to the table, but Sonic is no slouch.
Yeah, and it's one of those matchups where I expect it to be a little bit difficult for Ken, as you're saying, right? But the one thing that Jahzz0 really has going for him is the fact that Sonic does have to get up close to you to do damage. He does need to be right there, and that's the big thing is that, yeah, if he gets the lead, he can run away and force you to kind of catch up to him. But if he wants to do that damage, he does need to be near you. And the moment that you're anywhere close to Ken, you're in that threat zone because you can just start pressing the A button, putting the gray stick in any manner of directions, and then good things are going to happen. And Jahzz0 is even better than that because he's going to put on 60% and have that lead and say, okay, now you have to come to me more. You better start guessing right.
That's right. You better start guessing right because, again, I think Rap's evasiveness is what kind of sets him apart from some of the other Sonics. When he's in a bad spot, I'm frame 4 springing up out of there, okay? I'm not dealing with anything, especially not with these fighting game characters. So curious to see how this one is all going to shake out. Of course, a lot to really unfold. I think, Ken has that focus attack. However, you're going up against, a frame 3 jab from Sonic. You also got the multi-hits, that frame 5 forward air. I mean, the hitboxes are just non-stop. So knowing when to and when not to go for focus attack, I think for Jahzz0 is going to be huge in a matchup like this. Let's see how it goes. Game number 1 is presence. Winner semifinals. Let's do it.
Let's make some noise for it. Game number 1 on PS2 for these two players, both coming out of that eastern seaboard, part of the south side, Jahzz0 and Wrath. And Rod, as you mentioned, these two have played quite a few times, and only very recently has Jahzz0 been able to get the better of Wrath. In their last 4 sets, they are 2-2. In the previous 13, Wrath won all of them.
Well,
so the set history is very, very heavily Wrath favored, but Jahzz0 definitely has leveled up quite a few times, and Level Up Expo, like you mentioned, was one of those places where Jahzz0 got the better of Wrath. But here at Dreamhack on the big stage, got to pull it out one more time. Get that last 5, get the better of him.
That's right. That's right. I mean, there's always another turn. I think that's the beautiful part of the FGC. If you lost one week, guess what? Next week, I'll see you again.
There's another one. Come back to the local.
That's right. Come back to the local. And then after the local, we got the monthly. Then after that, we got the regional, and so on and so forth. And right now, both of these two looking evenly matched, evenly skilled. Not a lot of percent separating both of them. Whoa, I mean, just a big risk right there. But, hey, if he would have connected, it would have paid off.
Now here we see Wrath saying, okay, like, even if that's not a percentage lead, that is still the stocks being even, so you can nickel and dime as much as you want. Nice setup right there onto that platform, recognizing that late hit of that spin dash, being able to set up, and there's that classic Street Fighter. You can't Tatsu a crouching opponent. Sonic sticking close to the ground, not going to get hit by it. Ken flying right over him, and now game right back to even. Of course, one hit from Jahzz0 can take the stock. Same can be said for Wrath, though.
I mean, that's kind of like the Ken Classic. I think, you know, when we got to see Jahzz0 play against Wilds, he got so much percent just off of being able to move across the stage with that Tatsu. So smart on Wrath to just have the presence of mind to duck through it or just to get the heck out of the way, because you don't want Ken up close and personal. That's a different type of Ken energy right there. we back in the Pokeball, aerial, down tilt. You already know what comes after that.
Yeah, well, again, once Ken gets his hands on you, any manner of things can happen. He can build up that percent, and he can take that stock, take advantage of all of those numbers that he made go up there. Now we're going to see Jahzz0 get to play with the lead, and maybe that pace from Wrath is going to change up a little bit. Maybe he could be a bit more aggressive, and if you're not smart about it, Jahzz0's just going to make that lead climb even faster.
I mean, but not on this first stock. It ain't going to happen. The Raps are evening this thing up here in a big way, because what we cannot do is allow a fighting game character to get the lead, and also not only have the lead, but have the lead with that much rage. Anything I miss, anything I whiff, anything I overextend on, I'm going to pay for it in dividends. So right now, evening it up. Coming through, forward air again, frame 5. In the corner, yeah, huh? I'm letting the damage come to me.
Yeah, Wrath, beautiful ledge traps right here, knowing that those options are limited. Get that out of here. He had the Honda, the clap it out, yeah.
That's right. He said, get it out of here. I'm not afraid of it.
This is an anti-fireball tool.
That's right. I love it. Oh, my God. And just dancing circles around Jahzz0 right now. I mean, it goes to show, you know, Ken is a scary character up close, but you can't hit what your eyes can't see. Air dodge back down to the ledge, and that back air almost finding the mark. Canceling out the Tatsu. Looking for a quick one. Just enough right here just to get him back towards center stage. He said, get the Hadoukens out of here. I'm tired of them.
Using a lot of that spin dash, and using the side B version specifically, the one that you have to charge up to get the most out of, because you're going to get that, I believe, invincibility on the front of it, right, when you're rolling through. So you don't have to worry about that. And I love that changeup right there. That was the down B being used, hopping right out of it, going in to the homing attack. Wrath changing things up, and it's working great.
Oh, yeah, it's paying off in a big way. Back towards center stage now, and of course Jahzz0's getting hungry, so I'm about to just come and get you. Nice. Narrowly escaping the up air. Using the focus attack to kind of move himself slightly out of position. But you got to be careful. The up air, I believe, is 2 hits, though, so it will eat up the focus attack.
You know what this is starting to feel like? I'm really on the Street Fighter brain right now, but this feels like Jahzz0 is like, this feels like a Street Fighter 6 minigame, like in the Extreme Battle, or like one of the side jobs in World Tour, where it's like, okay, like, you know, the basketball's hopping around the screen, you got to chase it down and hit it, right?
Yep. I'm getting Tom and Jerry vibes. Yeah, I'm gonna get itchy and scratchy vibes. I'm trying to chase them down.
I was so ready for that forwarder to connect off screen and just hit them.
That's right. Oh man.
Ooh, great use of the forwarder right there to break through the focus. You only got that one hit of armor. Wrath taking advantage of that. And this percentage just continuing to climb and climb and climb for Jahzz0. Great stuff with that I was going to say standing medium kick, but this is a different game.
That's right. the commentary brain is activated on Come On. It's commentating 2 games at once.
The forward strong, sorry.
That's right.
Man, dude, Wrath is doing such a good job of using the spin dash to neutralize the Hadouken, even though you'd think that the Hadouken is there to neutralize the spin dash, but because of the way that Wrath has been using it, has made it virtually a non-factor at that long range, which is so key to Ken being able to set up pressure at that mid-range.
Yeah, and on the topic of setups, too, I mean, Jahzz0, of course, trying to play in the corner, those setups not working anymore. Kind of what I talked about coming into this match. If some of these combos aren't airtight, we'll be able to jump out of harm's way. Heavy F tilt, wait a minute. We still looking good. Oh, but we definitely look better. Trying to find the right setup here and having to chase Wrath down. That is a task within itself. That's a whole different game. And he said, I've been doing my homework right there. It don't matter what the game is. Shoryu's going to find the mark. 109% and some rage. Come on, I'm going to be honest with you, my friend. I'm a little afraid right here for Wrath.
I would be, too, if he was choosing to engage, which he just did right there. Got closer to Jahzz0. I think was anticipating that Ken would come towards him, and now suddenly, I mean, I thought this clock was about to tick down, but maybe not. Maybe Jahzz0 could take this one.
Using the Hadouken right there to get himself a little bit of leverage. Nice, gets the up tilt. Back here, of course, not want to go for Shoryu in the corner. Nice, another Hadouken. I'm going to read it that time. Early on to Shoryu, get off me.
Beautiful recovery right there, throwing out the Shoryu hitbox, but Wrath is able to close it out. The side B to connect into the up air. Man, Wrath had the lead for nearly that entire game, and yet it came not just down to the wire, that came down to a string.
Yeah, I mean, Both sides, of course, really brought their Sunday's best right there in that first game, but I got to give it to Jahzz0 knowing, okay, it's okay to play the slow game. I'm not going to beat him in terms of just trying to outswing him. I got to figure out how to catch him. But once I start to get some things in favor on my side, a little bit of rage, a little bit of corner control, and also the reads were present, figuring out which way Wrath was going to land off those two platforms, Jahzz0 was able to start something up really good. But we got to see it implemented a little bit better here in game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think the patience was there, right? And I think the question is PS2 a fine place to go back to? Because we've seen plenty of success from Wrath taking advantage of that big stage, right? Being able to just launch back and forth, run away from the Ken, make every interaction only on Sonic's terms. But on the other hand, right, Jahzz0 has been able to say, okay, I don't mind playing that slow game because, again, at the end of the day, Sonic has to come and hit me. And if Jahzz0 is fine sitting underneath these platforms, being sparing with those Hadoukens and not letting that spin dash do damage, then yeah, we can just play a little bit of footsies. We can play it. You know what? I'm going to go back to the E-Honda analogy for Sonic. I'm going to be honest, because the way that he's using that spin dash, I mean, it's like a really broken headbutt. That's the Doskoy right there, E-Sonda.
Yeah, not E-Sonda. Oh, no, I won't be able to sleep at night thinking of that. E-Sonda, jeez. Oh, my God.
Somebody's going to make that a mod at some point. I'm surprised it hasn't happened at this point.
Right, it's coming soon to a stream near you. Jahzz0 right now, small deficit right here. And as it stands right now, Jahzz0 trying to close out that gap between himself and Wrath. Yes, you touch my shield. I'm going to make you pay for it. Oh, wait a minute. There's one Tatsu. It usually just starts with the one homing attack on the answer back, though. I need you a couple feet away from me. Wait. FADC in. Okay, let him off the hook here. He's letting him know the footwork is present right now. I ain't got no shoes on, so I'm moving a little quicker, said Ken. Get off of me.
Woo. Should have had some extra protection on those feet because you're not making it back. Jahzz0 with some great offstage pressure. Again, Ken offstage, a very exploitable recovery out there. I want to just be honest and say it's a bad recovery, and I think that everybody knows that's true. Jahzz0's been making it look a little bit better than it actually is, but Wrath finally getting the better of it and immediately popping that spin dash to keep that pressure on. And 2 hits, even with the side B. Again, that is such great character knowledge to know. You get your hitbox going down, you get another one going up, but you're not going up right now. Stuck under the stage. No sumo smash for you.
Unfortunately, man, too high to get over, too low to get under, but wait a minute, you ain't getting under this F smash. Tilted down there that time. Frame 5 on the fair again, and that's all she wrote right there on Jahzz0's second stock. Easy come, easy go right here. Wrath looking phenomenal here. You ain't doing falling up on that up tilt, though. Be careful.
Yeah, Wrath is like, oh, right, I can't go near that. Okay, I'm out.
No.
I'm out of here.
That's right.
Right back to this. Nice. Okay, you know what? There are a couple of these spin dash inputs that Wrath is doing that, like, if you're letting your eyes glaze over and you're just seeing Sonic turn into a ball and fly all over the place, I don't blame you. But some of these inputs, they take a while to learn, right? Being able to jump up into the air, immediately get that side B charging, and then being able to hop out of that midair as well. Like, Wrath is doing some movement that really is key to making Sonic work, but it is not easy movement. I think a lot of people have noted that this character is great, but he's also not easy to play.
No, he's most certainly not. I mean, what is already difficult, you have to also take that in conjunction with what Jahzz was bringing to the table, too. We've seen at the end of that last game, him starting to read the positioning from Wrath, which to play a character this fast, or I guess technically this slow, depending on how you want to play the character, positioning and timing is everything. Having a character that can threaten that timing, that space, especially on the ground, is huge. Jahzz0, of course, doing it the best way that he can. Frame 4 on the spring again. I'm coming up from that ledge. Looking to reset that recovery. Up air, nice. I'm going to fall down with back air. I got to expend something here and quick. I can't be stuck up here forever.
Forward air to set up off stage. Jahzz0 needs to be very sparing about how that double jump is used or else it's all over. And Wrath got him to burn it early. And that whole game, 3 edge guards to close it out, and every single time it was Wrath being right dead on for that timing of when Jahzz0 was going to pop that double jump. And being able to take care of that Ken stock early.
I mean, I think that's the biggest difference between, the Momocon set and this series of games here versus what we've seen in Level Up. In Level Up, we really just played the Jahzz0 game. You say, you don't take me off stage and I get a little bit of rage, it's not going to be a good time for you, man. We're going to keep this match on solid ground, and I'm going to really stick it to you. You approach, even if you have the lead, and I have this crazy deficit, 119, 20% dark red final stock, it doesn't matter. I'm still Ken. You know what you have to do. The real question is in this game of tug of war, are you going to be brave enough to try to force Ken off stage? And it looks like Wrath right now, I mean, he's doing it in a good way.
He's getting a good opportunity to do a little bit more of it as well on Final Destination. This is
Yes.
a bit of Jahzz0 kind of rolling the dice here and saying, okay, you're not going to have as many opportunities to run away from me. You are forcing the fight, which is normally very good for Ken, but it's going to get a lot more volatile because if Jahzz0 does end up off stage, it's going to happen more often. We've already seen what happens when he goes off stage, but now when Wrath does get that opening, it's going to be a lot easier to send that Ken hurtling to his doom.
That's right.
We're going to see Jahzz0 right now trying to take control of center stage and stay there. Like that circle at the center of Final Destination, he wants those feet planted there and only there if possible.
Right, firmly cemented. Woo. Oh, wait, whoa. Okay, heavy F tilt in the corner. Of course, looking for that light down. Just looking for something here. Just trying to find that one. That's all Ken really needs is just the one opening into something. I think that's kind of the thing that hurts him the most, that Rap doesn't quite have to worry about. You know, you just have a solidly placed back here or forwarder. But I guess in this case, we get the solidly placed sure you can. Jahzz0 says X marks the spot. You're playing my game now. You're in the ring with me.
Mm-hmm. Get in the, I mean, look, if this is Sonic being Honda, you know, gotta get in the silver ring.
I can't get over the E Sondo.
Gotta. I'm still in my head now. Every time I'm seeing that side B, I'm like, that's the dull skull thing.
Somebody's gonna draw that up. We got Bowsette. Isan is next. it's his next. I'm trying to tell you. Oh, nice. Oh my God! And Jahzz0 just getting every. I mean, he's just scrolling through the command list right now.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
Spot dodging that Sonic homing attack. Like you got to be pretty certain about your timing. It is reactable offline. Not an easy reactable, but still reactable nonetheless. But Jahzz0 definitely taking advantage of that right there and playing with the big lead. But again, this is not your opportunity to slow things down on Final Destination. You have to be ready to scrap at any given moment.
I got to give it to
No!
Rap. It's just the level of confidence needed to run up and grab at Jahzz0 out of the FADC. He knew that he was going to try to move out of it to schmix him up and said, let me go ahead and stop you right there, player. Unfortunately, stopping himself off stage. Jahzz0 evening this thing up. Wrath, 75%. One solid opening could certainly close out this gap. Hadouken, I'm jumping over that. Okay.
Like again, the Hadouken has almost been like a non-factor in this match. And if anything, it's just been a positive for Wrath because nearly every time it's gotten thrown out, aside from being used as an edge guard, just like this, right? That's the one time that the Hadouken has been finding good purchase. But other than that, Wrath has just kind of been spin dashing through and maybe thinking that one was going to get thrown out there, but instead Jahzz0 was just waiting to DP on reaction.
Jeez, wow. I mean, that's young man reaction every time. That's something I don't have anymore. Wrath would have ran circles around me. Jahzz0, love what I'm seeing here. Tatsuing his way out of the corner. Want to keep this back towards center stage, but knows that he can't be too close towards center stage. Still trying to force a little bit of space here between himself and Wrath. Okay.
Those situations right there where Jahzz0 was standing on the left, Wrath was in center stage charging that spin dash. In most situations against most characters, that's where Ken would want to throw that Hadouken, but Wrath has already shown you cannot do that against Sonic. The spin dash is going to take care of it, and so Jahzz0 now just has to kind of slowly work towards that Sonic, and so far really paying off. That's been the key adaptation that's been keeping him in this game. Just been playing a very patient, footsies-based ground game. It's a little bit of a channeling some Daigo right now.
Daigo, no doubt about it. I mean, it's just all about timing and position, like I mentioned before. I mean, and I think right now Jahzz0 just in firm control of that. Forcing Wrath into some pretty uncomfortable spots. Now has to look for trades too. And I know that that's not what you want to do versus Ken at this percent. Nice, gets the up tilt. Another Shoryu right there, 68% and climbing. Little off mark with the downer, and my goodness, no way. Okay,
that's big. Yeah, no,
I thought he was going to do it.
He can cancel that up air into the Shoryu, and the next time that happens, if he's still got this rage, then that can absolutely take care of the stock. But no rage left on that stock. Wrath bringing it down to one piece here into the game 3. There, once again, the Hadouken not doing much except for forcing Wrath into the air. And with that invincibility, Jahzz0 able to take advantage, and no rage necessary on Final Destination. Jahzz0 getting one on the board right there with that quick little confirm. And again, one of the most expressive faces in the entire scene.
I love Jahzz0's face react. I just love the reaction every time they win or they lose. They're just like, interesting. Interesting. Note it for the future. Noted.
Jahzz0, I think, sometimes strikes me as just like, I don't know why I'm winning or losing at any given point. It's just like everything, I think, processes in his head as like a 50-50.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, it could have worked or maybe it wouldn't have worked, but I guess it worked there.
Yeah, he's just one of those players that is just always happy to be around. I don't know if I've ever seen Jahzz0 frown before. I mean, I've seen the serious faces, but those are forced. You know, by nature, Jahzz0's a very happy player, and that's the type of stuff you love to see because when you play a character like Ken, there's going to be some matches where you are just completely smacking up your opponent, and there's some matches where you get smacked. You got to keep it all smiles at the end of the day, and Jahzz0 does just that. But puts a point on the board for himself, of course, on FD, like you said before. That was a dice roll, and looks like he rolled correctly right there in that game. Next game here is upon us. Let's see how this one goes.
Game number 4, the small battlefield. So now Wrath is not going to be forced into those interactions on the ground like we saw in that game number 3, where Jahzz0 really, again, taking advantage of Final Destination and saying, yep, this is a good stage where the game's going to get volatile, but believing in that raw power of Ken and taking big advantage of it, believing in it for a good reason. But now Wrath has these platforms to mix up those approaches and those escapes, and also means that Jahzz0's combos are just going to get that little bit less reliable. And you can see, just 25 seconds into this game, it's already paying off.
Yeah, in a big, big way, too. Wrath, of course, kind of just a kid on the playground right now. I got these 2 platforms right now. I get to just kind of jump back and forth. Nice, gets the up tilt, but nothing off the Shoryu. FADC on the way back in. Goes for a second one, able to move his way into a down tilt into the Shoryu. Into the Hadouken. I know we said it was a non-factor before, only when you're using it to space. When you're using it to put on damage after some sort of combo string, you're looking good right here.
Combos on off stage, that is exactly where Jahzz0 has been able to throw them out. But yeah, again, on stage right here with those spin dashes threatening, you could be in trouble. A little juggle right here for Wrath to potentially close out this first stock. The ledge traps have been so good from him, and closing out another one. Been so selective about when he's choosing to cover the ground and when he's choosing to cover that jump from ledge. Just getting some great reads on Jahzz0 in that timing.
I think it's just the conditioning, too. I mean, by nature, a lot of people are going to try to recover up or underneath the stage. You know, that way you snap right away, or, you know, at least that window's a lot smaller. But that's what that tilted down F smash is for. But that time, catch up with back air. Oh, my God. And, yes, the floor is indeed hot. You ain't got no shoes on, so I know you feel... Jahzz0, don't stop playing with me.
I'm a little scared.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Just
don't
a wee bit. I'm an old man, man. My heart can't handle that.
Once again, Wrath unafraid to go for these trades. There's that conditioning at the ledge again. Last time we saw the back air connect to take the stock. This time just that lingering nair, but Jahzz0's not going to get hit by the same party trick twice. He saw the sleight of hand and now is ready to give you those hands with that Shoryu, evening up those stocks to a piece, and does have Wrath in the corner.
No doubt about it. Ain't nothing slight about them hands. Let's put it that way. Okay, when Ken swings, he swings with some authority, all right? Coming through with the dash attack. A little off the mark here that time, but goes for the double upper, courtesy of that frame 4 spring right. I'm up in the air. All right, I'm here to take some stocks. Down tilt, okay, in the corner. He's getting a lot of those. Wrath getting a little antsy. Yes, I'm just going to spring the heck up out of here. I don't want to see Ken up close in the ring at all. I'm backing off.
Tried to punish that Tatsu, and I'm sorry. I mean, that's Ken. Even though you were behind him, got to keep an eye on those constantly rotating hitboxes. Jahzz0 trying to walk up to get something started with the down tilt, just like a little bit of Street Fighter 6, but not able to channel that energy. Wrath able to just get right on out of there and right out of that Ken threat zone. And again, just dashing right under that Tatsu with the spin dash.
And great patience right there on both parties. I think Jahzz0, of course, just letting him swing. I mean, again, sometimes you have to let the damage come to you, but Rab said, look, I'm going to swing first, and then if you don't do anything, then I know that I'm in some trouble, and it's hard for me to get up out of here. There's the down tilt, narrowly escaping again that fair, and whoa, what are hitboxes? Jeez. He was like on the middle of Sonic, and back air still was enough to connect.
And Wrath was trying to get that nair into back air that we've already seen, but instead it's the ha! Hit him with a Minecraft punch, just like we saw in the Steve trailer, to send Jahzz0 down into the loser's bracket. Jahzz0 able to get one on the board, but that's all he's able to get. Wrath moving on to winner's final, still on a hot streak after that win in Atlanta.
That's right. Hit him with the YI order like we said yesterday, man. Great stuff right there from Wrath. Of course, Jahzz0 played absolutely well. And again, you know, the FD match, definitely a dice roll, and it worked out in his favor. But there was still another match that was needed to be won, and when it was all said and done, Wrath was able to close out in a very convincing way, too. I mean, again, Ken has his days. He certainly has his ways. But I think, you know, Sonic still has the advantage in a matchup like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's most of the time Sonic, I think, has advantage in matchups. You know, he's just got a great matchup spread. And that's one of those ones where, you know, again, it's not unwinnable for Ken, but definitely it's an uphill battle. You have to be very decisive and take the most advantage out of the opportunities you're given, because you're going to get a lot fewer than Wrath is going to get. And Wrath, I just kind of played that bit of it even and was enough to take that set. Even though Jahzz0 looks solid, we'll have to shore it up even further in the loser's bracket.
That's right. Just has a couple more matches to play. So any Jahzz0 fans out there, he ain't out just yet. He just has to take a trip down into them shark-infested waters. That is the loser's bracket. However, we got to throw it over to another winner's match. I believe we have, is it Atomic versus Shadic? Is that what's about to go down here?
I believe so, yes. I mean, Atomic had a great performance yesterday. And Shadic, on the other hand, of course, you know, being one of the top seeds of the tournament, I think was kind of put down at like the number 3 seed because we anticipated Riddles to be here.
Yes.
Mute was the number 1 seed, and you kind of just didn't want to do the, you know, like Riddles first seed and then Mute and Shadic at the 2 and 3, and
it's weird.
They play 30 times a year anyways, and that's one of the things about seeding is that it's not just about who is the #1 player and who's in that slot. You also want to make sure that you actually get something interesting out of those big matches. And with Riddles not being here, we are still getting a very interesting match nonetheless. One that has been played a few more times. Shadic has gone up against Atomic in the past, and a couple of those sets have been close, but Atomic definitely the DFW local holding it down the most.
100%, man. There's a level of practicality in math that is required to be good, and to figure out seeding and who goes where and when. I'm not a practical fellow, okay? This is why I love words, okay? I'm much more suited to be back here, but that's all the more reason to thank your local TOs and production orgs out there, because it ain't easy seeding some of the best players to ever pick up a controller, not just in Smash, not just in fighting games, but of course in esports in general. So we got 2 strong individuals getting ready to throw down like you talked about before, and of course it is Shadic, the birthday boy. His birthday was a couple days ago. Getting ready to face off against Atomic. This should be Corrin versus R.O.B, if I'm not mistaken, and my brain is telling me the match was certainly going to go one way. Corrin swings, clears a lot of space. Forward air is very safe. Falling up air is safe. Back air is self-spacing. He got that frame 5 down tilt, can pop R.O.B off those wheels. But R.O.B, phenomenal boxer in his own right as well, too. It's like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Terrence Crawford. R.O.B's in that stratosphere somewhere in boxing.
I think it's going to come down to a lot of the player versus player stuff in this matchup. Considering what we know about Shadic, which is somebody who takes huge advantage of empty movement to open up space and to get up close. And, you always have to respect when Corrin's doing that empty movement that one of those big hitboxes could get thrown out. That sword is huge and it covers a lot of space, basically no matter what aerial you're thrown out. And R.O.B, as a big body, does have to respect that. But you also have to be in tune with the way that Shadic is trying to apply that empty movement and try and take advantage of that space early on. Throw out the gyro, the laser, the nair, something to sort of discourage that from Shadic, and then be able to space around those moves. So we're going to see how this goes. Game 1 is on PS2, and knowing Atomic, if he drops any games, we're going to stay here for the rest of time.
That's right. We're used to it at this point. I mean, we love all the stages in this game, but it's the PS2 game, okay? We love it.
And it's on the Switch for some reason. Go figure.
Yeah. How did that happen?
PS2 make the best games, and yet here we are on the Nintendo console.
Don't say that too loudly.
I'll say it louder, Rod.
Thank you.
Pokemon Stadium 2, though, Shadic definitely already getting off to the early lead and getting off to a huge advantage. If Atomic was looking for that empty movement, he definitely got a wake-up call right there, because Shadic, like you were mentioning, you just throw out that sword, you control that space, and everything might just be fine. Did not have the double jump either, so 45 seconds, and both players have already lost the stock.
That's right. They're showing their hand early right now. Nice. Head full of laser. Looking to create himself a little bit of space. Not able to box forward here. Such a great move. There's that frame 5 down that I was talking about. Landing with Nair, though. Nair is so safe. Big and safe if spaced properly. And Atomic said, I'm up out of here. 5.
Definitely, I think, was looking for a turnaround, like a wave bounce gyro or something, just to shoot that gyro off to the right, but messing up that input a little. And it's game 1, so you're more liable to see a little bit of that. Shadic eating another gyro for breakfast, though. Atomic just unfortunately missing that forward, or definitely could have gotten him off to a very, very early lead, but you do have to respect the hitboxes on that the ginormous wings that Corrin has. I mean, that recovery is so hard to contest.
It really is. I mean, you could even time it. You can space it properly and still lose out, just like how Atomic's losing that second stock. 1 stock left. Nothing off the up tilt. Great party starter right there in R.O.B's toolkit amongst all the other 800,000 ones that they have. Forward throw.
I love that by Atomic right there. Just saying, okay, you hit that gyro away. I can't run up and pick it up, so instead I'll just smack you away and then get it back. Really good situational recognition there by Atomic. Definitely looking locked in, but Shadic even more so. Ooh, that empty movement to apply pressure on that platform. Beautiful. And Atomic, 73%, does need to find a way to close out this Corrin stock. A down throw should be able to do it. Just toss out that up air. PS2 blast zones will take care of the rest. We're going to last stock.
Kimona, a.k.a. Nostradamus right there, speaking into reality, reading the future right there, just like how Atomic read Shadic's movement. Great stuff. Gets the pin. Looking for a win here pretty soon. I still have that laser just in case I want to create myself a little bit of space. And Shadic knows what the win condition is. I get you off stage, my boy, and you're going to be in for a world of hurt. Taking a sip of that water while live streaming, himself being live streamed. It is the streaming paradox up here. Jesus, man.
Really is doing the vlog. Good for him. Yes. The young businessman out there. And
That's right.
Hey, taking care of business on stage as well. It was all about put the robot in the corner, get him over there, take the stock. That first one went off the top. The next two were definitely all at the ledge. We saw the fair bear to take that second one.
Sure.
And then that last one, it was just all about those movement reads, which you said at the beginning of the set was going to be really important.
It's going to be super important. I mean, again, it is just the importance of making sure you space properly, knowing when it's time to just eat it on shield versus when it's time to get away. Corrin, again, forwarder -4 on shield. I mean, it's a really good move, very, very safe move. And then the beautiful part about it, depending on who you ask, is that the move changed into itself. So once I hit you once, a big body like R.O.B, you can bet your bottom dollar you're going to get hit a couple more times. So next game is here. Let's see what the adjustments are going to be right here from Atomic. Okay, you ain't come this far just to come this far, all right?
We are coming back to Pokemon Stadium too, though. Again, Atomic is just going to run it back to wherever. Just wants to try to figure out the gameplay. Not all about the stages and the counter picks. It's that person-to-person sort of development that Atomic really enjoys as a player. And I think that comes through in the gameplay as well, because I think a lot of R.O.Bs, you see it from really successful ones too, like Grayson and Henry Lima both come to mind, that they just have really solid game plans where they want to set the game state and then force you to adapt to it and just do really powerful stuff at you. But Atomic is one that really wants to kind of jump away, take a second, and really try to fashion that game plan to counter you. And right now, definitely going to be necessary, because this game number 2 starting off a lot like we saw that game number 1, with Shadic getting one opening, pushing the robot to the corner, and building up metric tons of damage.
I mean, he just has them on punishment right now. But I'm so glad you brought up the importance of this type of R.O.B play, and just, again, the beauty of just slowing things down and leaning into all the ways that R.O.B can be played. He can be played defensively, can be played, you know, in a very offensive sort of matter. You know, you can also use your projectiles to just kind of disengage, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough right there on that first stock. There's the down tilt. Doesn't drift in that time, but that falling up air, okay, bringing the despair. This is good.
Big damage.
Ooh.
Again, this is just what Corrin does. One hit leads to another and then another, like you're mentioning. Things get rolling, and then it's hard to stop, but Atomic does have the character to do that. Adapt to that situation is what it's all about. Tried to wait for something like an air dodge from Shadic, but was not ready for that aerial to get mashed out of that situation, so got punished for trying to continue that juggle past where it ended.
That's right, a little off the mark right there, a little mistimed, and Atomic right on time to find their nair. You try to go for the scoop, but I scoop you. There's down tilt. You off the stage and using gyro just to give himself a little bit of leverage, just a word in
We're going
the match.
up.
Yeah, we got to go up just to get knocked back down again. Shadic on the money with those wings, sending Atomic flying right there.
And again, going for those up smashes, trying to channel his inner Cosmo, local TO, overall helper and great R.O.B player as well. But how many Whopper with cheese deluxes are you going to go for before that flame broiling gives out? Because Shadic right now says it's delicious all the same, and I'm not even full.
I know that's right, man. Shadic's definitely having it his way. Let's put it that way, all right? Nice, gets the pin.
9 out of 10.
Hey, thank you. Has him in the corner right now. There's that frame 5 down tilt again, popping him off his feet, using the side B to delay the recovery on the way down. But Shadic says, my timing is a little bit nicer than yours. Catches him with back here.
It's been over and over. Hit the robot, put him in the corner, don't let him out. Shadic, his advantage state is so good, but especially, I mean, not only are the combos good, but it's every time that you're in a spot where you have to choose how to get out. And Shadic is so good at covering so many options all at once and giving you only 1 or 2 ways to really get around him. And you kind of have to pick them in advance, because Corrin is so good at taking control of those situations and shutting you down before you have that opportunity to reset back to neutral.
Again, I mean, he just takes it from you, and it just feels like he just never gives it back. It just sometimes feels like it's never your turn. And it's easier to feel like that when you're playing up against a sword and you're as big as R.O.B, but Corrin just brings a level of detriment that I think some of the other Fire Emblem characters just don't bring when it comes to being in an advantageous spot. Wait, 6-4 there, went for the double, and man, I'm talking surfing the upper underneath of the stage to avoid down there. You are frames away from death.
The Gran Turismo 4 Soul Surfer, I hear you right now. I would surf my soul. And Atomic, honestly, looking inside his soul and changing things up, the rare Atomic stage counter pick. Like, I see this so rarely, and yet here we are on Hollow Bastion, game number 3. Normally a venue that Corrin really, really loves, being able to juggle underneath that side platform. And then, as we've seen, with all that space on the side, you have the tendency to want to, as R.O.B, go over there and, you know, kind of escape. Corrin's good at those ledge traps, but R.O.B off stage with those edge guards, getting plenty of space to do so and sending Shadic into that blast zone for the first time this game.
That's right, reading where that jump was going to be. I think did that in the beginning of game number 1, and of course doing it again here. Of course, just waiting for the right opportunity. I mean, we talked about the patient R.O.B gameplay and the importance of it, because R.O.B can be played so many different ways, but playing himself right there, yeah, you're getting played in a big way. Love that. Not the tipper effect on the F smash, but still an F smash nonetheless right into the back. There's going to do it. No pin. That's okay, though.
Really unfortunate for Atomic. Shot that gyro the wrong way. We've seen those inputs fumble a couple of times. And that time it did let Shadic get right back in, but definitely the gameplay changing up. Atomic looking like he's, just playing a little bit more grounded, right? Trying to take control of the floor and seeing if he can do something about those approaches out of the sky from Shadic. And there is a good one. 3 forward airs and then cashing out with that up air to get that juggle going.
Oh, that's right. Okay, drifts down with the forward air again. I think he's starting to realize what the aerial approach should be off stage. Of course, he's trying to set up some down airs before, some falling up airs through the ledge. Of course, Corrin, problem in the corner. Now he realizes it's the forward air show. I just got to get Shadic off stage. That's the hard part. I also need to get back onto the stage. That's the even harder part. Man. It ain't happening on this stop.
Every time Atomic is on the side of the stage, something goes very, very wrong. And again, that's so unusual to happen for a R.O.B player. They tend to be so comfortable out there. And there's one of the reasons you go off stage, R.O.B can do just the same. Going to last stock with Atomic looking to get one on the board, but has to get out of that corner, which we have said is so dangerous for him.
He said nobody puts R.O.B in the corner, okay? Nobody does that. Okay, swings right in. And of course, the positioning is real. That's what I was saying before. The chaining on the forward airs, kind of a little tough right here for Atomic to try to work around a bit of a delay on the way back up, and for good reason.
Atomic's timing has just gotten so predictable over the course of this set. Shadic has really locked into it, and Atomic hasn't found a way to really mix up those timings. You got to be able to do that, especially when you've got those quick access to projectiles like that. Also, those aerials that can really box somebody out if they're not careful. But Shadic has just been picking the right moment every single time. He is in tune with the clock.
Oh, and the Shadic classic right there. The roll behind to the active hitbox on the chainsaw. That is that F smash. I love that. Gets the swing. And gets a win right there, yes.
You heard the game in the background. Looked like it might have been a question mark for a second. Atomic went directly into the corner, but was not enough to stay alive. That kick off the pin is just too strong, and so too is Shadic with that 3-0. Even though Atomic put up a really good fight in a couple of those games, Shadic's just on his A game today.
He is, no doubt about it. I mean, he said he feels good to win this whole thing. And I told him, young man, if you think you can do it, then I believe in the process, okay? I mean, I believe in all players as well, too. But, again, the young players, they got to carry that torch after we're long gone and retired from commentary and I had to go back to my day job because, whatever. They're going to carry that torch. So, shout out to Shadic, of course, and shout out to everybody else holding it down in this region. We talked a little bit in the middle part of yesterday about, just nobody really holds down the region quite like Texas does. We've seen a lot of invaders come through on all the regions of Smash, but it seems like Texas and Tri-State, when it's time to defend the turf, they get it done.
Again, just a very strong, very deep region, right, on both of those fronts, right? For Tri-State and Texas, I think really renowned for just like the amount of really solid players, and that's why you see people who come down here. I mean, yeah, we see a lot of out-of-state players doing really well in this bracket today, but also quite a few of them were not even able to make it to this top 8 because Texas has done such a good job of playing that defense and just playing so solid. We're going to get to see one of those out-of-towners try and, see somebody playing defense on the home turf, somebody who has won this event many times. MuteAce stepping up onto the stage right now to try to get yet another Dreamhack Dallas victory, which was back in 2019, I believe. I think like the first big tournament that MuteAce actually won, if I'm not mistaken. That was like a real breakout tournament of like showcasing where the potential can actually reach, and kind of steamrolled a couple of other Dreamhack Dallases. I believe a 3-time champion of this event, and now getting the opportunity to try to do that again. Does have to do it on a losers bracket run. Was actually sent into losers before we even made it into the top 8, and has already won 2 straight there. Needs to get that 3rd straight done against Jahzz0, who was in winner's semifinals and did look solid, but not enough to take down Wrath, and now we'll have to play perhaps yet another slow-paced match.
Yeah, I think that's the cool part about MuteAce is that, up until this point, we've known MuteAce for, winning tournaments. I mean, MuteAce shows up in any bracket, and you're like, there's a good chance MuteAce might take the whole thing. But before this, the narrative was, you put MuteAce versus X, top players, MuteAce is probably going to beat him. So now they went from, beating top players to not only beating other top players, but also taking tournaments. That's the sort of growth you want to see in a space like this. MuteAce, of course, taking no prisoners right here. Jahzz0, no exceptions, all right? But Jahzz0, of course, no slots by any stretch of the imagination either. Again, just a couple of these last tournaments, we got to see them on stream in unfavorable matchups for Ken. Yes, they do exist, okay, and Sonic happens to be one of them. But like you said, Signing kind of an unfavorable matchup for a good chunk of the cast, being a top 3 or 4 character, depending on what part of Twitter
I would
you
say
ask.
top 2 or top 1.
Top 2. Okay, well, hey, you heard it first from Kimona. I ain't arguing with Kimona, okay?
Didn't hear it first from me.
No,
I'm taking that from Last has been saying that for like 2 years.
Okay. Well,
And I'm like, look, that's one of the guys I don't argue with.
this. You'd be ill-advised. Oh! I ain't arguing with those parries, Kimona. Setting the scene early on. I see the steps, and it ain't happening on me.
Oh, that old parry sound, too. That third strike coming in. Oh, my God. I love it. The last time I saw a Peach down air get parried 3 times in a row, I'm pretty sure that just literally nothing happened afterwards. Very safe move, but Jahzz0 finding at least some damage off there. What a way to start off this game number 1. Jahzz0 definitely showing off. The offense is good, but the defense is there right there as well. Those Tekken ratings, they'd show up.
That's right. I mean, the defense is what wins the game. The offense is what puts butts in seats. So you already know. Jahzz0 said, I got to let it be known early on. You're not going to be able to swing for free on me. Okay. MuteAce right now trying to mix it up a little bit. Got you up underneath that platform, and it is apparent here that Jahzz0 kind of keeps the match towards middle stage, as most fighting game characters would love to do. No falling up air. Not jumping those absolutely have to, but kiss the crown. Ooh, back air.
With the turnip in hand, too, it's going to make it even more difficult. But Jahzz0 held on to the double jump out there. So key to make Ken's recovery work. And look at the focus to go right through the turnip. But MuteAce even ready to follow up on that, knowing that the FADC had to happen. You had to dash right out of it. And MuteAce did follow up on that beautifully, buying himself some time to get back on stage as well. But how much more time do you have to hang on to this first stock? Because Jahzz0 threatening, hunting like a shark.
That's right, and the shimmying is here, man. I wish people in the Smash space knew how just like crazy being able to shimmy in a platform fighter is. Being able to just space so well, I think it's huge, especially in a matchup like this where sometimes you might have to rework those routes a little bit on Peach. There's a down tilt. Oh, and still was able to get the shore. You snuck in there. Even stocks. Percent's telling a slightly different story, but what really is damage to 2 strong characters like Peach and Ken?
Well, and especially Ken with all this rage, too. I mean, yes, Peach has the lead, but also, you know, Jahzz0 gets one nice combo to put her at 60, and then that stock can just be gone because that's the kind of character that Ken is. Not able to get anything off of that jump in. And using that focus attack to come on down. Very rarely is Peach going to be juggling with a multi-hit move aside from that up air, but even then, a little bit risky. Doesn't cover as much space as you might think. And Mute now just saying, hey, I'm not engaging unless you give me an opportunity.
That's right. Finding all the right opportunities is MuteAce right here in the middle of the stage now. Has Jahzz0 off his feet. Back onto solid ground here, and for good reason. Wait a minute, because stuff like this might start having up tilt. Okay, looking for the heavy one into the Shoryu, and whoa! Back air was just enough to get it done. Pixels away, and we're still able to find that stock.
I think Jahzz0 might have been holding in that direction, trying to get away from the follow-up where we saw Mute just get that single hit of the down air, and then, you know, maybe trying to not be in range of that back air, but was anyways, so the trip to the blast zone is getting put in your itinerary. But now last stock for Jahzz0 is going to potentially get that power-up of that stock behind. Again, you know, Ken with rage, all this comeback factor is definitely there, and Mute, again, you get that lead, but you're playing extra careful now.
Yeah, I mean, you know the importance of not overextending because then stuff like this begins to happen. Gets a little too close for comfort. And Jahzz0 making it uncomfortable right there. Looking smooth, 1 stock apiece, and MuteAce at their most dangerous is final stock with that turnip in hand. I have yet to find a player that can really do away with MuteAce in a situation. Oh my God!
We'll do it again. That was not a fluke the first time. Jahzz0 has got those. One of the parry gods of the entire scene.
Damn.
The fundies are there.
The fundies are definitely there. Saves the jump nice. Goes for the immediate recovery, and that time dipping low for the forwarder. We don't see it as much in a matchup like this because it doesn't quite eat up the focus attack.
Looking to cover back. Mute was almost ready to punish it, but does respect that Jahzz0's got those routes on lock. Sent up to the sky. Both players damaged. One more like little up tilt, maybe even a down tilt from Jahzz0 could close out this stock. Mute is applying this pressure, but you see the way that he's weaving. Doesn't want to get too close because if you misspace it a little bit, you're dead.
Oh,
you're dead.
Oh, reads it. Goes for the up air. On the way down, there's forward air, and that's going to be enough to do it again. You have to pick your opportunities for forward air a little bit more carefully here because as great of a move as that is in terms of putting on percents and definitely taking stocks, I'm always on the lookout for it with my focus attack. You got that frame 5 nair multi-hitting option, but we only really see that to extend damage, to extend combos when we're linear face-to-face. Not very many times you're going to find free openings like that. So big stuff on MuteAce for waiting to the final moment to find that fair.
And that forward air is so long that it has its own sort of inherent timing mixed up. If you're looking for the Peach right on top of you, you kind of expect a down air or a nair or a back air, something that comes out very quickly. But with that, you know, extra 6 or 7 frames of delay that you get by going to that forward air instead, if Jahzz0's looking for a parry or just waiting to drop that shield. Instead, you're getting that crown right to the head, and it's not being placed on you. It's sending you to the blast zone.
That's right. I love that. So this is not how I wanted to wear the crown. Dang.
You get to wear the imprint.
That's right.
It's close enough, right?
That's right. Same thing.
It's like an autograph from royalty.
Oh, you know what? That's true. So you have now been knighted. You are Sir Ken. On the way back down right here, basically an even match. Both sides just kind of feeling each other out. The FAD seeing great patience right here on MuteAce, just letting him expend that whole animation. He said, look, I ain't going to press the button. It's okay. Jahzz0, on the other hand, pressing of the right buttons on that top platform. You don't want to give a character with the short you that type of assist, excuse me. So you want to try to keep this onto solid ground as much as possible.
We need to be very careful about when he is choosing to pull these turnips because those are opportunities Jahzz0 can get in there. But now you're out of there. Off stage, Mute has a great opportunity to get this stock done. Lingering back air, always nice. Eating right through that focus, but again, Jahzz0 with an excellent recovery route. We got to see it again, though.
And maybe a couple more times, depending on the defense. Burns the air dodge on the wing, and I don't mind playing up close and personal. Cross up back air is looking good. I even like some of these temperature-checking options that Jahzz was going for. You know, a quick frame two, light jab, just enough to kind of bust up the fun, get through the chaos. We've been seeing a lot of that, too.
I like calling it a temperature check, too, because we usually say, oh, it's a heat check, but sometimes it's a cold check. Yeah. We gotta see if you're playing cold. Sometimes you got to respect it. There we go, though. That up air, though, definitely showing that Mute is on top of things right now. 112% does mean that one of those confirms is doing. Not even needing a confirm. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God, you are
Let's go, Justin.
Oh, my goodness. It is Jahzz0.
That is actually 37. That is parrying all those kicks into the finisher.
Wow. My goodness. Jahzz0's locked in right. Bro,
stop.
You better stop.
No more down airs. I think no more down airs now.
You better stop. You better stop playing around.
You better stop.
Man. Okay, on the way back down there with Fair. Nair looking good, too. These aerials right here just creating themselves some separation between MuteAce and Jahzz0. Looking to reset this thing. MuteAce knows the importance of making sure they approach a little bit more carefully. Now there's the up air.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, with the amount of times that those downers have been parried, that might be the reason that we saw that forward air end the game the way that we did that last time. He's going to live that, sure you. Because Jahzz0's been so ready to parry the timing on that down air, that's where that timing, except that forward air must have worked. And MuteAce, I think, it's one of those things where conditioning is not always a choice. You just have to kind of realize it and say, oh, he has been conditioned, whether I meant to or not, to start parrying these downers, so now I have this timing mix-up available. MuteAce pulled that out at a key moment last time and may have it available again. He's playing with the lead right now, getting that stock with the back air. Jahzz0, once again, on a limb.
That's right, back against the wall, but maybe it's a little bit of that fear factor, too. I mean, you know, when you play up against a character like Ken and Ryu, you know, as the opponent, okay, they have focus attack. Where are my multi-hits at? What you're not taking into consideration is, yes, I'm not expending focus attack anymore. I'm actually letting you come to me, and I'll look for the parry into devastation every time. So right now, MuteAce still with a little bit of a lead. There's the Nair, looking really good, super safe on shield. Can I get another one? There's a back air. Oh, I'm going to eat that.
Remember what I was talking about, that Mute's trying to take advantage of that conditioning of parrying the down air. Jahzz0's now not parrying the first hit of that down air. He's looking to parry only the third hit where he can get that punish, not worrying about the first two so that he can confirm whether Mute has done the down air or another aerial. And that might be something that decides the end of the game right here at 138%. Mute only needs one aerial, but Jahzz0 also only needs one opening.
That's it. A bit of a trade right there. And the crown, again, you are going to respect the crown and respect royalty, said Princess Peach. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what type of world warrior you are. When you come to my part of the world, you're going to show some respect.
Man, Mute twice closing it out with that forward air. And I distinctly remember that move being used to close it out a lot at the first Dreamhack Dallas in 2019, because that was before that move got nerfed, and it was just crazy. And yet, even now, with Peach being a little bit, you know, taking a step back in terms of some of that power, Mute's still making great use of it. And again, pulling it out in those key situations where, again, Jahzz0's not really looking out for it.
No, I mean, how could you? I mean, I'm so focused on your multi-hitting aerials like down there in that frame 5 Nair. I completely space. You do have just a one-hitter quitter. That is that short hop forward air, and it's getting the job done in a big way. Potential final game right here for Jahzz0 in this bracket. MuteAce, of course, up 2 games with the turnip in hand early on, ready to slow this match down to a crawl, but wait a second. He said, I don't mind playing slow either.
I love seeing Jahzz0 doing those crouches. It looks like he's playing a charge character right now. Get ready to hear a hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey. Oh, bro,
Air slasher.
No, you did not.
Look, we saw some good DJ play earlier today.
Yes, we did.
Over on the EWC stream, which right now, by the way, is going with some Tekken. Maybe if that's up your alley, you can check that out later. But don't look away with this being game number 3. Jahzz0 trying to make some key adaptations. Already at 92%, but again, that damage building up is a double-edged sword. We've seen him take advantage of that rage already.
Love that Nair too. Frame 6 and -2 on shield. So, you know, sometimes when the pressure gets tough and I need just a quick get-out-of-jail-free card, I'm going to toss that Nair. Or sometimes if I don't feel like going for dash attack or Tatsu, I will just Nair right in. Sometimes the opponent's going to really struggle for the answer back, but not MuteAce. I just ain't any old type of opponent. Okay, I'm the best Peach in the world. Back here is going to get it done. I'm ready, bro. You better stop playing.
Didn't parry the hits after that. Now MuteAce, I think, maybe being a bit more aggressive with saying, okay, if you're starting to drop that timing, maybe throw out a couple more of those downers, see if Jahzz0 comes back with it. But Mute off to that early lead, and again, just chipping away at Jahzz0 in ways that are making it really hard for him to get those comebacks. And good DI on that down air, not letting any follow-ups occur.
No, absolutely not. Of course, he's kind of cutting it off at the hip and cutting you off from that first stock. It is a Jahzz0 at 89% with the turnip in hand. I don't know if I should be as worried as I am right now about it, but let's see what the follow-up's going to be. Not going to be able to land with an aerial. Focus attack. It just disappears when he focus attacks. I didn't know that either.
It just kind of goes away.
Yeah.
It didn't count for it. Man, didn't account for that forward air either, though. MuteAce always finding the right time to throw that move out. Jahzz0 never even able to take advantage of that turnip he had in hand. So hard fought and well earned, but he still needs to fight twice as hard to get back into this one, down a full stock.
Has to, fortunately enough, claw his way out of this deficit. And he's doing a pretty good job. Nice. Gets the down tilt right into the Tatsu. The up tilt. You better, look, I ain't going to keep telling you. You better stop playing around.
When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
They have. I'm in my bedroom yelling. They got consequences. When will you learn?
When will you learn?
Dang.
90% though. I mean, again, that downer did not get Mute in too much trouble. Nice parry right there, but Jahzz0 not able to follow up, and these two are air dashing at each other. It's looking like a game of DBFZ.
Movement is pristine right now. Another parry. Okay, but can't quite get the follow-up off it. I like the approach right here from MuteAce. If you parry anything, I'm going to let you parry. Oh, my goodness, this Nair. No more down air at all.
Still not enough to take it, though, and Jahzz0 is definitely looking for just to toss out that, the crescent kick on that one especially, but 122%. It's just going to take another one of those forward airs that we've seen so many times from Mute, but I love that low to the ground tomahawk with that float.
He knows the importance of trying to stay off their feet just a little bit. Oh my goodness, and coast to coast, no red stuff right there. And it is enough to put Jahzz0's final stock here at Dreamhack Dallas 2024 to bed. Great stuff right here.
How suddenly it came to an end, but MuteAce definitely just stayed on top of things, even though Jahzz0 had a couple of moments. I mean, definitely made the crowd explode with some of those parries and everything. MuteAce coming out on top. But, hey, if you like Jahzz0 out there, give it up for Jahzz0 doing a great job in the bracket today. A great run here at DreamHack. Made it into the top 8 on winner's side. Going out at 5th in losers' quarters, but still putting on a great show. I know I had a good time watching them.
I had a great time. You know, again, it's just the Jahzz0 effect. It doesn't matter where he places in bracket. Once he starts playing on stream, he becomes the people's champ. And at that point, you can't tell nobody nothing, okay? Great stuff right there to Jahzz0. I'm loving the Kenergy as always, but unfortunately, just 2 matchups where, you know, you're going to kind of struggle a little bit in this top 8. Of course, Sonic, historically, we talked about the set count, you know, between Raph and Jahzz0 and just how it's kind of leaned more in Raph's favor. And then, of course, you know, Peach, MuteAce, no slouch. I got a lot of multi-hitting options. Even though you did parry my down air, you got to take account, you know, my nair as well, too. Very quick option, of course, very safe on shield. I'm going to make you work for those down tilt shoryus. And unfortunately enough for him, MuteAce was able to, you know, kind of mount that victory.
I like that you bring up that nair, right? Because, yeah, even if you're not forcing out sort of like the multiple parries like that down air is going to do, we saw Jahzz0 near the end, right, waiting to kind of try to parry just that third hit of the down air a couple of times. And if you're waiting for that, then that nair can hit your shield. And then by the time you react to, oh, it was only a single hit move, Mute has that time to jump away, right? And be able to say, okay, I put on my shield pressure. Now I'm over here, and you've got to either, you know, kind of back off and give me more stage, or you've got to risk having more of that shield dwindle down if you want to come up and pressure me and have that escape zone. So, yeah, again, like really good stuff by Mute, recognizing those situations. But we'll be the one moving on. He'll be waiting in losers semifinals for the winner of this next match, and it is yet another local showdown of the DFW boys. Atomic, we saw earlier on winner's side, going on down to the losers bracket, could not take down Shadic, and now has to take on another one of the best that Texas has to offer in Lima.
That's right. Lima, of course, is an absolute menace. You know, we have seen on paper statistically, you know, how R.O.B and Bayonetta kind of goes. I know it's a little bit different in Ultimate, but, you know, R.O.B definitely has his weaknesses in this matchup. The main one being very big body, of course, on stage, above the stage, off stage, very, very big target. And Lima, I mean, the off-stage prowess is always there. The corner control is always there with Lima. But all that to be said, Bayonetta, of course, never been the heaviest gal in the world. We kind of leave that up to Power Suit Samus in Ultimate. Bayonetta very easy to smack around. And like I said before, with some of the good boxing tools and some of the safe and innovative ways that R.O.B can put on damage, Lima definitely has his money, you know, kind of cut out for him here.
Yeah, I mean, Atomic has definitely seen plenty of how Lima has played, but yes, it's not likely to be the R.O.B. It will be the Joker.
Nice.
R.O.B is a very much a struggle matchup for Atomic to play against the Bayonetta, and does have this secondary Joker, and it is mostly built to come out against these tough matchups, and especially against Lima. Definitely has been the impetus in the past for him to pull out this Joker, and every now and then does find that success against Lima. So we'll see if that happens here on the big stage, getting a little bit more character variety in this top 8. We will see how Atomic and his 3 sponsors like this Joker up against Lima.
Not the 3 sponsors, dang it. It says it's big money on
the
stage.
Mewtwo King back in the day, right?
Oh,
the CT, EMP, P4K, EMG.
The whole dang Alpha. He was sponsored by everybody. BET,
everybody
MTV,
wanted a piece of that. Yeah.
VH1, everybody, man. I mean, how could you not want Mewtwo King back in the day? I get it. There's the backer off the top platform. Okay, and of course, we're going to drop down with the Nair. No tether recovery for you, my friend. And just for good measure, some good Bayonetta insurance, I'm going to go ahead and go for another off-stage option just to make sure you don't come back to this way.
One more. I mean, you already know that he's probably dead if he doesn't have his double jump, but maybe just in case you missed out on that second witch twist will definitely take care of things. So Lima off to the lead, but not a gigantic lead. Atomic did take advantage of that first Arsene we saw to build on some damage, and is able to time on that get up. A nice little up smash right there. So early on in the game, already catching on to Lima, just kind of going at things on first tempo and able to take down that stock.
I mean, just kind of reinforcing the idea that less is more, and I'm thinking a matchup like this, both of these two, they're going to get their strings. There's no way you can stop Joker and Bayonetta from doing any of that. But sometimes you don't have to go for like a frame 6 dash attack to, you know, force your way into Joker. Sometimes the downward angle guns is enough to just set up a rinse and repeat scenario, and Lima's just going to make the mistake for you. Nothing off the grab, but Arsene is here though. Okay. Has him in the corner, trying to figure out a way to get back onto solid ground, and I love this. Bayonetta not with the best grab range in the game. In fact, I'd almost argue maybe some of the worst grab range in Smash, period, but was able to run right up and to earn out this meter, getting Atomic off stage. Up tilt.
A little bit of a setup right here. Atomic getting taken up to the skies. Not, of course, into the blast zone at those percentages, but it does mean that Arsene is going to have to take a breather in the back with that up tilt. Now finding a back air, but the reset right there, reading that jump out of the disadvantage from Atomic. Lima, again, he has seen the situation so many times already, and that one as well, it's a Lima staple. You are coming off of that Angel platform with invincibility. Lima's going to witch time that hitbox you throw out and then make you pay afterwards. 82%, and it was in the blink of an eye.
I know that's right. It's so easy to see a situation where you're glowing purple and moving in slow motion. So I get it. I definitely get it. Show me what's up, Lima. Love that utilization of up tilt, knowing that Atomic's doing a lot of jumping around, and for good reason. Nair's -5 on shield. Very big hitbox, too. So, oh, wait. Okay, so I was actually going to go for the, well, I guess it's not technically, you know, an all-the-time thing anymore. They kind of nerfed it, but, you know, when you get kind of caught in that up tilt or up air string, you know, on that platform, you always have to wonder, how long is this going to go?
Yeah, be aware that those confirms can happen, just like we see that confirm right there from Lima.
Yeah.
Rod, Lima just did not look stoppable in that game #1.
So this was like super Bayonetta if even is such a thing. I ain't played Bayonetta 3 yet, but I imagine she has some other very powerful form in there. She was playing with the spirit of Madama Butterfly on her side and was able to, you know, again, do some quick work right there of Atomic. Up tilt, of course, kind of being like the bane of Atomic's existence. Now, when you got Lima in the corner, that's one thing. But when Lima is center stage and ready for the damage to come to you or come to himself, and you're doing all that jumping around, if you overextend, if you miss anything, I'm going to up tilt, you're going to be in for a world of hurt.
That is exactly what we saw there at the end of that game 1. Lima definitely picking up those quick moments where Atomic's maneuverability that he has with Joker was able to be picked up on. But woo! We got Escape from the City going. Atomic going off a PS2 where Lima is able to cover all that ground that he just quite can't. Small battlefield, definitely a good pick for him. I think one of the struggles that we really saw from Atomic is that it's already really hard to juggle Bayonetta, but especially when you've got a stage as wide as PS2, even though Joker's fast, you're not going to be able to juggle her. And you're going to want to stick close to the ground on those juggles as Joker. And Atomic definitely going to be closing out that space to keep Lima at ledge and up in the air, just because you're not going to get big combos on Bayonetta. You want to keep her in that disadvantage, and that is exactly what the stage is going to offer.
And he's doing just that, too. I'd almost argue in the last match, got a lot of leverage without Arsene. I think once Arsene gets in the picture, the opponent already is playing a lot safer. I think he's trying to really make his presence known before Arsene even gets there. Of course, whipping another grab in the corners where Atomic really comes to shine. There's the forward throw, though. Oh, I see you coming off the backboard, but I'm chilling.
I love that Lima was ready to tech that whole sequence right there, and almost followed up on it was Atomic. Had that down air ready to go, but Lima also had the DI. Woo. Whew, and that down smash definitely could have done it. Woo, indeed. We're both sounding like Ric Flair right now.
Seriously, man. Nature boy. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, and then the taunt, too? What does it mean?
Hey,
what does it mean, Atomic?
You know what? It means he's killing time. He knows there's nothing he can do, so why not give the people a little funny, a little laugh. The Sunday funnies.
Okay, ain't nothing funny about this back here, though. Yeah, I'm lining it up. Okay, there's the wish switch right into the nair. It's not looking good for you off this stage. Nice coast to coast for the back air. Still not enough, and Arsene is present. Oh, forward throw. That should be enough. Yes.
Joker slight of form and slight of weight as well, and Lima able to take that first stock with that forward throw and all that rage to boot. Might make these starting combos a little bit more difficult. You see that up tilt didn't lead to anything, but the second one, he waits it out, and oh my goodness, these auto-cancel up airs. The tight technical moves to turn around with those as well to connect those combos, but Atomic with some good DI and knowing that the rage makes those combo routes so much more difficult to connect, was able to get out of there without completely losing it.
Patience is a virtue, I think, in a matchup like this, and we're seeing it pay off in dividends for Lima. Just walking up close and personal and saying, I know you're going to try to eat this. I know, and I'm not going to let you have any of it, all right? Okay.
Speaking of which, I love that Lima's not letting Arsene have even a twinkle of a say in this match. Just, okay, I'm flying underneath the stage. Here we go again. And which side am I going on? Back to the right. And Atomic has no answer for it right now. Lima finding a great way to time out that Joker Arsene.
Just has to respect it. He has to respect the recovery options, too, that he has the back throw the right this way. I love that. Working with a little bit of meter, too. Now, again, we haven't quite seen, Arsene really get busy here throughout the course of this set. In the first game for a different reason. In this game, because Lima said, I'm out of here, but maybe we can make a big play here. Residual damage is on lock. Okay, nice though. Oh, another taunt.
Yeah. Already knows the score. It is one of those things that I guess you have to deal with on small battlefield that, yeah, even though Atomic looks so much more comfortable on stage, like you're talking about, that Arsene has just kind of been a non-factor because Lima's been able to just completely time it out on this stage. You got to wonder if that's going to be getting into Atomic's head, that Arsene is coming, and that means that Lima just might be going back to this ledge for quite a few more long moments.
That's right. Sometimes you might just have to stall him out, and that's okay. Okay, we're back down. Okay, now I love that fair on shield. Nothing off the back. I mean, he's just slinging everything plus the kitchen sink at Lima. But unfortunately finding little to no damage. Read the roll well, but couldn't quite find the opening afterwards. Again, Lima getting so much mileage off of that frame 7 up tilt. That first hit is devastating. Ooh, love that.
The patience there from Atomic was so good, but even better by Lima to call out that timing. And now the edge guard gets to go up, and down goes Arsene. Not quite the stock, though. Good DI by Atomic right there. Forward throw is not going to be enough. We're not nearly close to the ledge, but there is that tether recovery. It is hurting Atomic, not able to make it back. It's very good against a lot of characters that in this game you're disincentivized to go off stage and go for those edge guards, but not Bayonetta.
No, not Bayonetta. She lives off stage. I mean, we have seen it time and time again the importance of not only making sure that the grounded options are intact for Bayo, of course, not the quickest gal in the world, but when it comes to these strings and where they can and cannot take you, I mean, she is going to just take you all the way off stage and a lot of times just leave you there or leave herself down there. Don't touch me.
Okay, we're doing laps now. we're taking advantage of the track on top of the gym. We're going around and around.
That's right. Get my cardio up. How is she doing this in heels? How is she running laps like this in heels? How did you do it?
Atomic still not able to find that stock, and away goes the Arsene. Lima just doing such an excellent job. And it looks so silly, right, for somebody to just go like, yep, I'm not going to engage with it. But that's what happens. You have to consider that when you pick a character that's just not going to be able to use the same plan, that game state is going to change and that it can be taken away from you at any given moment. And Lima really taking advantage of, again, what this stage has to offer. And with such a big lead, it's looking like Atomic might not be able to bring this one back.
No, unfortunately not. Now he's switched up the Jets completely. I mean, at first we were kind of playing this one safe. Nice. Gets a little bit of intangibility due to the Arsene activation. But I don't know if it's going to be enough because, again, when Arsene comes to town, Lima is nowhere to be found. I am off this stage, and I'm not dealing with it.
I would like to see Atomic go off stage and up guns, unironically. I want to see if Lima's ready to tech that.
Oh, man, that'd be sick.
Because at a high percentage like this, like, you're going to be forced into that tech, and you've got that distance to make that back. Oh, well, you know what? A different type of guns came out, and they got shot right back. So you know what? 1 bullet, 1 kill for Atomic right there.
That's right. I see your bullet climax. I can't reflect the bullet arts, but I can reflect the bullet climax for sure.
Speaking of those guns, a nice little combo off of the down guns right there as well. Atomic suddenly turning on the Jets and playing smooth here in the final hour, but is it going to be enough before the clock strikes midnight?
Hey, well,
that witch can take you out.
That's right. This witch right here can definitely take you to some places, and I got to give it to Atomic. Again, the gun control in the corner. I mean, we've seen it in the opening exchange in the first game. It is important. It's apparent that downward angle gun is tossed out, especially as Bayonetta is trying to witch twist from the top. Of course, that move not quite what it used to be. This was Smash 4. Downward angle guns wouldn't even be a thing. But this is a slightly different game, and so you have the ability to kind of constantly rinse and repeat and reset her off stage, but we didn't quite see it to the tail end of this one. So unfortunately enough, Lima's going to go up 2 games. And also, the biggest elephant in the room, come on in. There was no Arsene to be found. I mean, he was there, but what did he do when he showed up?
Nothing, because Lima just ran away, went under the stage. That's the smart thing to do. When you see Atomic going to Kalos, says, yeah, you don't get to do that anymore.
No,
I'm taking away your toys.
It's done.
Now, you still do get the opportunity for Lima to go up high and, you know, dart around between those side platforms, and that could be an issue, but no more going under the stage. No more Atomic being completely unable to contest that. And again, if we saw just a little bit of mileage out of Arsene in that last game, if it were possible, then this might be an even set. It might be 1-1.
It might have been just 1-1, but unfortunately the multiverse timeline played out just a little differently right here. We got a lot of room, a lot of real estate. And Lima, of course, taking full advantage of all of it. Oh, you thought I was going to jump here this time. Did I just? Which time? Arsene guns Madama Butterfly coming through from another dimension with that F smash.
He's actually playing Ultra Kill right now.
I think
he's in the cyber grind. Just okay, here comes the gun, ping, right back at you.
Jeez, man. Lima just 1 step ahead right here of Atomic. Atomic has a lot of ground here to make up. There's the up tilt again. Double up air, triple up air. Oh, and then, yeah, I got to get off this platform. I know better. I can't play against Bayonetta up close and personal. But there's those guns we talked about.
Lima's still taking a trip off stage. He says, yeah, I might not be able to time out as much by just going between those ledges, but hey, if I've got that ledge grab invincibility, then I'm going to go there anyways. And using the witch twist as well to time this out even further, catching Atomic trying to grab onto the ledge. It doesn't matter where you go. Lima is ready to time out this Arsene.
That's right. And Atomic, of course, getting a little hit to Lima's ways. I mean, gets the 1 hit, and then, of course, you would expect a player, you know what I'm saying, a lesser player to, you know, maybe air dodge in after, like, first hit fair or just a standing jab so you could get the up smash or the down tilt, you know, next, but not giving it to him. Atomic able to find that stock at 103%. I can't help but to feel like this could be the start of a comeback right here. I ain't gonna say it's too late because there's still a lot of match left to be played.
And there are still Arsenes to be seen. Again, even if Lima is doing a great job of shutting it down, you know what? There's still that opportunity for Arsene to get a little bit of screen time, just a little bit,
just a splash. I mean, they're a cameo in this film, but you still get paid.
A bit part, you're still showing up in the credits. You still get to bring your family and say, "That's my name right there."
There I am. That's right. Random civilian number 17. Yeah, there I was.
Don't I know it?
That's right.
That is half my life, and I love it.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, hey, a check is certainly a check, and these two right here are certainly trying to play for that first place check. But they got to get through each other. Lima right now looking good. Of course, 41%, but Arsene guns. I mean, we have seen just the monumental force that are guns, either Arsene or not, and what Atomic can do off of them.
All right, and that is a moment right here to potentially take advantage of it. 2 Arsenes on 1 stock, definitely good for Atomic. And we'll get a punish here on the down air, a light one, but nonetheless able to put Lima at the ledge, and that could potentially pay more dividends than just sort of a random reaction smash attack. We'll see if Atomic can take advantage right now, as he tried to do right there, but not enough end lag. Lima going for a juggle.
That's right. Swing and most certainly a miss, but message sent. I'm getting kind of desperate for these. Oh, frame 9 jab. You got caught in it, boy, and you're done. Lima going up 2 stocks right now at only 84%. Things are getting kind of dire right now for Atomic. We got to make a play here and a quick. Now, we've seen a lot of success when it comes to playing against Lima in that corner. Of course, using every direction our guns can be shot in Joker's toolkit to find those openings. However, when it comes to taking stocks, it is belonging to
Oh! You're alive. Okay. You're alive. It's okay. It's all okay. Just barely, though. What a read.
Jeez, man. God, Lima, again, just one step ahead in a lot more ways than one right there. The big stepper right there. I know, right?
I guess that's another way to time out the Arsene. If he wants to go down there and put himself in trouble, then by all means go for it. Those down guns aren't going to take the stock. And Lima trying to find a little bit of a reset, a little fun way and a read to take the stock. But at this point, it's all about messing around. You come out to me, I'm going to waste your time.
That's right, of course. Right.
And our time.
well, you know.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. And, of course, that dash attack kind of breaking through that zone. We find ourselves in the corner here. Lima, of course, having a good old time off stage, just hanging out, enjoying the scenery.
Dude, every single stage that Atomic has picked has backfired against him somehow. I think I get why he stays on PS2 all the time now.
Yeah.
Because I guess Bayonetta could stick to the wall under there, but then it's not as easy to recover afterwards. Saw on small battlefield, just timing out the Arsene constantly. Up tilt into the forward air, did not have enough time to turn around with the back air with all that rage. But, you know, again, it's just going to be about one more hit, and this Joker will be kaput.
Yes, right. I mean, we'll take the damage nonetheless. Going to go for the down throw there that time. Yes, okay, 185%. Excuse me, 85 is much different than 185. Able to find that stock. Of course, Arsene is in the neighborhood, pulling up to the right house here pretty soon, I hope. Oh, okay. Resetting the combo, getting those feet back onto the ground, and then using the up special to try to yank Lima out the sky. Down there. Here's the down tilt, though.
Oh, the air dodge to try and get away, thinking that Lima would commit on that juggle, but no need to. Hold on a second, Rod. This is not over by a long shot. Arsene is here, and for some reason, Lima's on stage fighting against it.
Okay, not quite a lot of meter left to be used. There's back air. Should be a drop-off nair or wood switch here pretty soon. Hey, how about both, said Lima. There's up air.
He was like, that's a good idea, actually. I should do that.
Yeah, that's going to be enough right there. Unfortunately, no Arsene to get that trajectory out into that magnifying glass back to the ledge. It was the tether time. Unfortunately, Atomic is out of time there in that last game, and Lima going to move on to the next part of the bracket.
Now, we saw plenty of upsets to put people, you know, slightly less than expected to go up into the winner's side of bracket. You know, beginning that top 8 today, Atomic was one of them, but just could not overcome the demons. Lima, definitely a long-time demon, because you look at this. This is the Smash data page, and all that green is Lima. And there is the one piece of red. That's the one set that Atomic has won in the past. It's been a thorn in his side for sure. Lima has definitely got his number figured out. But y'all, you got to give it up for Atomic for getting all the way out here. 5th place. I want to hear some noise made for one of the local heroes out there. Atomic is out at the weeklies every single week, almost every single day, putting on great performances and showing people what he can do. And did that by making it as far as he did at Dreamhack this weekend.
That's right. And you can do that if you just show up to your local weekly, monthly, regional, whatever the case may be. Okay, your local I'd almost argue that Smash is probably the most played game that's in the country. I mean, there's probably a weekly in every city. Hell, I've been to tournaments in the airport. Okay, we can play Smash
in the mall.
In the mall, any old dang where, friends. You just got to get on the Google or get on Facebook and find out where it is that you need to be. But, friends, where you need to be is on the other side of this break. We're going to throw it to a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we got top 4 Smash Ultimate coming your way right after a word from our sponsors. We're here at Dreamhack Dallas 2024, and we are in the top 4 portion of bracket, the upper echelon, the meat and potatoes, the creme de la creme, whatever you want to call it. We are here to bring you through it. It's Rod, and it's the legendary Kimona. Kimona, talk to me. How you feeling about this whole party we've had?
I'm feeling great. This bracket is moving along smoothly. We have seen some great matches so far, some close, some not so close, but I think no matter what you get between those two sides, you're getting to see some great gameplay, and so far, that is what this top 8 has been full of. It's time for top 4 at Dreamhack Dallas. A lot of the tournaments are wrapping up now, and this is one of the ones reaching its denouement. It's going to be fun to see who comes out on top, because the names that we've got left in this bracket, it's nothing but the heaviest of hitters.
No doubt about it. Courtesy of this next match coming up here, this is Shadic and this is Raph. Depending on who you ask, they would have told you that this might have been, you know, grand finals, but they're playing right now, and of course only one person can move on to grand, so this is going to be a great one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket here. Let's go ahead and talk about this whole journey into getting to top 4.
Yeah, Wrath and Shadic are the ones that have made it onto the winner's side of grands, and not too much trouble for either of them. You saw Wrath did drop drop a game to Jahzz0 there in winners semis, but you know, both of them put on really dominant performances there. They will, of course, one of them have to go into the losers bracket, and one of them will be waiting on potentially who gets that run through. Of course, Lima, MuteAce both did not struggle too much. Kind of neither in their first nor their second matches of the day, you know, especially the people who had their second matches coming up against him. Lima taking it over Skitz, also took it over Atomic, and MuteAce looked really, really solid both against Beastly and against Jahzz0 despite some great plays. So you will see Lima and MuteAce, a classic down there in the bottom half of the bracket. And it is sort of the top 3 of Texas in the bracket, and then Wrath, the invader, the one that has yet to be stopped.
It goes to show, like we were talking about before, nobody holds the region down quite like Texas. And I mean, it could be nationally recognized players, or it could be hometown heroes. You named it, okay? If you come down here to Texas, you better bring your A game, okay? Because we're going to make it work for your money.
Wrath is the one that has been doing that so far. Again, you know, that top 3 of Texas that are still left, right? The other people trying to defend the house from Wrath. It's the names that you expect. It's the first 3 people you associate with the state. But Wrath so far, I mean, again, coming off of that win at MomoCon, looks so solid there and continuing to run that hot streak into Dreamhack Dallas 2024. And it is time for winners finals. Rod, we're on Pokemon Stadium 2. Where else would we be?
That's right. Surprise, surprise, right? But really not really. Okay, Shadic right now, the first one to draw blood here. And I'm actually not surprised about that, too. Again, Corrin is just one of those very, very long characters, one that's able just to really swing and clear out a lot of space. However, you got to get through Wrath, not just on center stage, not just in the air, but also in the corners, too. I think that's what makes Wrath's Sonic so dangerous in comparison to some of the other ones, is that I could run off stage in local fair. I could try to scout for a back air, but I'm just going to let the percent come to me. I'm looking for F smash.
He's also not just a runaway machine. I think that a lot of people have had a lot of respect for Sonics for being a player that can really switch between a runaway Sonic and an aggressive Sonic, depending on not only the matchup, but the situation as well. But you got to respect Wrath for being that as well. Easily one of the best Sonics out there, and showing you exactly why. Shadic goes off stage for about half a second, and then down goes that stock.
Jeez.
Wrath is looking unstoppable.
Love that frame 4 spring right into the hell that it brings. And hit him with the bonk and got him out of there with the back air. Jeez. Shadic, of course, phenomenal opening. The course has gone a little cold, as you know. Corrin, great on stage. Off stage, it's a lot to be desired.
Yeah, you can definitely improve your routes with Corrin right there. You can be, you know, more difficult to lock down, but overall, not the best recovery in the game. You got that hitbox to cover you, but, you know, you kind of have to do that Spargo mentality of, okay, like, I got to be good at recovering because my character's not going to do it for me.
No, absolutely not. There's that falling up air. And, of course, can't quite find the follow-up afterwards. Frame 7 on the up tilt. Of course, I'm over your head with it. Whoa, my God. Whew. And, man, when I tell you what, there's a lot of scary sights in Smash, but I think some of the bigger ones kind of come courtesy of these 2 characters. When they're coming to get you, when they're playing the Floor is Lava game, I can't call it. Sometimes I think they might actually fall victim to each other's game plans.
So far right now, I mean, Shadic has fallen victim to Wrath being a long distance away from him, not necessarily in striking range in that Corrin burst potential. And Pokemon Stadium 2 is not going to help Shadic there. So Wrath taking advantage of the stage that he's been given for this game 1. And here's that transition, right? We saw some relative aggression in that first stock, and now it's just head on over to the other side of the stage. And if you can catch a Shadic landing, then great. That's where we've seen Wrath take those engagements. But no, that punch not going to connect just yet. And instead, you're going to take a pin for your trouble.
That's right. He said the pin will definitely connect right there. A pin for a punch. And Shadic right now evening up this game. It is looking good here. 56%. And trying to find some of these easier opening spots. Going for the throw, falling upper, or even that frame 5 down tilt. Once you pop Sonic off of his feet, he's going to be in trouble. But Wrath, of course, one step ahead right there, the competition. And one thing I do love about the bottom characters is that what they get off of their hits is always a cool thing to see, but I'd be lying if I said that some of these approach options weren't kind of telegraphed. And I think to go up against a character as sound as Wrath, he's looking for those swings early on.
That's why Shadic is not swinging very heavily. That off-stage game working out, able to maneuver around the spring, taking it out with that up air, carving himself a path quite literally back on stage.
That's right. He said, I'm bringing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre right here, man. I got the chainsaw blade, and I'm ready to put it on Sonic. All right. Righty. And yes, and of course, another instance where Shadic was off of their feet. But right now, situation reset. Remixed it up here just a little bit nice. And this is what happens when you approach improperly. Shadic able to do away with that stock there in the corner. Has a lead. Let's see how long he can hold on to it. There's 4 there. First hit frame 5, but not enough to take it.
Ooh, low recovery. Shadic knows the limits of his character, even with that fast fall air dodge. Knows that he can make that back. So scary to see him burn that double jump very early because Sonic loves to prey on that. But, you know, Shadic also does a really good job of preying on those instincts to say, hey, somebody burn their double jump. I want to get out there and hit them. But that's a part of it right there, too. On stage, Wrath able to react, connect that back air. Sonic runs a lot, so you know those legs have got to be strong, and that back air shows it.
Oh, no doubt about that. I mean, I think that move has like 2 hitboxes or something crazy like that, like a late and an early one or something. But every time I see it land, I'm just like, wow. We gave Sonic this. Like
strong move.
This is a move. I mean, there are a lot of moves in the game, but this is a capitalized move.
This is one of them.
This is one of them.
I don't think that there is a bad back air in the game. I think that even Little Max is like okay. It's still a functional move.
It's
sort
satisfactory.
of. Like it's not on Little Mac, but you know, it's like that's a move that could still be able to potentially do something. Like in a vacuum, they're all pretty good. But yeah, Sonic and Corrin both have kind of some of the premier ones in the entire game and take big advantage of it for sure. They both closed out stocks with it. Question is, who's going to be the one to close out the final one in game number 1?
I mean, both sides, of course, know it's in the back of each other's mind, and that's why they're playing so safe here. Look at this. A lot of empty jumping around, a lot of the spin charging in the corner, really trying to work those nerves that Shadic has. I want you to be haphazard. I want you to swing in properly so I can make you pay for it. I have a little bit of a lead, and we're hitting the more unspoken parts of the match where that little bit of lead can really pay off in a big way right here for Wrath.
They've got to find a way to build on that damage and eventually take that stock. And necessarily you don't have to if you're Sonic, I guess, but Shadic is definitely playing in spots where Wrath isn't able to completely run away and then threaten a spin dash or just kind of a run in at a burst range that Corrin can't really handle. Shadic's been kind of staying at a mid-range where it's kind of tough for Wrath to commit a spin dash. Like right there, even though he's all the way at the ledge, made as much distance as he could, Shadic was close enough to get a punish out before that spin dash could get started and now takes the percentage lead.
Oh, and then double dare in the corner? What is he trying to bait? Right, you know what? Let your presence known. This is where the line in the sand is. And he's back into the corner again and trying to catch him with that 6 in there. Not giving it to him. Of course, Wrath backing off despite not having the lead anymore. Knows it is important, but I don't overextend right now.
Fair.
There it is.
Overextension from Shadic. Can he make it back? Using the back air to stall. Makes it back. Up B's not going to be enough underneath the stage, but the game wanted to play a little funny trick on you to make you think it could.
Oh,
and there's that forward tilt to stuff that approach. We haven't seen it once because you have to time it perfectly. But Shadic right there stopping that side B in its tracks.
That's just the sortie classic. You get in the corner and I'm like, here's all the fancy movement, and then you showed your hand. I just turn around F tilt. I mean, every sortie does it. I do it with Link. All the Fire Emblem characters are in on the bit too. It's just Pyra and Mithra. They do
I'll
it
do it too.
Yeah. Bam. There it is. Here's my fake sword. Bam. You in that corner playing around, you rolling properly, you try to jump over this, you're done. Great stuff right there too, Shadic. A hard-fought game at number 1. That felt like game number 5. That should let you know how evenly skilled and how hungry both of these 2 players are.
Yeah, 2 players that are definitely on a very similar skill level, both playing hot today. They look really excellent, but Shadic definitely just had pound for pound those big interactions. We saw one really key edge guard from Wrath early on in the game that looked like, okay, he's going to be able to keep that pace with Shadic, and controlling the pace is definitely something Sonic can do, but now Wrath needs to be able to show that those stocks can get taken early on a consistent basis as well.
And it kind of like flipped the script on him too. I thought what was really cool is that, yes, you did get that spring on me that last game, or that last stock, excuse me. It was awesome. I learned my lesson immediately. You called it out so beautifully. Going for that up air and just completely negating the spring. Get it out of here. That's what you love to see.
Away with that.
Away.
Away with that.
Away
We
with
don't need
that.
those.
Away with that, good sir. I say.
I say indeed. Well
All right.
now.
All right. Now he's going to go for the home attack. And this time just trying to create himself some early space here. I think, you know, again, space is everything with these 2 characters for 2 very different reasons. I think.
Oh!
And sending you to outer space.
68 post hits?
What?
Post hits?
Are we looking at the same game? Come on, what the heck is going on?
I checked the damage ratios. I don't know. Like 55%. I'm joking.
Is this .9 part 2?
Oh, come on.
Wait, no, but this will be the other way, actually.
The other way around.
That's right.
We're playing in the bounce house.
Is this underdog boost part 2? No, I'm kidding. Don't get the internet started. All jokes aside, but that was a wonderful opening exchange right there from Shadic. Has a very strong lead. What is to come?
Ooh, I love Shadic using the delay, holding down on the up B to make sure that he goes past the ledge, grabs it after Wrath does to get something off of that ledge trump. And now getting to play with a very serious lead and the big combo into the side B. Rod, what was I saying about needing to close out stocks early against Corrin? Because Shadic has taken 2 stocks and has only done about 110% to Wrath in this game.
Shadic is playing like a man possessed. He might actually have the Sunday Holy Ghost, and it is Championship Sunday. Shadic right here rising to the occasion, and like you said, doing away with that stock. Shadic right now looking powerful, up 3 stocks, 156%. This is Corrin with a little bit of rage and the ability to keep those party starting options at all aspects of the match, beginning, middle, and end. It takes one down tilt or up tilt to get it going.
Nice little up air to get it going for Wrath as well. A definite juggle could end it, but we're going to go for that back throw, spin him up with that, it's like the Ken back throw.
Yeah, yep, it is. It's the spin to win, man. I mean, I'm going to roll you up out of here, right? Right. Just a short hop fair. That time looking for him to maybe tech in place, rolled in that time. Shadic knowing that it's so important to not be off stage or even in a position to be caught in the corner. I'm in this Pokeball area, okay? Come see me. Falling up here. Can I get a triple? No. There, up air.
Woo! The fact that he got a follow-up after that up air is demonic. I can't believe that he has enough time to do it, and yet Shadic, always custom with those combo routes, knows exactly which hitbox he's getting and which one to throw out next to follow it up.
Again, he is just locked in a way right now with these aerials. Oh, nice. And you know, I think we talked about this coming into the match, the importance of movement options, empty jumping in place, not only for yourself, but only on your opponent. Bait out that air dodge. Gets the pin. Nothing in the corner. Try to go for a second one. Raph said, it ain't going down like that again. You're going to eat this back here.
Got up close enough right before that pin could come out with a side B of his own, and now off stage. Shadic taking a trip out there, not getting that fist to the face, but Wrath continuing this juggle. I love to see it. Yes, put the Corrin off stage, because that is by and large where he's been finding these early stocks.
Oh, yes. And then, of course, breaking that zone with dash attack. Again, the ground control still, you know, a strong aspect of Sonic's toolkit, even though we aren't quite seeing it here as much. Majority of this game has been played in the air. Falling there. Put the fist away. Put the fist away.
Man, Shadic is playing artfully in this game number 2. Couple of early stocks, and the movement has put him exactly where he needs to be at all times. The game number 2, even more dominant than we saw in game number 1.
That was filthy. Jeez. Gee, Shadic.
Falling up air. That last lingering hitbox, it's just as strong.
Dang. Wow.
Eat a lemon?
I mean, that was a very, yeah, that was, wow. Okay.
We need to take a sip.
We might need to, but geez. Wow, now that is how you end the game right there. Beautiful stuff right there to Shadic. Of course, but the job ain't done yet, and this is also Raph, one of the best Sonics and one of the longest running Sonics in Smash history, okay? He knows what it takes to bring himself out of this hole. It's all going to come down to if he can apply it here in the match. Still trial by fire, and let's see how this one goes here as Shadic, one game away from punching that ticket to the winner's side of Grand Finals. Raph has 2 more games to bring himself back out.
And I think it's telling that we're back on PS2. Like, this is the stage that Wrath wants, and yet still is not able to shut down Shadic. And again, it's really been all down to, I say it all the time, but what really defines Shadic is just that empty movement, that ability to be positioned in a place where he can respond and take advantage of his, frankly, I don't want to call it an inhuman reaction time, but it's like right on the edge of inhuman. We were like, how are you really able to do that consistently? And the fact is, he just believes in himself that much, and he's been able to take it to some great heights. But getting off to the start on this game number 3, Wrath does at least have that percentage lead, and that has been seldom the case.
That's right. I mean, and it is huge to get the lead with a character like Sonic, too. I know it's a very, like, cliche thing to say, but I think in a matchup like this, in a set like this, where it's not quite going your way, you might actually have to slow it down to a standstill. And not to say that that's going to really get under Shadic's skin. I mean, this is still Corrin. You know, once I get up close, I can certainly make you pay for it, but you got to take the lead and really milk it. Apply it thoroughly right now, and Wrath doing just that. Whoa!
Frankly, that's what we saw work out a lot better, because that's what Wrath was committing to in that game number 1. And, you know, Shadic did still win that, but that really came down to the wire. But game 2, you know, Wrath was trying to be a little bit more aggressive to get things opened up. And the fact of the matter is that it's not aggression that he needs, it's the ability to close out those stocks. And I mean, look at this, 1.5 minutes straight, still not touched.
No, unscathed here at the moment.
I love the Sonic walk animation.
Yeah, he's just
jaunty
like,
stroll.
That's right. He said, yeah, I got the lead. What you going to do about it?
Yeah. Right now, nothing. Corrin doesn't have the speed to do anything.
Okay, finally putting on a piece of percent right there, but we'll certainly take. Okay, we'll certainly take it. Sorry, got scared. I forgot it's Sonic.
That could have undone 2 minutes worth of progress that Wrath had built up there. And that was hard earned.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, because it ain't hard to stay unhit versus Shadic and Corrin at that. Okay, but Wrath right here doing the math. He knows what it's going to take right here to win this. Shadic going to have to, get close and stay close. Get near. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah,
okay.
Wrath's still going to live there with Shadic. Throwing out that pin a little bit early, but it does let him at least try to respond on that ledge trap. Here's the boot, taking a little trip off the stage with Shadic once again, getting around the ledge trap. Normally so strong from Wrath, but Shadic has clearly picked up on a couple of habits that Wrath has not recognized as a blind spot so far.
Yeah, and I mean, again, knowing that I'm not going to be able to, like, outspeed Sonic, and not a lot of characters in the game are going to be able to do that on foot, really. I don't think any character, actually. But, you know, let me put a disjoint out where I think you might be in anticipation of where you may land or walk into. That's kind of how you have to handle Sonic. So it has gotten a lot of leverage, just kind of beating him to the swing and getting up close and personal, opening up opportunities with down tilt. But now he knows the speed is belonging back to Wrath. I have to put a sword out somewhere and hope he runs into it.
And that being said, Wrath is doing a really good job of figuring out where Shadic is doing that because, again, has been hit so few times in this game and has been positioning in places that you see Shadic just at certain timings throwing out moves to cover a spot, and Wrath isn't near there. Kind of, you know, definitely doing some damage to Casper, but not quite Sonic.
That's right. That's right. Casper, of course, is on the receiving end of some big damage, but wait a minute. Sending Wrath to meet Casper. Jeez, is that tilted up F smash, no tipper effect needed. It's so strange, too, when you see F smash come out because, again, it's like Bayo back here. Like, I know it's a strong move. I just forgot you could do that.
Yeah, right. You just don't throw it out all the time. And speaking of which, that spring ride as well, sending Wrath up into the sky, getting that up air to close out that stock. Not always a reliable move, but found a great moment to toss it out and to get a very, very solid lead.
Okay, Shadic trying to cut down this lead here. Double falling up air. One of my favorite tactics in Shadic's toolkit. Implements that beautifully. Wrath knows it, so he's bringing the pain. Drop down there. Yeah, okay, actually goes for the rise there that time, waiting for him to come back up. Have, you know, the stock count been a little different. Probably would have elected to go down, but has to play this one safe. Wrath looking good though. Another fair.
You see what happens when Shadic doesn't get any big moments. He had one in that first game, and that meant that it was a really closely fought fight. And in that second game, he had two huge moments, had a really cavernous win, but without any of those big, crazy sequences to take a stock in, you know, the flash and the blink of an eye. Wrath has definitely been able to just take full control of the game and has not gone down. 73% off stage as well. Again, Shadic getting out of that ledge trap, but Wrath at least does reset the situation.
Of course, another instance where he has Shadic off the stage. Now he's going to go for the upbeat through the spring that time. Great situational awareness. So finds himself stuck between a rock and a hard spot. Both spots happen to be Sonic the Hedgehog. On his way down with the Nair. Backer not giving him anything. Another fair for your trebles. Speedy frame, 9 options. Trying to keep Sonic out of his airspace, but there's fair. Oh,
that's enough to do it. Jeez.
Wow-wee.
Wrath doing such a good job of following up out of those spin dashes too, right? Because you're not always going to be able to get those lingering hitboxes that you can follow up out of afterwards, but finding all those situations, coming on stage or going off stage in both senses, Wrath definitely doing a much better job of cleaning up those stocks in that game number 3. And like we said, in those first couple of games, that's what he didn't have available to him. That's what he wasn't able to find. But now that that's been cleaned up, this is looking like a much closer fight. And dare I say, with that available to him, Wrath playing so well, this might even be his set to win if he can stay locked in for these next 2.
It most certainly could be, but it's all going to be a testament of time between these 2 patient individuals. Again, you know, Shadic just knowing the importance of positioning, maybe more so than speed and time, because Corrin is, once I find that one hit, many hits are to follow. However, Wrath, on the other hand, is looking for position and timing. And the way they started out that match, this might actually go all 5 games. You know, you try to play Corrin's game, you try to beat them to the swing, we try to go for the heads-up bout. You got a lot more hits than I did. I seen the error in my ways. Now it's time for me to go for play style that pays, which means I'm going to slow it down.
And that definitely worked out. I mean, choosing those engagements really, really well. Not going towards Shadic unless he knew that he really had an opportunity to deal some damage. And like you said, had that timing down pat. It's a little bit like baseball, right? As long as you have the timing down, you can make contact, you'll be fine. And if you make contact enough, eventually you'll get your hits. And that's exactly what Wrath was able to do there. Game 4, though, we're going to Kalos Pokemon League. This is going to be a stage that gives Shadic a lot more survivability off stage, which was definitely a struggle against Wrath in these last few. But on top of that, also, Wrath is going to put himself at a disadvantage if he wants to escape to these platforms, whereas that was before a very potent mix-up for him on PS2.
Yes, it was. I mean, it's the give and take of some of these bigger stages, you know, and it's really matchup dependent too. But in this case right here, Shadic can definitely have his way. If he can find a way to get an explosive opening and hold on to it. And he said, Rod, I heard you loud and clear. 51%, 56, we're counting it up. And I got to force my way back onto the ground. I cannot afford to go for any more damage. Oh, wait a minute. Whew. Cancel it back.
Speaking of damage, Wrath again following up on these spin dashes beautifully, and now Shadic off stage. And again, on a lot of other stages, you'd be a lot more scared out there, but Kalos comes through so clutch for him because he's able to use that pin to mix up those recoveries. You can air dodge way down close to the blast zone and still have plenty of distance to make it up. You do have to watch out for that spring on the way up, but as long as you can throw out that up B, generally you're going to be safe from it.
That's right, and with 3% differential between these two monster players, I can't help but to feel like this one might be a nail-biting finish here pretty soon. And come back down with the nair towards center stage. Both sides just throwing those aerials out, trying to play that tug of war. That who's going to approach, who's going to do a forward aerial something and walk or fly right into it.
Wrath doing a good job of playing evasive, not relying on those platforms to escape from Shadic. And I think he's recognized that, yeah, the platforms have not been necessarily where Shadic has been aiming to take him out. It's just been that Shadic is using some of that empty movement to get up close to Wrath, at least to that mid-range where he can react and punish something as Wrath gets close. And again, there's that deep recovery on Kalos available to Shadic, definitely aiding in that survivability, but both players right now trying to solve that puzzle of how to take that first stock.
And going for the pin in the wall, that's such an awesome thing to see, especially since Wrath isn't going for like spring in the corner anymore. I think he's just more so looking for, if I'm going to stay in the corner, I'm going to let him make the mistake.
Wow.
There's a pin after the air dodge at this late 146%. That's re-grab, and yes, you're gone.
That was Shadic defensively trying to make a read and call out Wrath's ledge trap timing, but did not end up working out for him. Untechable on the pin kick. You should not leave Kalos open against Corrin because you're going to start seeing gameplay like this. Wrath thought he wanted the big stage. Shadic said, yeah, I don't mind that. As long as I got walls, I'm happy.
Hey, I know that's right. On the way back down, no offstage game here needed. Both sides only losing one stock, but the way that beginning of this match started, it felt like final stock right there. They both know the importance of making sure that they close this one out here in a comfortable way. And Wrath right now, yes, playing very, very evasive, very elusive. Nice, gets the nair into the fair. A second fair. Does he have a jump back here? Nice, gonna go for the pin, and that time Wrath electing to go down to look for the percent.
Ooh, and an uncharacteristic right there. Shadic normally on those juggles tries to stick close to the ground, doesn't chase you up, but that kind of fell for that bait of Wrath being out of that double jump, having to use that up B. Like, you saw very similar situations against MPD yesterday where you'd see the Cypher up to the top, even with no double jump. Shadic would kind of hover below him, never kind of meet that area where Wrath would be able to, or where MPD yesterday would be able to fastball past him.
That's
Wrath
right.
was able to get that done there, so Shadic missed playing that juggle, and it looks like he's paying for it.
In a big way. Oh, early on the F smash there that time, maybe thought he was actually going to air dodge in. Percent's a little too high for that. Able to air dodge through the multi-hit. That is forward air. Not very often we're seeing Wrath go off stage, so you know when he's going off stage now, he's certainly lining something up. It ain't going to be good for the other side. Oh my goodness! Shish kebabbing Sonic the Hedgehog.
It was. Is that the next game?
I think so. Are the developers listening?
It's a Sonic Cooking Mama game. It's all chili dogs.
It's all chili dogs. It's chili dogs, and it's like.
Here's how to make the classic.
That's right, huh? All right. Can't quite get anything off the grab. But you know what, though? He said, look, as long as I got you in this corner, I'm okay with it. But wait, swinging out of the corner is Shadic once more.
Not able to get the sweet spot, but finally getting the follow-up he needed right there. The nair, the lingering back hit of it into the up air. Shadic playing with a lead. The question is, can he hold on to it? The way that Wrath has been playing these comebacks, I don't think it's going to last very long. But Shadic says, hey, did you forget who I am?
That's right. Did you forget? Okay, I got the Stride Esports jersey on my back. All right, I got the ultimate power-up. Falling up air. Okay, we know how powerful that's been. Nice. Going to go for the second upper, only getting one hit. You got damage, but you didn't get anything off of it, and not very often we get to see up smash, but when a Sonic of this stature does it, you know it's meant to hit.
Such a beautiful call out there from Wrath. That up smash covered just about everything on that platform because the hitboxes are like in an X around Sonic, and right now might be an X on that last stock. Shadic trying to close it out on the edge guard right there, but the pin not able to connect, nor on the hitbox or the kick, and now the damage building up. Wrath dropping that punish on the juggle, charging forward smash. No way you came up and challenged that.
Jeez, man, and unfortunately enough has lost a bit of the lead here. Not the biggest differential right here. Yes, we're even in this thing.
No, wait a minute.
Right, and Wrath bringing the Wrath right there, trying to clear a path off stage. Of course, a little off the mark, but message definitely sent. Watch yourself. I still got more options than I've initially shown in the corner.
Shadic stuck on this side platform, normally a place that he wants to put the Sonic, but Wrath is able to take advantage of it too, trying to get the center stage. We've seen those combos off of the spin dashes. Does Wrath have the decisive edge guard? Yes, he does. Shadic burned the double jump. We're going to game number 5.
Game number 5 is upon us. And wow, did not expect it to wrap up like that. Shadic, it looked like his game to grab, especially as we got to the tail end of that second stock. But Rap said if there's a will, damn it, there is most certainly a way, and held on for dear life. And again, playing to Corrin's, one of Corrin's biggest weaknesses, if not maybe their biggest weakness, which is the offstage gameplay. Your up special can recover from some fast distances away. You have the pin on Kalos like you beautifully brought up before, but the fact remains the same. When Sonic is off stage, he's off stage with authority, and he is out there for a long time with multi-hitting hitboxes. What's he going to do to get around these?
With all the time that we spent on Kalos, I think that Shadic got very comfortable doing those low recoveries. And like you said, right, it's so big for Wrath to be able to close out those edge guards. We saw Shadic really take advantage of Kalos early on, but like you said, it's all about that adaptation. And with him getting so comfortable using that wall to, accessorize that recovery, change it up in different ways, Wrath definitely taking advantage of it there, knowing that Shadic wanted to go low, and that is why we are on the verge of a reverse 3-0. Shadic's either got to clutch up or go to the loser's bracket, because Wrath definitely could close out this reverse 3-0. It's just a matter of where we go in terms of stage. I don't know if he banned Kalos after that performance, knowing how much that changed up the off-stage game. It's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, he really made Wrath work for his money when it came to, getting damage. I mean, because up until this very point, Wrath had just kind of stayed in the corner, and for good reasons. Not any bad reasons, just for good reasons. There's a chance that when you recover, you might not snap right away. Tilted down F smash. We've seen him take multiple stocks, not just here in top 8, not just top 32, but just throughout the course of the whole entire weekend. But the fact remains the same. When the pressure was on, he started to leave the position at the ledge of the stage to go down deep to try to get those combos and those strings going. But we got to see what the adjustments are going to be on both sides. It is game 5 here, friends. Let's lock in. I'm excited to see how this one's going to wrap up.
We're back to Pokemon Stadium 2, back to where the set started. And we are going to see who's going to take it in this game number 5. Wrath definitely on the hot streak right now. 2 really close and well-fought games, but ones where he was able to clutch up. And it's like we said at the beginning of the set, this game is going to go sort of however those big moments from Shadic go. If he can find them, if he can get those early stocks at least one time, he is much more likely to take this game. But as it stands, that slow game definitely working out in Wrath's favor.
Yeah, it definitely paid off in a big old way. So I don't know exactly where the pacing needs to be right here for this one, because we haven't quite seen Shadic play the slow game either, which is, I'd imagine, just as scary, or if not scary, as, playing a more aggressive game. Only time will certainly tell in a lot more ways than one. I'm dancing around right now, one end of the stage to the other. I have a small lead, but a lead nonetheless, and if you want to, reclaim it as yours, you got to come catch me.
Right now, Wrath says, yep, I know that you're going to take your time here. It's game 5. You don't want to make any mistakes, and even with just a 30% lead, that can make all the difference. And you see Shadic maybe even a little fatigued, right? The movement's not quite as crisp as we saw in those first couple of games. Not maybe even as comfortable playing as close up next to Wrath as he was early on in the set, trusting in that reaction time. Been worn down a little bit by the length of the set.
Ooh, but wearing Wrath down right there is that down tilt. Air dodging it through the up tilt. Of course, those 2 moves working in conjunction with each other, especially some of those earlier percents, but Wrath now knows the importance of staying away. Nice, beating him to the swing. I see you leave your feet. Of course, able to receiving it forward air right there. Triple upper, no, double upper into the nair.
I love that. Yeah, cashing out for that damage. Wrath using that reliable neutral air hitbox to finish it out. Man, using that up air as that delayed hitbox coming down, where a lot of people are going to expect something like maybe the back air for the safe pressure, or the nair, maybe to set up a combo. Shadic getting caught on that recovery as that up B lingers. The hitbox gets a lot easier to maneuver around, and Shadic down on that first stock. A great pickup from Wrath off stage.
Absolutely. Again, just picking his areas of opportunity a little bit more carefully here for good reason. Now he has a lead, but still holding forward in a way that I haven't quite seen yet. Usually when Wrath gets the lead, we kind of dial it back a little bit, but if you want to play on 10, I think Shadic is all down for that. Uh-oh. Okay, no pin there.
Threatening that space with that back air. Shadic always going to respect it whether or not it gets thrown out, but pin just not going to be enough without the rage, so it might have to be on the sledge trap that he closes it out. But it looks like Shadic's just trying to cover options. It's not like he's necessarily trying to call out anything specific Although he does right there, says, you want to spin dash to me, that's fine. I've got this up air ready to even up this game.
Oh.
But maybe those ledge traps are what need modification from him. Look at the mix-ups on shield, though. Are you ready? Looking like K-Brad right now. I'm about to block this back A mix-up.
I guess so. Raph is holding shield. He knows the importance of not dropping shield because any of those options, nair, forward air, falling up here, is going to lead into more aerial damage. Great defense right here from Raph. Back onto solid ground here again. He knows that, he's going to out-button him in the air just in terms of frame data, but let's just play this game on the ground for a little while longer. My God.
Definitely like no danger of taking that stock or anything, but whenever somebody just starts winding up the jack, the 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1.
When it hits, it's
as Sonic famously says.
It's plus on shield, man. Or plus on block, excuse me. Wait a minute.
Nice. I love the use of that up air to cover that recovery by Shadic right there, knowing that Raph has been looking to make those big plays out there. And look at this. Even though Raph did get that early lead and really slowed the game down, Shadic much more comfortable, and then not failing on that aggression on that juggle. We talked about how earlier, most of the time he wants to stay closer to the ground, not be very committal with those up airs, but that portends the big plays. He needs those call-outs to get control of the game, and now he's got it firmly grasped in his hands.
Mr. Big Play is here, right here. Shadic tapping into some of that Grant Hill energy, coming through for some last-second fun. There's the, oh my God, the homing attack forces him off stage. Okay, another there, nice, and then going high. I love that. He knows that he was going to go try to fly above that second platform, but of course didn't expend the air dodge the way he thought he was.
Yeah, the pseudo frame traps right there, right? The up air going right through the air dodge, the nair is immediately able to cover it. I know it's not necessarily a true frame trap, but we don't have a better name for it right now. And either way, Wrath able to take advantage, but he has got to get this stock done quickly, get it to last stock so he can slow the game back down, because Shadic is honestly a fair bear at the corner away from closing out this game.
And it looks like we got a situation reset right now. Now Wrath finds himself in the corner there just for a brief moment. Had to get back towards the Pokeball range here, Pokemon Stadium 2, as quickly as possible. Whoa! Okay, yes, and like I talked about before, again, it's not about trying to outswing Sonic or trying to move faster on your feet than him. If you got a disjoint, especially when as good as Corrin's, just put the sword on him where you think he might be. Oh, you don't ever try that.
Okay,
don't ever try it. You tried it, and I appreciate it, but Raph denied it, all right?
He said, okay, I see you wanted that forward smash. How about I give it to you after you tried to call it out? And now last stock, Wrath building up the damage. Shadic barely hanging on, and no tech with Wrath bouncing off the backboard like me at the YMCA. It's a whiffed shot, and no tech there is going to end it. An anticlimactic way to do it for sure, but that aggressive edge guard just not working out, and Shadic going to grand finals somehow, some way.
That's right. On the winner side of things, again, had the opportunity to talk to him a little bit before we kind of jumped into top 8 here today. He said he's feeling good, he's feeling great, and he's ready to take this whole entire top 8. So great stuff to Shadic, of course. Right now, Raph's going to drop down to the loser side. Has a couple more matches to play if they want to take this match. But, of course, we got to get to the other side of losers as well, too. We got a couple more games before we get to grands.
Yeah, even though Wrath is still alive up there, we still don't know who he's going to play in that losers finals to try and get that right to rematch Shadic. And the two people that he's waiting on would, over the longer period of time be looking for a rematch against Shadic. Both have plenty of experience against him, maybe not so much against Wrath. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how it works out, because it's two players that have plenty of experience against each other, both coming from Texas, both going to many regionals. It's going to be Lima versus MuteAce in losers semifinals.
Yeah, I can't call this one at all. I mean, I've seen MuteAce, I've seen MuteAce take some games. I'm talking in a very pivotal and dominant way, but it's very rare that I get to see, Lima steamrolled like that. I think this one's going to go down to the wire, too. I mean, we kind of prophesized it, talking about Wrath, and talking about Shadic and how evenly matched both of those two gentlemen are. But the same can certainly be said for Lima and MuteAce as well, too. Both of those two characters, very, very monstrous, okay? Peach, we've seen the combo strings, and then, of course, we have seen the heavy-hitting options that she has, like with Nair off stage, down there in the corner, forward there, and then, of course, the strings. Nobody has strings like Lima's Bear.
Okay? And especially against a, relatively tall character like we see MuteAce playing with Peach, right? Definitely going to be Lima controlling the pace of those games, but not necessarily being that the case in the set history. Now, again, I'll just pull up the colors so you can see it. It's actually relatively, well spread out, but for the most part, those red sets are the ones that Mute has won, and a lot of those have come in order, and I believe a lot of those were last year and the year before. But, since then, it's kind of been a little bit more of a trade-off. Lima kind of had the advantage early on, then Mute had a long stretch of winning, and now it's sort of back to a back and forth, still slightly Mute favored, but it's definitely one of those matches where they played close to 30 times and nobody's in the 20s. So it's very hard to call who's going to be able to take this set.
Well, you know what? We get to write some new history for the Smash history books here. It is loser semifinals at Dreamhack Dallas 2024. Let's go ahead and get it.
A rematch, I believe, of Dreamhack Dallas. I believe it was either 22 or 23. One of those years, I think both of these players were in grand finals. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, MuteAce was the one that came out on top there. But right now, Lima's the one getting off to the hot start, putting on that pressure and continuing to pour it on as he gets that first opening to get against MuteAce.
Yeah, using the turnip right there to extend that aerial string. Wow, I mean, that is precision right there at its finest. Great spot dodge right there on Lima, especially as, you know, or excuse me, not Lima, excuse me, MuteAce, especially as, you know, they try to dash and go for that grab. Again, not the best grab range in the world, so it's kind of telegraphed once he decides to go for it. All three hits on fair again.
I think the biggest thing is also that it is a very laggy grab, right? It's one that you can definitely get a big punish on, and Mute is always ready to strike when those moments are given the opportunity. He kind of picks those specific things that he wants to look out for and punish and just kind of say, okay, and then these other moves, they're not necessarily all that punishable, and I don't want to look for them. And not able to close it out on that juggle. Bats within, bailing out Lima, but not going to set up for the stock afterwards. Mute, the 154, is still hanging on.
That's right, dear life. All it's going to take is one string right here. I mean, we talk about the importance of strings with Lima's, you know, Bayonetta, but, you know, strings also certainly belong to the narrative of MuteAce as well. I mean, we have seen some crazy ones. The biggest one that comes to mind is, I believe, MuteAce and Spargo at Rewired Fest last October. I mean, that was a string if I've ever seen one myself. So, MuteAce can definitely get it done, too. The threat of bullet climax, forcing an upper recovery. We want to get the trump? No.
It doesn't want to play around with that because with Witch Time, it can kind of really mess up that timing and make you wonder, okay, well, am I actually going to be the one that gets ledge trumped here? Am I even going to get a follow-up? So Lima going right back to that ledge trap, but not throwing out anything to try and take it. And instead, even though he built up that 184, Mute's going to be the first one to get on the board.
Oh, yes. It was a strong start, but unfortunately enough, not quite able to close it out. And at 206%, we have seen throughout the course of this weekend players and their survivability being intact tenfold. I mean, wow. 216% versus Lima is crazy. Frame 9 jab. Didn't believe in it, let it go.
Yeah, definitely had really awkward positioning there, and I think it was so likely at those high percents that Mute was going to fall out that at that point, yeah, you just let it go and reset the situation. But eventually, you got to take this stock. You don't want to let the game slip away from you early. At 227, Mute is just playing his patented don't get hit. He is nowhere near this burst range, and honestly, Lima's just not being aggressive throwing out these hitboxes.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, just being very patient. Look at this, Lima. I don't care if I got the deficit, man. You know how I get down, okay?
He's trying to play, like, entirely with empty movement. He hasn't thrown out a move in about, like, 30 seconds. Finally does connect that throw with MuteAce kind of getting tired of the game. And now, with stocks back to even, Lima can definitely even up these percents with just one over.
That's right. Stocks a piece right now. Both sides, again, this neutral game of chess. What? Okay, nice. And again, I love these witch twists. I mean, we know that Peach does a lot of floating off stage. She does a lot of floating in the corner, defensively and offensively as well. Witch twist, of course, going to eat that up. Oh!
I like the idea of Lima applying that pressure with an aerial and then going back into the air with the pressure on that witch twist. A lot of people, you know, kind of just figure, okay, aerial on my shield. Now it's my turn to, you know, do something out of my shield. But yeah, Bayonetta does have that option to immediately go into that witch twist afterwards. And tons of shield damage right there, and that works out. Mute does get a shield poke with the forward air as well. Now potentially an opportunity for a stock, but had the turnip in hand, so no way to really capitalize on that with smash attack.
And turnip is kind of like the unsung hero in a lot of ways in this match, too. I think earlier on, that opening bout, using, like, you know, witch twist, throws the turnip, and then 3 hits of fair. I mean, man, turnip gives, and it definitely takes right here, and it's certainly taking that stock right there from Lima. MuteAce showing a lot of resiliency and a lot of patience in the corner, which is certainly something you got to have against Lima. MuteAce looking good. Yeah,
he will definitely pile on that pressure. And yeah, Mute, I mean, resilient is kind of the name of the game with him. He is one of those players that just, an ironclad mindset. The mind is perhaps one of the most powerful in the entire game, and sometimes it's a question of if his hands can keep up, and sometimes they literally break on him. But so far today, seems like they're working just fine. Turnip in hand, trying to set up for that offstage hit, but the back air sour as spots can get.
How long does back air last? Wow, I didn't know. Wow, that lasted a little bit longer than I thought. One of the later hits, Okay, looking for a roll, but all you got was the Venus and Serena right there, man. Bringing the racket.
Yeah, the big pan even off the top. Happy Pride Month to all the pans out there, including myself. Mute taking that game #1, sending us into a game #2 matchup where now Lima, I think, really has to consider, okay, you've got some of your data, you've seen some of the way that Mute's been playing right now. The objective is to try and figure out how to set up for something to take those stocks, because really that game went the way that it did because Lima could not figure out a way to consistently put Mute in the blast zone.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, and I get the threat of not wanting to overextend or really even meet Peach in the air. I mean, she's just fascinating. I got short hop in air, falling up air. We've seen, especially when platforms are available, falling up air to the rising up air into whatever. You got forward air too. You don't want to overextend. If I read, afterburner kick properly, that will be the answer back to that. So I understand the haphazardness, but you really got to make your presence known, I think, in a matchup like this. You don't want to try to outpatience MuteAce after you've given them the lead, because they have a completely different, devastating Peach plan at hand. Aggressive Peach is a thing. Defensive Peach, I mean, you don't want to see that from MuteAce.
It's one of the questions of, I think, that Lima does in his heart want to play more aggressively. I mean, you see him against other people that he doesn't really know as well. He wants to kind of test them, but over the course of however many sets these two have played, I mean, that's just tournament sets I talked about earlier. I figured, offline it's got to be, off the streams and out of the brackets, it's got to be in the hundreds, if not thousands, between these two.
Sure.
And you got to wonder, how much Lima questions, okay, like, am I even able to create space by throwing out these moves, or is that just setting me up to take a free hit and for Mute to back off and reset it?
Yeah, I mean, that is the million-dollar question. We're going to have to see if the theory is going to be applied here thoroughly. MuteAce, I mean, what we can't ignore is that they are up a game right now to Lima 0. Lima, of course, a little cold to the touch. I mean, we talked about checking temperatures, see if there's a pulse. Lima, of course, a little cold to the touch, but was alive there towards the tail end of the game. But MuteAce is definitely present. Of course, presently getting comboed up. Lima doing damn good work right now. Wait a minute. Turn up. That was kind of the hero in the beginning of the last game, and not even giving MuteAce a chance to toss it down or go for a Z-drop. I'm not giving it to you, but you will take a back air in return.
Oh, just floating on with the parasol, trying to go back to ledge, but Lima's got it covered. Down tilt in the back air's not enough to do it, and we are back to the Mary Poppins, and that is not going to suffice to get you back. Mary Poppins versus F-22 Fighter Jet. I'll take my pick, and I know which one I want.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say I've
Mary
seen,
Poppins.
Yeah, I was about to say, Mary Poppins, she can float, she can do a lot of things, she can exist ageless, over 80 years. I don't know, man. I don't know.
F-22 will turn to us. Mary Poppins, she's always there, always watching.
Practically perfect, man. There it is. Nothing off the up tilt. Oh, and I love that, too. And knowing that back air is coming, not even giving him a chance to go for it. Safe on shield, but pretty slow on the startup is Bayonetta's back air. If you know she's going to do it, you can get up underneath it. Try to beat her to the swing, okay? Oh, you tried it.
Yeah, not trying to do it right there. Again, exercising that patience, especially when Mute is trying to go for those landings. Again, don't want to overcommit on those juggles, because then you're going to be stuck above the Peach. And Mute, I mean, honestly, is just playing a tower defense game. Forward smash does push Lima out far enough that Mute has to go for the golf club, but the crown as well, pulling all sorts of items out of the inventory to take that stock.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's only the chamber of the gun that has the active hitbox that's like actually stopping something.
Yes,
like
other than that, if you're far enough away, yeah, it'll just do damage.
It'll just do damage. Okay, yeah, so definitely had the right idea, but unfortunately spaced a little incorrectly. But what can you do? You already overcommitted to the F smash. I get it. 137%. Can't help but to notice that Lima does have a pretty commanding lead. And like we talked about coming into this, the importance of, maybe switching off the defense to a little bit more offense is never a bad thing. And geez, there is the back here, the bread and butter.
Talking about the lead, 155 is definitely bigger than 0, and 2 is bigger than 1. Both of those numbers working in Lima's favor. Got the single hit of the up B with the witch twist, but didn't get it high enough, close enough to the blast zone to take that stock from MuteAce. That is just a doombringer right there, that single hit witch twist, but Lima not able to channel the smash 4 enough to take the stock instead. Oh, gets it turned around on him at 20! And even less percent. MuteAce taking advantage of that rage and bringing it back to even. What did I say about Mary Poppins versus the F-22, Rod? I said I'm taking Mary Poppins.
I got to tell you, come on. I mean, that was all the parasol energy right there. That was Rihanna's umbrella. Okay, that was Farnsworth Bentley with the umbrella. That was Mary Poppins. That was everybody. Anybody who's ever held an umbrella right there, man. Jesus.
That was the Kingsman, the Secret Service.
Seriously.
That was pulling out the shield with the gun in it.
Everything. I mean, really had to dig deep, but unfortunately not deep enough Lima going to get a point on the board for himself. 1 game apiece.
Talking about like pulling out Ruby weapons. We've got the scythe with the gun in there. We got the parasol with the power in it. And now we've got the high heels. And of course, it is also a gun because that's the kind of series we're working with here. But Lima, evening up 1-1, had a couple of really huge moments. Not only able to take the stocks, but much more reliably able to play aggressive, able to tack on that damage. Playing that matchup the way you kind of figure it would be, which is as long as it's air-to-air, Lima's going to have a much better time with that Bayonetta. It's just a matter of striking when the Peach is in the air.
That's right, and he did just that. Lima, of course, beating him to the swing. Now, of course, Peach, a much quicker character in the air, but Bayonetta covering a lot more distance with some of her moves, and so I think when you just let Peach jump first, when you let the damage come to you, that's your opportunity to play aggressively, and I think Lima did that beautifully there. Wondering what the answer back is going to be from MuteAce. Of course, we should stay Peach the majority of this top 8. I did like the Palutena, that's what I'm going to say. I like the Palu, okay?
It's more of a doubles exclusive.
It's more of a doubles exclusive, but that Palutena was polished, so I think it is time for Peach right here to strut her stuff.
And going to be strutting it on Smashville as well, much smaller stage. Not really a place for Lima to go and make some distance from Mute, kind of force those aerial interactions. Now Mute's going to be a lot more comfortable sticking close to the ground with that float, but it also means that these Bayonetta hitboxes take up a much larger percentage of the stage, and also Juggle's going to get a lot more brutal. Lima always has the option to go to the ledge and maneuver around MuteAce from there, but Mute, on the other hand, if he gets Juggle up into the air, going to the ledge is not quite so easy a task, and you see when he gets hit up there for that Juggle, he is immediately going away from that center platform, wanting nothing to do with it.
No, seriously, drifting all the way off stage right there and turn up, almost hitting X marks the spot, down throw, right into the nair. Okay, and that time just kind of backing off. Could have easily held forward and tossed out another short hop nair. Again, frame 5 option and very safe on shield. There's the up tilt though, right into the back air, and you off this stage.
Sour spot back air, definitely not going to take it just yet. And Mute connecting that turnip. Lima can make that back no problem as long as Mute messes up that edge guard, which he does. And now it's Lima's turn to try and turn things around out here, going deep, threatening MuteAce. And you know what? Why not combo him all the way to the other side? You got your time.
That's right. Why not? Uh-oh. Okay, yes, and you had your time on that first stock. Relinquishing you of it is Lima looking good. 132% with some rage here this time. I want to see what Lima's going to do with this. Stocks never really lasted long enough to see rage applied thoroughly in game number 1 and 2. Game number 3, different story.
Also, I mean, again, we see how Smashville's playing into this. Mute has been juggled a couple times, and Lima says, yep, you hit me up in the air, that's great. I'm going all the way to that ledge. Ledge is safe for me, don't mind. And here we go again. Lima, once again, tossing Mute up into the sky, having to contest with that platform in his way on the way down. But there is that forward air, crowned on top of the head, taking out those wicked weaves.
That's right. You have been knighted, my friend. You are Sir Lima after that. Jeez. Okay. So hop back here. Again, -5 on shield, too, if I'm not mistaken. So that move pretty dang good. We're seeing it a little bit earlier on now, too. Sometimes, we don't really see it come out of those darker red percents. I think Lima's just really itching to put on some percent here, period, and doesn't want to expend either witch twist or afterburner kick to do it. What the?
Oh, my God.
Wait a minute.
I don't know what turnip that was, to be frank, and I didn't realize that Lima even caught it at any point, but the fact that he had it definitely wouldn't have been able to have access to the forward airs in that whole combo, but it didn't matter. He still did a ton of damage.
Oh, and then back airing it through the turnip and your skull. Jeez, it is Lima. Wow.
What do we say about those air-to-airs, Rod? It is just every time that MuteAce goes up into the air and Lima is ready for it, he is not getting down without a little bit of a bruising, and that time through the face. Now getting taken to the blast zone. Lima does not want to risk losing this lead. Normally, I think he would go out there and go for that forward air, but this is not clip time. This is serious game time.
No, seriously. We're not on Twitter anymore. We're on Twitch trying to win something, okay? Nice. There's the down throw. And out on that top platform, just kind of backing off and letting it reset here this time. Neither side really trying to hold forward until we get off stage. That's when both sides turn into animals.
Whew, and Lima definitely doing that, staying on top of MuteAce with those nairs, but a quick reversal. Mute, yes, I like that, staying on stage, but Lima, man, continuing to turn things around.
That's right, let him know it is indeed leg day. Wait! Okay. Okay, let me off right there.
Me too.
Yeah, I know, right? And I tell you what, not with the best options out of shield is Bayonetta. So smart on MuteAce to read the situation, gets the red stuff, but not enough to get the stock taken. Turn up on the recovery reset. What we doing with it? Just the first 2 hits?
Yes, reset the situation, but too high to combo into that back air. You almost always need a read after that to catch it. And a sour spot on that back air. Mute barely able to stay alive, and this is where he is at his scariest. I don't care what you say about how likely it is that Lima wins the game, because Mute is going to hang on forever. Great DI into that tall blast zone. That's going to be
That should be enough. Okay, I thought for sure the final hit of fair 3 would have been enough to do it. But, of course, Lima, like we talked about, and same with MuteAce, too, the reoccurring theme, the reoccurring trend here is just resiliency and brilliancy. And I think Lima, of course, expending both so well right there. Beautiful stuff. 2 games to MuteAce's 1. We got to see some answer back here and fast, because that aggression that you so beautifully brought up before is starting to be applied in a way that is looking to be a little bit too much for MuteAce.
Mute's defensive game is crumbling a little bit. As good as it is, eventually you have to be able to strike back, and not for nothing, MuteAce still has been able to rack up some damage. We saw how it worked out in that first game, but it was because Lima was being a bit more passive. Now we have to see, again, we've talked about it, Mute is one of those players that can adapt to any kind of play style, and it seems like no longer can he be sort of initiating a defense. He now has to either choose to initiate an offense or to start preventing the offense that Lima has. And right now, looks like we're initiating some offense.
I know that's right. Put a complete stop to whatever it was Lima was bringing to the table right here. He said, put it back, because we're not buying it. There's the short hop fair. Oh, double up air there that time. And the witch twist, of course, not as much percent on the output, but definitely has positional advantage for sure.
Yeah, 55%, and like Lima was never particularly close to taking a stock there. It was just a lot of lather, rinse, repeat to do it. And it's one of the things that Bayonetta is so good at, getting that turnip in hand just to cover that recovery. Nice reset with the forward air to keep the edge guard going. No opportunity to do anything more with it though.
Was probably looking to line up a back air there, but unfortunately had to elect to go for witch twist just to be able to make it back to the stage. Narrowly escaping right there a turnip, but with the turnip in hand, what is the plan? Okay.
Catch it back again.
I guess
like
so.
Diddy Kong.
I guess so. It's hot potato. Wait a minute. Another turnip online here. Oh, you in trouble? No.
Yeah, Lehman definitely nowhere near close enough to the ground to set up for anything, especially with the hitbox coming out. Don't really get the opportunity to just kind of throw out an up smash. Oh, moving. Okay.
Goes for the walk there that time, but unfortunately gets walked off the stage with that back air, or back throw, excuse me. I do like the setup, though. Running right up and then slowing it down, and then Bayonetta, you know, nobody strikes for stuff like Bayo, okay? Her walking animation is 10 out of 10.
I can't believe that MuteAce came away with that stock there, because my ankles did not just get broken, they got amputated.
Right. I mean, my goodness.
I have no need for shoes ever anymore after that.
Never. Okay,
very patient ledge trap.
Yeah, that standing jab. I mean, we've seen a little bit of success with that. I know Lima in game number 1 didn't quite believe, but it's starting to believe a little bit more. What the? Falling up here? No, oh, dang!
Wow. Dude, Lima is customizing it like he is Exhibit given a 1992 Honda Accord. He is doing everything with these combos, and a turnip in hand as well, trying to extend it, but instead he's going to take advantage of it by using all of his specials. And normally, after using a ton of specials, Bayonetta incurs a ton of extra landing lag on stage. You'll normally see Lima either do something like a down air or go to the ledge to mitigate that. But when you have an item in hand, you can just do an item toss, and you'll instead only get the ending lag from that. So really good for him to extend the damage and then just get back on stage.
I mean, again, that turnip just has a lot more utilization, just extending combos like we've seen in that opening exchange in game number 1. Also being used, like you said, to kind of mitigate the lag, and especially in a matchup where Peach is looking for as much lag as possible from the opponent. I mean, if you're slow or if you overextend, or if you do anything improper, I'm going to make you pay for it. Just like being punished for that dash attack. Off stage, dive kick. Wait a minute, there's the up tilt frame 7, no back air.
Great TI by Mute, but you're not escaping the next one, even going right to that corner. Smashville's got that taller ceiling, but it didn't even matter. You cannot contain the power within those boots.
No, you cannot. There's another cross up there here this time, and being put in the blender is MuteAce. Some of these strings are looking to be a little too much. I'm trying to cool the jets. There's the forward air. Got you off the stage.
Are off.
Yeah, they are. That's facts.
We're back in cruising mode. Oh, the turnip docking to the right in the second one to get Lima right back off stage at 179. Just takes a stray aerial from Mute to do it, or even a back throw. We've already seen that happen once, but got to see him land to be able to get those done.
Okay.
We're out.
Yeah, we are out. I mean, again, we have seen Lima kind of play this gameplay before. You know, we've seen, I believe, versus Atomic. My opponent gets the lead, and I disengaged, but I have disengaged you out of this tournament. Great stuff right there to Lima, doing away with MuteAce here at Dreamhack Dallas 2024.
Rod, you remember what I was talking about with throwing an item to get rid of that special landing lag?
Yes.
Lima did 3 specials there and then threw the turnip to get that low amount of ending lag, and that's why he was able to turn that into a combo where it would normally be impossible, and then was able to take him off the top with the Witch Twist too, channeling a little bit of Smash 4. Lima, a very, very solid way to close out that game. But everybody, hey, let's give it up for MuteAce. 4th place here at Dreamhack Dallas, out of the tournament now, but a great run nonetheless. Had to win so many consecutive sets through losers after getting sent down there early. Really, really solid run from our former champion, but that means we are crowning a new one this weekend.
Yes, we are, man. The many shades of Lima, I got to tell you. I mean, Lima, we got to see some explosiveness. We got to see some defense. We got to see some positional prowess. We got to see so many different sides of Lima's Bayonetta. And honestly, when you're going up against a tall order like MuteAce, you have to bring all the stops out. And Lima did just that. Great stuff right here. We're moving and grooving into losers finals, friends. Let's do this. Now, on the topic of the Smash 4, this is a Smash 4 classic right here. Slightly different, players, but the characters nonetheless. Let's do it.
Lima starting us off with a little bit of a stanky leg on stage, walking right up to Wrath. Game 1 Pokemon Stadium 2, we know that Wrath loves all this extra space to work with, but for right now, it's not really even about that extra space. It's all about whether or not Lima can adapt to the Wrath game plan. That spin dash is going to be brutal. It's going to be up to Lima to figure out where Wrath is going, because otherwise, Sonic can definitely just smack up Bayonetta and not even have to worry about those combos.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of worried about how both sides are going to choose to disengage. When they decide to break away versus other opponents, we get to see some of the aerial mobility come out, especially from Bayonetta. I'm an afterburner kick. I'm a Witch Twist out of the situation. Hell, like versus Atomic, I might just play off stage for a good chunk of this match. But you are faced up against an opponent that can catch you out of the air just as well as you can do them. What are you to do? Down there on the way down, not looking for the second up tilt to connect.
And you saw that that heel slide on the ground. Lima definitely meant to ABK to put that pressure right back on Wrath with that whole juggle sequence. But Wrath definitely catching a break there and taking advantage of it with Lima now at 108%. Just takes a solid hit to do it right here, especially with the ledge trapping that we've seen Wrath exercise in this matchup. And a great parry opens it up.
That's right. Now we're back on the left side of the stage here, hanging out in the corner. And yes, before the party can even get started, I'm going to just afterburner kick my way out of here. I watched you play against some of the other opponents in top 8 and how important positioning yourself properly for that tilted down F smash is. You should be able to land some of those on Bayonetta depending if she snaps ledge right away, and Lima not going for it at all.
And look at the patience from Lima, not taking a swing at Wrath until he knows it's certain, and Wrath has not even given him that opportunity. Again, the power of the spin dash out of the corner. Both players still looking for that first stock, and Lima letting Wrath poke up that shield because he knows that he's in no danger from those jabs.
No, definitely not. I mean, quick frame 3 option, but of course not as detrimental as Bayonetta's jab when it gets busy. But Wrath is the only one getting busy right here for this opening exchange in losers finals. Has a lead, and this right here is a sentence that I don't think any player versus a player like Wrath wants to say. I gave him the lead. Now what? What am I going to do?
Down a stock, approaching 2.5 minutes into this game and still trying to bite into that first Sonic stock. Definitely going to be able to get that reset on the platform, but definitely not able to follow up at that distance. And Wrath going right back to his home, which is under and behind these platforms, cutting off those approach avenues from Lima, who's still trying to figure out how to take this stock. And up air off the side. They wanted to make sure he couldn't get those KOs off the top, but that means it becomes that much more threatening off stage.
That's right. Out to the magnifying glass is a spot that you don't want to, really either of these two characters, but definitely not Lima's Bayo. Wrath right now still with a little bit of a lead and really trying to hold down the fort. Of course, a task within itself, especially when you have Lima on the prowl. Dive kick up, but I'm answering back immediately with up air. Great situational awareness right here from Wrath, and there's the S-Match we were talking about before. We should see a couple more situations like this, and by a couple, I mean a lot. A lot of this match is going to be played off stage. Situation reset, rank 7 up tilt, not giving you nothing.
Here comes that big damage. Lima needs to maximize these opportunities whenever he gets them because you're only going to get so many against Sonic. And a great bailout of the corner there by Wrath, recognizing that heel slide had just enough charge on the spin dash to escape, but now 110, like you said, Rod. We're going to see a heck of a lot of offstage gameplay. Lima tried to wait for that air dodge, but wasn't in position to punish, and a great recognition on that clank from Wrath, realizing he got his opportunity to escape and used it.
On the topic of opportunities, has another one right here to set up something great in the corner. Another back throw just to get tossed off stage himself. There's the threaded bullet climax, though. And the back air, what are hitboxes, Kimona? My goodness, Lima going up
Yeah, using that sour spot, but recognizing that's all he needed that close to the ledge. The only thing Wrath could have done to escape Lima's Wrath was to roll back onto the stage. Everything else Bayonetta could cover there, and that neutral getup was one of those things. Lima perfectly timed. It's one of those ledge guards he's practiced many times over, and it's paying off dividends.
Oh, yes, it is. I'm going to get all 3 hits right there, up there on the way down. I love the patience, turning around, spreading their stuff, and then applying that frame 7 up tilt once more. That is just a party starter. I tell you, man, the things that come after that, devastating.
Just was not able to find anything after it. Couldn't get his hands on that Sonic. A parry on that spin dash, sometimes a risky thing to go for because Sonic can mix up those approaches out of it. But Lima, again, just dropping a couple of punishes. Now, he's been carried by the fact in this game that he has made those good decisions, been able to capitalize on them a couple of times, but those drops can definitely start to add up against a character like Sonic. But man, Lima making so many good decisions and shutting down Wrath off stage. No avenues for the Hedgehog to get back.
I mean, this is just kind of a mini game. They're just playing to each other's mistakes. Now, obviously, in order to take a stock, your opponent has to make a mistake. Obviously, nobody wants their stocks taken. But like I kind of talked about coming into the match, what they bring to the table versus what they take away from each other, it's like Pokemon. It's like, you know, dragon versus dragon. We're super effective on each other. The same things you're looking for, I'm kind of looking for those things too in slightly different ways. Also, off stage, neither side wants to see each other or be on the receiving end. It's so crazy.
It's one of those things where, again, you're talking about it. You have to be able to receive what the other player is giving you, but you've also got to be able to dish it out. And I think both of these players know what their characters are capable of. You really just have to get those downloads on the opponent, and that's what's going to lead to those super effective moments like you're talking about. And Lima definitely had the upper hand there with the turnaround into the up air, back air to follow up. Got a ton of damage. Wrath does get the ledge trap, but it slips away just as quickly. Lima immediately in the driver's seat in this game number 2.
Very elusive player is Lima in the driver's seat, but Wrath slowly but surely chiseling away right here at this lead. There's the down tilt and a lot of patience right here being exuded. Just staring Sonic in the face, which is something that a lot of players are going to be hard-pressed to do up close and personal. And then letting him go for an option first and then boom, down tilt. Patience is a virtue. Both sides leaning into that narrative beautifully. There's another witch twist.
Okay, Wrath burning that air dodge super early. Such a dangerous thing for Sonic, especially when the double jump is gone. You have to be so careful about how you use that piece of your resources. And Wrath, a couple of drops on these advantage states, and that up air not going to kill. Whoa, what are we doing?
We're just, this is a trampoline park? You're just having fun?
Perpetual motion machine.
I guess, oh, wait a minute. You were getting perpetuated out to that blast zone. Frame 9 jab right there. You eating all the hits and then some. You're up out of here.
I still can't believe that in the middle of this set of all things, Lima finds just a moment to go like, oh, hey, this seems funny. I'm going to do that. That's what Smash comes down to. Hey, that's an interaction I didn't think was possible, but here we go.
I tell you what, Lima always good at finding the light in the dark in the matchup, I tell you, man. It's all about having fun up here, and if you ain't having fun, you ain't doing it right, all right? As fun as
it's like a reverse Talladega Nights.
I guess as fun as fighting against 2 of these characters can be, they are having a good time up there. Double afterburner kick, getting as much damage as possible, and hanging out at the ledge, kind of leaning into that atomic narrative. Like, you know, again, no arsene needed for good reason, because thank God. But, you know, again, I have the lead. I'm going to back away a little bit, force you to play me off stage. And Wrath, you know, playing the Sonic of this caliber, kind of not afraid to do that.
Not afraid to use that shield a lot, and they got him in trouble there. Wrath recognized that Lima just kind of did run up shield a couple of times, had it down to like half health, and realized, yeah, okay, next time Lima runs up to me, probably going to be a jump over me because you can't risk the shield getting any more damage or get poked. And that all led to that stock. Wrath doing a great job on that juggle to even up these stocks, 2-2, but still, just because those stocks are even does not mean the game is. Wrath has definitely slowed the game's pace down, but he has not been able to capitalize on single openings the way that Lima has.
No, this is anything but even right now. I mean, again, stocks right now looking good, but I think, you know, just when it comes to firm control, Wrath starting to figure some things out here on the fly. But right as I say that, sliding hill kick on the way in, kind of caught him charging right there. And the falling upper fake out on the cross up and looking for some of the landing, or excuse me, the lasting frames of the sliding hill kick. Wrath, of course, one step ahead of the competition, rolling out of harm's way.
It's those late hits working out so well for Lima, and just that one hit to get that advantage going sometimes seems like it's all he needs. Again, getting so much off of those situations, but Wrath connecting that spin dash is able to get himself right back into this one. Lima getting close to these confirmed percents. Something out of that spin dash, like that nair, even a forward air off stage can definitely take it.
Dude, and then dive kicking in, my goodness, on the way down, because both sides have kind of done that in various different ways, but forcing their way back down to solid ground. Okay, looking for upper to give himself a little bit of leverage here in the corner. I'm talking frames away
Wow.
from damage, but Raph comes out on top. 1 in 43.
I love that ended up with the Sonic Adventure 2 opening logo as well, right? With the Sonic and the black and red counterpart flying the other direction. And Raph able to maneuver around that bullet climax as well to stay alive at 182 again. Rob, this is the difference maker with Bayonetta. Either you're getting those kills at around 130 or less, or you're not, and the game is slipping away from you.
It most certainly is, and Raph is so aware of what's at hand right now. Lima, of course, kind of cooling his jets here a little bit, just remaining stationary, which isn't a bad thing to do. I mean, sooner or later, Raph is going to fly into you. The question is, when is it going to happen? Of course, time is never on your side with two characters like this. Nice shielding that. That's smooth.
You speak about time, too. This is one of the classic things we see in sets against Sonics. How long can you hold on to your stamina? And honestly, Wrath saving Lima some of the trouble there, taking advantage of that 182% he'd taken, turning it into an early stock into the double up airs. That is Wrath saying, okay, you said that Lima is going to define his gameplay off of those big moments. How about I show you a couple of my own?
That's right. And throwing his name in a hat for getting a game on the board is Wrath. And I couldn't think of any better way to really get this set started. I was never hoping for any 3-0s, especially not to be this late in the bracket, just deep into bracket. These are two characters, two player combinations that are certainly battle-tested in their own right. I want to see this one go all 5 games.
Both of these players completely locked in to see how it's going to go. Going right back to Pokemon Stadium, too, so not even Lima wants to change it up. Feels like he's got the solid game plan, and honestly, if he takes that stock earlier from Wrath, right, if he doesn't let him live to 182, when we go to last stock, the pace of the game might change a little bit, but it is down to that big mistake that Wrath has to capitalize on, and so far, I mean, throughout this whole bracket, he's done so beautifully.
And Wrath is just not giving it to him either. He knows the importance of getting just a pinch of a lead and applying it thoroughly. Right now, just backing off, and a nice landing with the up air. And that time, looking for the active frames on those hitboxes. Before he was just like, the cancel on the up air, the cancel on the nair, then looking for the string. Now that he's just holding out like, look, I need the bullet arts, I need the active hitboxes, I need everything to get this job done.
Honestly, may need to take advantage of that low shield that Lima had. You saw Lima just kind of jumping up and down on that platform, trying to stay out of Wrath's threat range, making huge use of that shield. And a key part of that is angling it as well, because if you don't angle that shield, then you're going to get shield poked by that spin dash sooner or later. So Lima making sure that he does that. You can see out of shield gets a lot of combos, evening up the game right there. Despite how much of a back foot he's been on, the percents tell a different story.
They most certainly do, and that story just came to an end on that first stock. Lima with the perfectly placed back air, looking really good. And, like we talked about, if we can get those stocks taken relatively early-ish, as early as 120, 30% is, we might be in a good spot right now. Nice, and milking this lead, all 3 hits after the dive kick of forward air. Lima holding strong, but wait a second, it ain't done just yet. Bat within, coming to save my skin.
Great recognition. Lima's seen it so many times before, right? You get that bats within and your opponent thinks that they're going to be able to hit you right back. 1, 2, 3, not going to connect. And Lima taking advantage of this matchup knowledge. What he's seen from all the players that have come up against Bayonetta in the past, putting it into practice, nearly lapping Wrath on this second stock.
He most certainly is. Spring riding on his way up. He said, I got to get this damage as quick as possible. This match, unfortunately, starting to fall by the wayside. Facing the wrong way for down tilt. Wrath want to take full advantage of that. We're off stage.
134. Sonic can win off of these stray hits. I think he was hunting for a back throw, but was not confident enough to keep doing it. Instead, Lima now gets Wrath off stage. That situation reverses quickly, though. We're going to have to take our time with this recovery. Wrath, I think a lot of times Sonics will just kind of look to 2-frame with that forward smash at the ledge, but
my God,
not willing to let it rip, and instead Lima's taking big advantage of the fact that now Wrath having trouble getting that KO.
And Lima knew, too. He said after that first hit of sliding hill kick, it's not going to be enough damage for me to get an actual follow-up. I'm going to wait for him to expend an air dodge or drift improperly, and I'm going to get the follow-up that way. That right there is playing multiple steps ahead of your opponent. Wrath certainly has his work cut out for him. What are these next so many exchanges supposed to bring? Because we got to even this up quick.
And as Lima, you have to be wary of exactly that. You can't let your guard down and potentially let Wrath get one of those big openings. Whipping a move like that up tilt center stage can definitely open things up. But Wrath, yeah, a couple of big whiffs, and again, Lima taking advantage. He is not dropping these combos. He is continuing to just pour it on. Wrath doing a good job, the DI to the left, though, to not get taken to that blast zone.
Yeah, smart on him. A great situational awareness. Not a lot of players can kind of make that decision on the fly as well as he has. Another witch Swiss, and as you know, whichever way I'm facing is the way you flying. Forward throw, boom. Off stage, Got to see a big play here and fast. I love the patience. Gets that up tilt again. The back air always on the other side of that unless we decide to try to read the DI differently. But you can bet your bottom dollar at this point in time in the match, it is the back air.
Witch Twist buying Lima that path back on stage. Nice juggle there, though, by Wrath, waiting for Lima to go for that landing with the ABK, and instead getting his grab, tossing that Bayo back off stage. But again, Lima so actively using this shield to create these openings. 157. This is getting to that point where it's a little scary that Lima's not closing out those stocks, and Wrath definitely could use that as a path back into this game. Will do so with that back air. One stock apiece, and we've seen Lima struggle here before, Rod.
That's right, we most certainly have, and I'd hate to see it go down this way again, but Rav has a different game plan at hand, and he's applying it thoroughly. 157 with some rage. Up throw. I'm only going for what I know is confirmed, so gets one up air. Wait a minute, no nair, no back air either. Electing to let him off the hook. I thought we were going to see an up air. Standing jab, frame 9, enough. It is going to be enough to do it.
Plenty. Lima nodding his head saying, yep, all according to plan. Getting that 2-1 lead. Really just finding those key moments to keep that game in his control, even though, again, that last stock started to slip away a little bit. Got a firm grip right back on it. Going in to game number 4, potential rubber match of this set with the lead. Lima does not want to see it go to a game 5.
No, absolutely not. But Raph, of course, has a different game plan at hand. He said, it is apparent I need a game number 5, okay? And this is certainly his time to strike now. Again, a player of Raph's caliber, we have seen him in positions like this before, back against the wall at the 11th hour. You know what I'm saying? You got the red cord and the yellow cord in your hand. What am I supposed to do? The time is whittling out, and he will figure out a way to rise to the occasion. So let's see how this one goes. But I think it's all going to come down to what you talked about before, the importance of making sure that opening exchange, we get those stocks taken sub 150%, somewhere in the 120, 130 range.
Now, you can let it climb up a little bit, but I think the key thing is you don't ever want to let it get to a point. I mean, on Lima's side, you don't want to be doing it on stray hits, and for Wrath, you don't want to be getting to the point where, you know, even your spin dash is going to send too far away that you don't want to get, you don't get Oki or anything after that, right? But you do have to kind of force your opponent to guess at those mid to high percentages, those like 80 to 120s. But once you start climbing a little bit fast, then even your spin dash isn't going to open up opportunities for a kill. So, yeah, both of these players need to take advantage, like you're saying, of getting those stocks a little bit early.
Yeah, well, let's see how it's all applied right now. Wrath at a comfortable 0%. Lima, 67. Of course, not the highest percent in the world, but certainly shades of what could possibly be on the horizon. There's the up air, burning the air dodge early, right into a second up air, closing it out with the back air and the frame 5 on the fair, shutting Lima down off stage. Kimona, we might be in for a party.
Nearly a 0 to death, and Wrath saying, yep, I've come right in here with the adaptations. Lima, what's your answer going to be? Because Sonic looking like he's got the Bayo combos right now, juggling in from those landing aerials. Tons of damage already built up, and I'm tasting a game 5 right now.
I most certainly am as well. Gonna land with the nair. And of course, the forward air taking him from one end of the stage back into the corner. Lima looking a little bit without answer right now, and the perfectly placed F smash met by an even better place. Bats within. I don't know if you did it on purpose or on accident, but you lived, and that's all that matters.
We've seen Lima do it so many times, especially in that exact situation with Wrath looking for a big read on the side of the stage, but Lima has missed Tex more than a few times in this tournament, and he is going to pay the price once again, now down 3 stocks to 1. It is time for that brain to start thinking about game 5.
That's right, because this is anything but good right now. Chasing him down, gets the dash attack, another forwarder, which has historically spelled trouble for Lima off stage with how quick that move is again. Bayonetta has strings galore, but again, Rap's frame data is just so much more. And so because they're able to find a lot of openings and opportunities with those aerials,
definitely a bit of a loss for Lima right now. I think just sending it in this game 4 to try to gather a little bit more data on Wrath to strike in that final game, see how he's going to react in a couple of these key situations where you can get those kill setups, potentially find something like an up air, any setup into a back air. But yeah, definitely all but done here in this game 4. Just a matter of when Wrath finds that last stray hit to do it. And then we will be talking about who's going to grand finals afterwards.
Here we go. Oh, yeah, not going to go for all the jabs. Just trying to check that temperature. And nice, there's the up smash. We don't usually see it come out unless we know it's going to set up something great. Wrath a little late, but right on time for up air. And are we going to get the frame 1 run back, or are we actually going to think about it this time?
Lima's still thinking about it for a second. Wrath is dictating his bans, so Lima is at least considering a stage change right now. And, you know, Wrath, I think, kind of chill with whatever. It seems like he's sitting on the couch playing games with his friends the way that he was posted up after the end of that game. And honestly, why not? Because he had that 3-stock win. But now, time to focus in. Game number 5, we are changing up the venue. It's time for Small Battlefield. Lima, one last chance to close this out, or else Wrath is going to prove to everybody why he deserves his chance for a rematch at Shadic in Grand Finals.
It's going to be the second major in a row that Wrath has found himself in Grands, or is Lima going to put it all to bed right here? Only time will tell. Game number 5 here is here, friends. And let's go ahead and see what it brings us. Who's going to draw blood first? And it looks like it is Wrath fresh out the gate. And then the homing attack. You are...
No way. No way you're not dead. He saved his double jump. So important. And Lima, overly aggressive, has now burned some resources off stage. You said we were going to see a few dances off stage, and it is a tango right now.
It most definitely is a two-person dance, a swing dance, if you will. Both sides just yanking each other.
Texas two-step, eh?
The Texas two-step, that's right. Both sides yanking each other out there into the blast zone, but neither side wanted to give up that stock. Back air. Okay, going to see a lot of that too. One side's going to stay in the middle hub of stages like this or like Pokemon Stadium, while the other side tries to fly back and forth. That's a mini game within itself.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Lima has been so choosy about using the shield. It is always an active choice. It's never just like a natural fear response from him most of the time, especially coming out of the neutral game. He is looking for Wrath to hit him with something on shield, and sometimes it's that spin dash. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, but sometimes Wrath does stop short, and that's where Lima's getting these opportunities. Sonic back off stage, and the back air does get that first stock. Lima playing with the lead in Game 5.
Lima is activated. My God. That was some of the most robotic, scary Bayonetta gameplay I've ever seen. Up tilt, misses the up air, possibly on purpose, just to get you back off your feet again. 83% and climbing. And yes, taking full advantage of the fact that there is no hitbox in that recovery, no matter how fast Spring is. I got a hitbox to cover you.
And not only that, Wrath throwing out hitboxes to try to get himself back down onto the ground, but Lima is juggling him without a second thought right now, totally in his mind and ready for those reads. 84%. It's not like Wrath has an opportunity to get a KO yet, and Lima just going to go straight into the jabs to guarantee that the Sonic gets off stage. Nothing fancy, because all he needs is to start connecting these witch twists.
Oh, yes.
And things can go oh so wrong for Wrath.
And Wrath very well aware of that too, answering back with that aerial pressure with the backer of his own, and that's that split-second decision-making I love from players of this caliber so much. Knowing when it's time to land comfortably, uncontested, versus knowing when it's time to eat a little percent, versus when it's time to throw out an aerial. Those 3 different options right there will pay off in a big way.
And right there, Wrath knowing when to throw out that aerial, the back air, noticing that Lima has been doing a lot of falling down without doing anything, getting close to the ground, and then opting to do something at the very last moment, calling him out right there and saying, hey, you better be ready for me to check you with one of these aerials. Did so there.
That's right. Checking him, checking that spot dodge. Fortunately enough, not playing out in his favor. But this is kind of goes to show how well Wrath is playing up close, even despite the deficit, does not seem to mind. Nice, catching him off the spring like I talked about before. Off the stage, gonna go for the homing. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. Ooh, but the wall jump, such a good recovery from Wrath. He knew his spacing right there. If he had hit Lima on the way back, then so be it. Lima tried to bait it out with the air dodge to see if he could get the big punish, but regardless, Wrath pushing the limits of this Sonic recovery.
Yes, he is. I mean, really just digging deep and being very, very innovative on the way back to the ledge. Okay, and Wrath knows we're back on solid ground here. Neither side wanting to jump too early. The dive kick this time. He said, look, I'm no longer wanting to play this game in the air. I need to get these heels on the ground.
I wanted to say he's done that a couple times now, and I think that's been a specific adaptation to the fact that Lima has kind of said, okay, you're charging spin dash. I'm going to stand here, angle my shield down to block me, to block those spin dashes. And Wrath has said, okay, block this overhead then.
Boom. Yeah, you won't.
All right.
Kind of calling his bluff there. 127%. This is anything but good. The dive kicks right now keeping Wrath at bay.
All right, yeah, and Lima knows he can't just run up and shield the next one. Got to be careful with how judicious he is using that shield. 133 Wrath, combo into the back air. Game 5, last stock. Is this what you want to see? You got to make some noise for who you want to see win. It's either going to be Lima or Wrath in Grand Finals.
And it's all going to come down to these final interactions here. As it stands right now, Lima has done a beautiful job at kind of painting the narrative, letting Wrath know you're not going to be able to jump for free anymore, but Wrath right now jumping all over Lima. This ain't good. There's an air. Oh, okay. Witch twist, falling upper. A lot of landing lag, though. I'm going to make you pay for that.
Yeah, Wrath gets the reset and gets the ledge trap as well. Right back to center stage and taking advantage of, again, Lima just throwing up that shield. It means that he's going to be on the back foot. Wrath gets to make the decision. Has Lima at 72%. You got to start watching out for some combo starters, both from Bayonetta and from Sonic at these percents.
Oh, yes. There's the down tilt. Hopping right over it. Knowing all the party starting options are on the horizon here for Bayonetta. That up tilt, that down tilt being the biggest two. Getting sent sky high. Not enough to do it, but almost. Dive kick on the way back down.
Lima's shield getting so low, finally firing back with that spin dash past the shield, using that ABK to chase Wrath back. At 113% though, yeah, those landing nairs, those sour spots, they can really start setting up, and now stray hits can do it too for Wrath. He is on the verge of grands, and the forward air is going to be enough to do it. Popping off with just a little bit of a fist bump, keeping it in. Can't let all that energy out because he is going into grand finals for his rematch with Shadic.
That's right. The job ain't done yet, but you know, you can give yourself a pat on the back for that. That one came down to the final hour, and when it was all said and done, Wrath was able to crunch the math and clear a path to grand finals. Man, this is beautiful.
Really, really solid stuff there from Wrath, taking out the last hometown Dallas defender. And speaking of which, everybody, can we get a round of applause for Lima out there, the third place finish here at Dreamhack Dallas. Such a great performance, bringing it down to the very, very end with Wrath, but just falling short. Still, got to give it up to some of the best players out there, but we only have 2 of them remaining.
That's right, and it is Shadic on the winner side of bracket and Wrath on the loser side. So like we talked about the first time they threw down, we're going to see Wrath a little bit later. How deep into that loser's bracket is all going to come down to how well that he's playing. And I'm going to say he's playing out of his mind right now.
So we're going to have to see who really comes out on the advantage, who comes out swinging. And, you know, to that end, if Shadic is going to have any tricks left up his sleeve to get those early stocks, because, Rod, I feel like in Winners Finals, the way that those early stocks went is the entire way that that set went.
Hey, you know, one thing that Shadic didn't do a lot in that opening bout, but still ended up winning the match, was baiting out those air dodges. Now, we did see it versus other opponents, but the importance of baiting air dodges with Corrin is huge. I mean, it's huge with all sorties. You know, I play Link. If I toss out up air, I'm looking for that air dodge because we're going to activate right into it. But with Corrin, obviously a much better swordsman in Smash Ultimate, baiting out air dodges is huge, whether it's falling up air, whether it's the nair, whether it's that frame 9 fair. I mean, again, you have to figure out where your opponent's going to be, putting them in a disadvantageous position, and then try to read their mind. If I weren't me, where would I burn an air dodge at? If I weren't me, where would I roll improperly or go for an empty jump at? And then expound on that theory. I think Shadic does just that beautifully.
That's the exact thing that he plays around so well. I mean, you're right on with that. The juggle game, I think, is one of the things that defines Shadic among anything else. You know, I talk a lot about the empty movement, but that advantage state is definitely one of the things that sees his most success. And to that end, right, being able to cover things, even if you burn that air dodge, whether or not you fastfall, he's still throwing out moves that are able to counter multiple things at once and give him options to follow up afterwards. It's tough to escape those situations, and we're going to see if Wrath can do it. We're kicking off grand finals for Smash Ultimate here at Dreamhack.
That's right.
It's Shadic, it's Wrath. Let's get into it.
Let's lock in. Shadic coming in on the winner side, Wrath on losers. Who is going to close it out? Of course, Wrath, for those of us that don't know, has to win 2 sets. Shadic just has to win a very commanding one. Let's see how it all goes. Nice. There's the pin off the mark, but getting the later hit right there up there into back air. Of course, both sides have been so proficient, so dangerous in the corner. Shadic right now with a little bit of control here of this match.
Yeah, if Wrath wants anything, it's just to be out of that corner. You may go there to start setting up those spin dashes, but always got to be wary of, you know, if you're all the way in the corner as Wrath, the amount of distance that you can really safely let it rip is if Shadic is past that side platform. Otherwise, he's a little bit too close for you to really commit to anything. You kind of got to run away and get right past him. Otherwise, going right at him might be a little bit ill-advised. And going right at him off stage, also a little scary. A great tech from Wrath to be able to continue that ledge pressure. Shadic right on out of there and right back to that distance where Wrath, you know, Shadic wants that ability to respond out there. Maybe it's a bit safer for Wrath to let it rip, but on top of that, Shadic's also going to be able to respond.
No, 100%, man. I got to give it to Wrath, too, and some of these defensive options. Definitely learning his lessons, picking his opportunities a little differently when it comes to dealing with Shadic off stage, because as you know, the ending interaction to their first bout was kind of him going off stage a little bit too early and unfortunately getting hit with the untackable. So playing it safe, knowing also that Shadic likes to go for a lot of aerials on the way down, especially if he feels like his opponent's up underneath him. You can do that versus most characters, but Sonic the Hedgehog ain't most characters.
Wrath is not most players. I definitely got straight up into that charge smash attack, and my neutral getup would have gotten eaten alive, but Wrath is not like that. Unfortunately, he's much like me in missing that tech. I definitely would have been in the bottom blast zone, and so too is Wrath, so I too can probably be a top 50 player. Nonetheless, Shadic able to take the lead there.
There it is, but for how much longer is the real question. 118%, pretty deep into that percentile. Wrath, of course, just needs one setup predominantly at the ledge to probably close it out. We've seen just kind of how resilient he's been with forward air. A little off the mark at that time, but the rinse, the repeat, the reprise, the remix, whatever you want to call it, we've seen it once. We're going to see it again. Great stuff right here on Wrath's side.
Hey, you talked about how important picking apart those air dodges would be for Shadic, and you see him trying to do it right there, a bit misspaced on that nair, but hey, how about Wrath doing that to take that first stock as well, calling out Shadic, trying to escape from that combo that we've seen off of those single hit spin dashes so many times, but at that high percent, Wrath knew that he didn't have a follow-up, but I don't think Shadic did, and so that air dodge getting burned just to try to save his bacon actually got him killed.
Yeah, it most certainly did, and unfortunately had to pay the price for it, but still with 2 stocks apiece right now, it's dead even-ish, but not if that pin and that kick has anything to say about it. He is so scary in the corner, even when his back is to the ledge.
You're dead.
Yeah, goodbye. Oh, frame force bringing out of the way. My goodness, man, the way he jumped up out of there looked like something out of the National Geographic channel, man. You see animals get caught, he's like, yo, he's out, spring, bye.
That was like what I envisioned in my head when somebody says lions can jump 30 feet. And I'm like, in the air? And it's like, no, they mean to the side. But that was Wrath just going straight up.
Yeah, well, what's a lion jumping 30 feet when Pokemon exist, okay? I hope, Max, I hope you're watching.
1 billion lions!
I hope you're watching, Max, because they don't want to see Mewtwo. All right.
We're doing the Stephen A. Smith. Now he's like, Mewtwo, he's got psychic powers.
That's right.
He can read your mind.
No, he said Mewtwo.
That's right. He said Mewtwo.
Mewtwo. Good old Stephen A. Smith.
He's got that tail.
That's
what can he do with that?
Uncle Steven. You so crazy. My goodness, just like that F smash in the corner. And once again, tilting it down. That's been kind of a position that all the opponents have found themselves in the corner. And that one off stage happens to be another one. You don't want no parts right there forward air. Great stuff on Wrath's behalf.
I'm getting flashbacks to that game on Kalos that we saw in that first set and that winner set between these two, where Wrath just really picked up a couple of really key edge guards and reminding us that Shadic going off stage is a death sentence. Even though Corrin does have some mix-ups, Sonic has all the tools in the world to take care of that if he can get out there fast enough. And look, we're talking about the fastest thing alive. He can get out there.
Oh, he most certainly can. He can get out there, and most importantly, he can stay out there. Oh, you tried the down air in place. You've seen that a little bit before in their opening match, earlier today. A lot of those down airs trying to bait Shadic in. Shadic, of course, hanging out that ledge. Now, you know you can't hang out forever. I got down tilt, my boy, but I got up air, which is even better.
Shadic, I love that. Swinging right through, lulling Wrath into that false sense of security. 1 stock apiece. Now, timer ticking down, but unlikely to be the way that the game finishes, given that Shadic's already at that 64%. And again, if Shadic's going to be the one to win, it's not going to be by nickel and diming. He's going to get a big opening, but that's only if he does indeed find it. Spot dodge on that grab attempt right there. Wrath looking to get that edge guard going, and instead Shadic turned it around, but could not get the big follow-up.
Was able to find a down tilt, but a little off the mark with the up tilt. That usually comes after down tilt. You tried the down air again. You got to stop playing with Corrin off stage. You might actually have to get this stock taken either all the way deep into the blast zone or maybe some sort of F smash, because when it comes to trying to stage spike Corrin, that's just something you don't want to be a part of. Wrath right now with the lead, though.
Yeah, and I really love the delayed forward air off the ledge right there. Shadic landing with it. Oh, I love Wrath being able to recover the low recovery and then using that spring up high to go high. And now going to look to do them both. Spring, though, not going to connect. Nair setting up that juggle once again. Wrath, lather, rinse, repeat on this edge guard. Looking like a shampoo bottle.
Hey, I tell you what, man. Doing a really good job of just kind of pinpointing when it's time to go for a neutral get up, roll, jump, you name it. Guessing pretty well right here on Wrath's side. Shadic bleeding out here pretty profusely. Oh, the up tilt. No, doesn't even elect to go for the up tilt anymore. Going to go for the up air, but the trade working in Wrath's favor.
Nice little neutral air to close it out. The sweet spot's just enough. PS2's got those relatively low ceilings, right? Not the lowest in the game, but definitely there just to give Wrath that little bit of extra advantage. Did get a little bit closer than I think he was comfortable with, but nonetheless did seal it out. And once again, looking very comfortable on PS2. Those first couple games that they played in winners, Shadic was definitely in control, but Wrath has really found his way around those big setups, really starting to get comfortable in this matchup and not letting Shadic get those big moments started.
We might be on the verge of a reset here pretty soon, depending on how well Wrath keeps bringing the pain right here to this game. I might be calling it, but we'll see. I mean, again, you know, I think even in that final match, the first time they played, you could tell Shadic in a lot of ways was kind of spent. Like, oh, I'm glad I won this because I gave everything I could to mount this victory. Now Wrath is like, I know your game plan. I know your limits. Are you going to go beyond them? That has to be a you question because as it stands right now, I've gone beyond my limits to push myself back into this grand finals, and Wrath is doing really, really good.
And like we said, I think the longer this set goes on, the more that it is going to benefit Wrath. I think for Shadic, I mean, obviously for anybody on winner's side, you want to close it out as soon as possible, but especially when you're in an endurance match against a Sonic player like Wrath, somebody who is built around having all that stamina. You see that being the archetype between players like him and Sonics and Ken. They're not trying to close it out immediately. They're happy to drag things out. And I think the longer this goes on, the more Wrath is going to be happy with it. So Shadic, he's saying, you know what? I still felt it was close enough on PS2. Just got to get one of those big combos to connect and get him in the driver's seat. We'll see if that happens here in game number 2.
Well, let's see how it all unfolds. Both sides taking their sweet time. As we talked about before, that could be a good thing. That could also kind of come back to bite you here. He's hovering over Corrin. I know Shadic has other characters on that utility belt, but I think when it comes to the 11th hour, that is grand finals. On your winner side of bracket, it might be best to go with what you know best. So here we go. Next game is here. Wrath up a game on the loser side. We need to see a big opening bout here and fast. Nice. Gets the first hit, fair back throw.
Can't believe that Shadic was able to react to that situation, knowing the hitbox that he got was actually going to lead to needing to get a turnaround grab afterwards. Such a strange hitbox, but knowing this character inside and out, that's why he's going to stick with it the whole way through this grand finals. The same is going to be said for Wrath. He's once again off to a really solid start, gets the Corrin off stage and in the corner, and then just lays on that pressure. Shadic finally burning an early recovery.
That's right, and had to. I mean, geez, had he waited just a frame, a pixel later, he would have been in some real trouble. 72%, of course, a deficit. Not the biggest one in the world, but a very telling one, especially with how strong Wrath has been opening up. There's Nair on the way down.
And Shadic right back on that Pokeball. That is where he wants to be for the majority of the set, but he can't stay out there forever. Wrath is going to bully you into the corner, and once again, getting off to an early lead by connecting the forward air, but not enough without any rage. Shadic had the Dragon Fang shot, but it's just not enough.
Love that neutral special setup, but like you said, not enough, unfortunately. And yes, we're starting to see some high recoveries come out here because Wrath has all points and opportunities off stage in his grasp. Went for the low fair and the high fair that time. You tried it in the middle, but not quite with the option quick enough out of shield to punish it. Looking to roll into position to look for down tilt. Rolling just far away, but a little too close to the ledge is that up air.
Yeah, caught Wrath with that a couple of times and kind of, you know, forces him to back off for that ledge trap. Obviously, he can respond after that up air if he respects it in advance, but otherwise, Shadic does clear himself a path back onto stage. Taking advantage of it a couple of times here, but Wrath at 114, no, he goes right into the forward smash. Shadic has gone for that read a couple of times. The first time that it's really worked out, just trying to, you know, get in tune with that timing of those spin dashes from Wrath, but he's been really good at mixing those up so far, and Shadic has paid the price for it a couple of times.
I mean, it's important to keep it fresh. Obviously, both of these characters, both of these players have tricks up their sleeves that they don't want to expend too early, so you got to keep it funky fresh. Nice, the immediate fastball back down to the ledge. We're building it up tilt, frame 7, hold up.
And it's definitely going to be the cash out moment right there. You're not going to combo a character like Sonic with that move, but nonetheless, Shadic does finally get one of those openings that leads to a good chunk of damage. He's going to need a heck of a lot more from a dash attack's not going to be what you're looking for. Pin, though, does get him right back on stage.
No doubt. And of course, forward air puts you back off stage, courtesy of Wrath. Wrath going deep right there, but not deep enough. You have to respect up being on the way back up to the ledge. You have lost 2 stocks since you guys have been playing here in top 8 to that.
Okay, see how Shadic can close this out. Aggressive off stage, kind of maybe thought that Wrath would kind of drop off the stage, and now going low. This is prime opportunity for Wrath to capitalize, perhaps looking for a forward tilt. Ooh, parries, man, Wrath. We thought that Shadic was in tune with the timing of Wrath, but instead it's the other way around.
Parrying the pin. Woo. My goodness, and getting the win there that time. Got him off stage and not enough gas left in the tank to make it back. It's looking good right here for Wrath. 104%. What is the answer back going to be? Because we've seen a lot of retaliation from here, or excuse me, here from Shadic, but we're not seeing him really take control of the narrative here in this game.
And Wrath is looking really well studied up against what is going to open up those big kill confirms for Shadic. Did not expect that back air to cover that drop back down to the ground. Didn't want to jump away because he could have eaten an up air if Shadic decided to pour on the pressure, but instead he walked right into that safe coverage move, and Shadic bringing it to last stock.
That's right. It's going to come down to a narrow finish here. But, oh my God, well, you be playing off stage versus Wrath, though. This W might come a little bit quicker than we initially expected.
Definitely a lot of damage built up there from Wrath, and honestly, that's all he really needs. Just tack it on, nickel and dime, and eventually you're going to be able to cash that into something more substantial. 44% is plenty for Wrath to be able to threaten some big confirms, and especially to just get one opening that pushes the Corrin off stage, where, again, we've seen him do the most damage.
Oh, no doubt about that. My God. Okay. Always a scary thing when you see him go for that F smash with the ledge, something that we haven't quite seen him do throughout the majority of this grand final set. We've seen it earlier in winners finals, grand finals. He's electing to go for more forward air lows and highs, trying to catch those high recoveries on Shadic. There's homing attack.
I think it speaks to Wrath feeling a lot more comfortable that he's going for stuff like that forward smash at the ledge. He's saying, hey, you know what? I'm willing to sort of give up my turn here at the ledge if it means that I have this chance to just close out a stock immediately and maybe push some dominance over this game. Shadic, trying to do a little bit of the same, has built up some damage himself, but now it's time to look for that special kill confirm that he can go for, something to really turn the momentum of this game around. A fair bear at the ledge can definitely do it, maybe even a lingering nair into a back air, but he's got to be in the right position to do it.
Finding the right position there, going for the delayed frame 3 jab, but unfortunately not getting too much off of it. Parry into the up air is Shadic. Both sides right now trying to keep this thing as close as possible. Up smashing through the pin, knowing that he was a little closer there that time. And every time he gets a parry up close on Wrath, not quite able to get the immediate answer out of shield, but finds the right answer there with the pin to close out game number 2.
Good stuff there from Shadic. A couple of those big moments in that game. Didn't blow up a stock from 0 or anything, but it was consistent enough to keep him in the driver's seat for that set. A couple of times that Wrath really made him sweat for it, but calling out the positioning is all you need as Corrin. You've got those big moments. You know, again, you've got kill confirm combos and you've got that pin. Both can take stocks very early. Wrath wants to run it back to PS2 because he's still feeling comfortable, but Shadic also starting to get settled in here.
That's right. It only took him a game or two to do it, but I'm glad it's here now because, again, I don't want to see any easy 3-0 resets, 3-0 and handshakes on the winner's side. I want to see this one go down to the final hour, excuse me. And I mean, Shadic, of course, has been in a position like this time and time again. I believe one cert, you know, a couple months ago. And then, of course, you have somebody as talented as Wrath, who is on a streak right now, has the fire and the momentum of winning MomoCon, looking to apply that same pressure here from himself to Dreamhack. Kind of almost relinquishing Light of like the con tournament winner. I mean, you know, Light, of course, winning SmashCon Fall Fest, a couple MomoCons. I could count Glitz as a con too back in the day, given the thing. Right now, that championship belongs to Wrath.
And see if he can continue to do that. I mean, Dreamhack is also kind of a convention in and of itself. I mean, there's a lot of focus on the competitive gaming, right? There are tons of tournaments going on, and you know that's sort of the focus for a lot of people. And you can hear a lot of them in the background as well, right?
Yes,
you've got
can.
EWC going on, you've got StarCraft going on, the ESL Challengers for Counter-Strike is like right next to us. Overwatch is over on a big stage over there, but so much else going on here at Dreamhack, and yet despite that, for these two players, all that exists is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
That's right, and both of these two players showing up and most importantly showing out. Oh, courtesy of these aerials here on the Shadic's behalf, catching those air dodges or those improper jumps. Either way you leave your feet, you're going to be in for a lot of damage. Short hop fair again. Those just chained right into themselves. No, that time looking for him to go high.
That forward air just portends the ending of a stock, but not quite. Oh, yes, it does. Shadic misspacing that recovery. The camera on PS2 sometimes makes it hard to kind of tell exactly where you are. And honestly, for Sonic, sometimes that comes as an advantage because we saw earlier that Wrath was able to disguise the fact that he had turned around with his up B to throw out a back air as he was coming back on stage, and sort of no opportunity for Shadic to react to it. So now playing from behind, 56% already built up, and still not quite in a situation where he can force that stock off of Wrath.
And we're starting to see some of the more innovative options come out from Corrin. She is a sortie, and you know a lot of the sorties are very telegraphed, very cut and dry. But at that time, using her back here to try to line herself up a little bit better at the ledge, since the move is a self-spacing option. We see that type of stuff come out a lot from R.O.B, but Corrin can kind of lean into that narrative as well too.
And Shadic, though, just a couple of steps behind on where Wrath is going to end up, not able to throw out those moves to get the confirms. You see that he's kind of making the right decision in a lot of these situations, just a little bit behind. There, though, the spot dodge bails him out. Good read on Wrath, trying to pick up on the drop-down panic shield. Does get the forward tilt to close out the stock, but a lot of work left to do to even this game back up, especially with that edge guard coming back to the ledge, but doesn't mean anything for him.
No, it does not. And another spot dodge attempt, too. And before that frame 7 up tilt can even get started, I'm already springing out the way. We've seen Wrath lean into that a lot. I wonder what will happen when Shadic starts to read that. Okay, tip of pin.
Ooh.
Oh my!
Yes, another combo out of that spin dash. A little Dragon Fang shot to cover his way back on stage. We see Shadic do that a lot in other matchups. And there again, the spot dodge on that approach from Wrath, and then getting him right back with that forward tilt. Tons of rage also means tons of options for Wrath to take the stock from Shadic, but that also means the Sonic stock could be gone just as soon.
He's starting to chisel away here at this lead. Wrath very well aware that starting to play a defensive, but not before eating a pin and the kick. Neutral special going to force the low recovery, which means I have positional advantage.
You saw that preemptive spot dodge from Shadic right there, knowing that maybe a homing attack could come off the ledge. And there we go, anti-airing with the pin kick. Shadic somehow fighting his way back to take the lead, and Wrath still trying to bite into this second stock. Shadic doing a great job of avoiding all those stray hits that can just close it out of nowhere.
And Wrath's trying to give us that less is more sort of stuff. I mean, again, that running jab, what's it going to turn into? Because right now the magic belongs to Shadic, and he is turning it into a lot. What the?
7-hit combo in the down air to cover his way back on. That's finally going to do it. Shadic feeling himself a little bit too much, but you know what? You don't say no to 76% going into the last stock.
No, you most certainly do not. I mean, we'll take any sort of lead we can versus somebody as talented as Wrath. There's the pin into the kick again. If he can keep this momentum moving forward, he might be able to put another game on the board for himself and gives him the wings to send him flying out into the blast zone. Shadic goes up another game.
Great composure in the scramble right there from Shadic. A lot of people, after whiffing their big punish, would just start throwing out any type of move just to say, no, I got something off of it. But Shadic realized, hey, if I'm in a scramble, that means that Wrath is too. He's going to try to escape in some way. And with Corrin blocking off the way to that center stage, standing right in front of you, you don't have time to charge up a spin dash. So what are they going to do? They're going to jump. And Shadic had that back air ready at the exact right moment.
And I think I like some of the opening interactions that kind of, led into that too. I feel like, Wrath was trying to chase Corrin down, which is a very strange thing to even think about because who can outrun Sonic the Hedgehog? But was trying to chase him down with that standing frame 3 jab and then ran right up with a couple grabs. And I feel like it was those 3 or 4 grabs in a row that he whipped that really set the tone on what Shadic was bringing to the table. I know you want to throw. I know you want to get me on stage. I'm not going to give it to you.
Shadic not going to give him that early stock either, maintaining the double jump, saying, okay, yeah, you got your big hits on me, but I'm not going to panic about it. Wrath, though, definitely off to a hot start as both of these players have now taken a dip in the black paint going into this game. And hold on a second, Wrath also taking a dip into the Fury right there with that downer, trying to take that early stock and really say, hey, we want game 5. And that's exactly what Wrath is looking for right now. Well set up to get there.
Oh, no doubt about it. Finally using the pin right there to put a little bit of damage on the board. I was wondering if the controller was plugged in or synced up. You got to fight back here. What's going on, young man? Short hop nair, of course, trying to take away these platforms in a very Shadic sort of way, trying to scout out these jumps or these air dodges. There's the up air from underneath. I still got you in this corner. Down tilt. What's up?
Nice.
We're not delaying nothing no more. You better come right with it.
Hitbox out immediately. Shadic has done that so many times out of that down tilt, especially just that close-up hitbox. And there's the connection into the forward air, deep off stage. I think that Wrath did actually call out the delay with that Dragon Fang shot, just didn't know exactly where to put himself off stage. Nonetheless, picks it up on the ledge trap, making sure that he gets this lead against Shadic. Now the question is, where does the game style go?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question right now because the style kind of belongs to Wrath here. I mean, getting real flashy on and off stage, but there's a little bit of fire to that flash as well, too. Same can be said for Shadic. Turn around F tilt. I am a sortie, but the other sorties can't do this, though. Uses the pin and puts himself another stock on the board.
You can't do this on concrete. Sending Wrath into that blast zone. Loving the way that Shadic played that edge guard. Even though Wrath had a really good idea of neutralizing that Dragon Fang shot with the neutral air, kind of let that scramble his brain for a second, did the predictable timing on that up B, where normally he's so good at delaying it and using that air dodge to mix up how he's getting back to the stage. But Shadic right now definitely locked in. Both of these players looking to keep this set alive, although for Shadic right now, it's end it before it gets ugly.
Yeah, most certainly, and it's best to keep it that way, too. Because Wrath is one of those players that gets the lead and holds on to it for dear life. Unfortunately, not able to answer back with anything too quick. Not even electing to go for that down tilt anymore. Wrath is usually ready for that. There it is that time, though. Not quite as heads up as it was just the interaction before. Oh, no pin.
Man, Wrath right up now. I mean, not uncomfortable to be up close, but maybe it should be. Lots of forward air into back air from Shadic. A couple of times we've seen him not even burn it as a kill confirm, because why not? Man, that back air is starting to get stale too, where that's normally one of the bread and butter kill moves for him, but 95% built up on Wrath. Now you got plenty of options to take it.
Yes, you most certainly do, but it's all about positioning right here between these two juggernauts. At 102, I feel like Wrath is starting to cook here a little bit. Has some rage, going to try to apply it thoroughly, but applying this F tilt to the back of your head, that is Shadic.
One adaptation that Wrath absolutely needs to make if he wants to keep the set going is recognize all those times where Shadic puts himself in end lag, spot dodges, and then forward tilts the attempted punish afterwards, because he's paid the price. He went off stage because of that, and after that, ate that pin for breakfast. Rod, one stock remaining for Wrath. We are on tournament point.
We most certainly are. Wrath has to make a play here, and he has to make the biggest one he has ever made. His back is against the wall in a way that we have not seen throughout the majority of this top 8. Shadic looking good here, but he has certainly looked better. 81%. There's a forwarder hitting him out of the pin. Is he going to go deep there that time? And finally gets one at the 11th hour. The big play is here from Wrath.
You just got to remember, there is a certain point where that hitbox is going to start giving out on that up B. And if you can snipe that out, if you can hit Corrin right in the head with that big sneaker, you're going to be able to send her to the bottom blast zone. Wrath bringing it to last stock here in Game 4. And Rod, Game 4 is one of those places where Wrath really levels up.
Yes, he most certainly does. He is activated right now. Wrath, of course, has been in this scene for quite some time, and he knows what it takes to rise to the occasion here. Okay, nice, going to go for another pin, has him off stage. Shadic, of course, not quite able to go as deep out there to get that extra forward air damage. He's letting him come back to the ledge. Nothing off the back air. Stale or not, I still have to toss it out.
Great recognition by Shadic, realizing that the dash away was a feint from Wrath and did not give him that free hit, but off stage, we've seen Wrath take advantage of this situation so many times throughout this tournament. Shadic, he's going to go back off there, take another trip. Oh my gosh, Wrath follows him.
No back air there that time, just hit him with the nair, let him come back. No forward air, no. Okay, there's the nair, frame 6, hold on. Forward air's on the horizon, but goes for up air instead.
High speed, you can feel both of these players' heads spinning right now. The way that this last stock is being played, this is at Mach 2, and the pin is going to be enough to do it. Shadic catching the landing there from Wrath and finishes out Dreamhack with a skewer. Stride Esports' Shadic is taking home the gold.
That's right, holding it down for the southern part of the country. I'm loving what I'm seeing here from this young man. It was just his birthday a couple of days ago, and I can't think of a better birthday gift, to be honest. This one to yourself.
Taking home a W. You love to see it for, again, the home state kid defending the territory. But guys, Wrath put on a great performance. Give it up for Wrath one more time up there as well. Putting on a show up there. Great gameplay from them both, but Shadic coming out on top. We said it, Rod. If he's going to win, it probably needs to be in one set, and by God, he got the job done.
100%, man. It's not easy to compete at this level for as long as both of these players have done it throughout the course of this weekend. There was doubles, then there was pools on top 32, and then, of course, there was this 4-hour exchange that was top 8. We've been up here for the majority of the time, and so have those two gentlemen as well. But when it was all said and done, it was Shadic that was able to close it out in the 11th hour, and I'm loving every part of what I just seen right there. Again, Sonic is such a tough character to try to pinpoint, no pun intended, okay? He can be everywhere at once, but you have the ability to put out a disjoint and cut off certain access points to the stage, and I think he did just that, resulting in that birthday W.
Not only a birthday W, but keeping the Dreamhack trophy in Texas as it has remained for pretty much all the time that Dreamhack has been here in Dallas. Smash Ultimate has continued to be defended by the home state heroes. Shadic able to close it out in that nail biter there in Grands. But guys, that is going to do it for all the action here. Stick with us as we get the players their just rewards. We're going to that awards ceremony in just a moment, so stick with us for that. But guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. I love getting to come here to Dreamhack, represent the home region. I want to give a big shout out to the Dallas Smash community. Texas all over is, of course, amazing, but my home has always been right here. It's been that way for like 8-9 years for me, and I hope it continues to be, because I truly believe that we've got one of the best communities going right here in Dallas, and hopefully you all get a chance to experience it sometime too.
Yeah, you know, it's not very often I get to come down here to Texas to commentate. I mean, really, when it's just Dreamhack, you know, Austin or Dallas is when you'll find me down here, but Would love more opportunities to come down here and hang out with the Smash scene. It is such a beautiful thing to see. Big shout out to production, of course, as well, for being so helpful to Kimona and I. I mean, I've always felt like my job, your job, you know, it's easy in certain ways. Production makes it that much easier for us, so big shout out to the team.
All right, in 7th place, putting on a great performance this weekend. Give it up for Jahzz0 Beastly! And joining him on that 7th place, give it up for Super Skitz!
Love it, love it. Coming in next, hot. Give it up for Atomic!
We tried to find Jahzz0. He's not here to get his medal, so that's unfortunate. So
Dang.
we're skipping right on to 4th place. A former Dreamhack champion is still getting his medal. Let's give it up for Stride's own MuteAce!
Coming in next, the most proficient Bayo to ever pick up the sticks here in Ultimate. Give it up for Lima!
And in 2nd place, putting up a great fight in the bracket. And of course in Grands, one champion making it there again and making it onto the podium. Give it up for Wrath!
Love it. And of course, your grand finals, Dreamhack Dallas 2024 champion, the birthday boy himself, the best Corrin to ever do it. Give it up for Stride Esports, Shadic!
Lift that trophy, young man.
That's right.
That is a great way to cap off the weekend. Lift it up high and show the people the fruits of that performance. A Dreamhack champion this weekend. And a great performance from all of our top 8 competitors here today. But with that, everybody's gotten their awards. We are going to be sending it out for the night. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It has been an adventure for 3 days here out at the K. Bailey Hutchison Convention Center right in downtown Dallas. But that is where it ends. It has been an absolute pleasure to join you once again, especially in my home region. I've been Kimona. That's been Rod. You want to send the people home?
Absolutely, friends. As always, support your locals, support your production. It's very hard to do these events without those 2 wonderful components and running tournaments. And of course, keep supporting Dreamhack, keep supporting Smash, and keep yourself safe out there, friends. We will see you guys at the next tournament. We bid you farewell and good night. We'll see y'all in Atlanta. Peace.